Welcome Raiders to another Raid Shadow Legends video. We're going to be doing something special here, something that was pretty much asked by the community. People have been wondering, new game players, maybe even end game players who have too many champions. They've been pulling shard like crazy because of all these events, and they just don't know what champion to keep for Curse City or good epics that should be a plus forward. That's what we're going to do. We're going to go each faction. We're not going to talk about too much about each champion because there's a lot of epics to go through, but we're pretty much going to go through the majority and explain why they're good to keep, okay? All right, so number one is going to be Horden. Horden, unfortunately, his kit does not work correctly. A lot of the new champions that have extra turns actually work correctly. What are good examples? Gembo. Gembo has the ability to give his buffs 3 turns, so when he gets the extra turn, it goes down to 2, right? Because when you get an extra turn, all the buffs go down by 1 duration, and then when you end that turn, all the buffs go down another duration. So if you have 2 turn buffs, he activates the skill, uses another skill, and then all your buffs are instantly gone. That sucks. You don't even get to keep them for long periods. So Horden, could you use him? Yes, he does get extra turns on the A1. If you have a 6-star blessed version of him with Crushing Ren, if you want to put your best gear on, you can use him and use him for, like, I don't know, Faction Wars or Curse City. But I'm not going to give you good value. In terms of value, this is pretty much a meme champion. He used to be a $50 champion. They tried to sell it to us. Plarium for trying to do that to us because that's messed up. That's not worth $50, okay? People pay $100 for a Lego. Who's going to pay 50 for an epic back then that wasn't even working correctly? Fix this epic, okay? It's not fair that new epics get to be better. Lordly Legionnaire. This champion is only a niche, super niche champion for new game players who are trying to pass Fire Knight, who are trying to abuse the reflex damage and the multi-hits and the decreased speed against the Fire Knight. Can you use this on other content? Yes, but it's not going to be good till endgame. So if you think about it, there's a reason why only 173 people out of like 4 or 5 years I've even rated this guy, okay? I'm going to tell you, don't invest. All right, Archmage. Also, I don't like the fact that there's conditions that you have to have a heal reduction, yet this champion doesn't even put that heal reduction. Like, what? If he put heal reduction on the A2 or maybe even on this, that would make sense. He'd have good synergy. Doesn't good synergy. Archmage Helmet, an amazing epic from Doom Tower that you can get him even, I think, on normal, Doom Tower, which is insane. This guy is gonna carry you. He has stuns. Awesome buffs for seer comps. If you don't have a good legendary roster that can put a lot of buffs, this is going to be one of those epics that can help you buff up your seer, seer and the orcs. Yeah. Another powerful epic. This is going to be another great one as well. He has Terminator boosts, even has arena. Want to use him in arena? People were using him back in the days in arena. Nowadays, no one's using him in arena, but I'm just saying this champion is not that bad. He's also immune to Terminator stuff. In terms of a 1 to 10, how good is he? He's not as good as he used to be back then because the game has a lot of power creep, but I still think he's an 8 out of 10. Back then, he was pretty much a 9.5, 10 out of 10. Gerhard is just a fucking, another meme champion that likes to just do damage and hopefully you might be able to one-shot people. I don't know. I don't see it. Arndorf, I mean, there's certain conditions you could use him, I guess, for like Heart of Faction Wars, but honestly, I'm not a fan of reflex damage champions that don't have anything else. No shields. We don't want more shields, but give me something else, you know what I'm saying? When it comes to reflex damage. Like at least Nitrak has like ally protection, some other things, but like this is just counterattack. Who's gonna, like, I guess for the provoke, but it's just weird. You're provoking people that you're gonna reflect. I would just take less damage from the people that I'm provoking or something. I don't know, just weird. I wouldn't build them. Now Signy's, I mean, she doesn't look amazing, right? But she does have free healing in her A1. She has the ability to strip off the enemies and your own allies on the A2. And she brings increased res. There's not that many champions in the game that can bring you increased res as an epic. Okay, I think there's only like 3 in the game. Hoskarol, Signy, and I think one more epic. And then there's other epics like Record Rat that can give it to you in their passive, right? By keep like healing or perfect veil. But like this is one of the few champions that can do that. You might think to yourself, well, why would I need that? When you're early to mid game and you don't have high res, you need champions that can help you ignore the accuracy or the effects of the enemies. So is she an insane good PvP champion? No, but is she a good champion? If you can get a 5, 6-star blessing on this champion, I'm slowly building her myself as an endgame player just for content, and I actually think she's okay. She's also an HP scaling champion that does damage based on HP. She's not an attack or defense. If she would have been an attack champion, this would have been horrible. If she was defense, she would have been kind of mid. But the fact that she's HP is a lot better because HP synergizes with what? Reflex damage. If we look at Arndolf, he was a defense champion. Not the same. Not the same. Oathbound, very good epic that kind of been power crept over the years, but he can actually be really good if you know how to use him. He's not OP, he's not insane, but he's decent. I'd give Signy like maybe an 8 and Oathbound like another 7.5. The problem with him is that the chance of landing stuff, if you can bring decreased attack, it's amazing. But if you can't bring decreased attack, which he does have in his own kit, but you have to wait a whole another turn. If you can make him fast, this guy can be pretty nutty. I wish this would have been a 3-turn cooldown because then that would have made this epic like a 9, 10 out of 10, honestly. There's just a lot of RNG with his kit. You don't know when it's going to land, and when it does land, you need conditions. If you can make all the conditions work, hey, Oathbound is actually huge. Chancellor Yasmin, this champion is kind of mid and really super mid. What the hell? Why would you want a champion as a support to hit twice if it doesn't do nothing? Am I going to build this champion as a support, but then also build her as a damage dealer? Why would I want to place another hit? This is retarded. Literally as hell. So Touch of Vigor, this is pretty good. It's on a 2-turn skill that can heal by 60% instead of the allies. So if they're about to die, they just get instantly healed almost a full health. That is not bad of a skill. I wish the A1 would have done something else, like put a continuous heal on a random ally or something. That would have been way better. Or if she like hits twice, that second hit like always crits. Give her something crazy, you know? Like, I don't know. And then this A3 has it's supposed to be like trying to strip off your buffs, and then she places a sleep on enemies who have active buffs. So I guess you try to strip everything off, and if you don't strip them, they get slept. This is a 4-turn cooldown, not a 3-turn cooldown. So that already is an L for me. That's a red flag. That's a red flag there. This is pretty good. So if Plarium could just change the A1 and the A3, this would actually be, no cap, be a 9 out of 10 epic. But this is like a 6, honestly. This is like a 6. It's not great at all. I would invest into that. Seneschal is one of the few interesting champions that can put AoE provoke without actually targeting the enemies, right? He doesn't need to touch them, right? So Poison Cloud or any like effects that say, hey, I'm not affected by it. It just does it, right? Which is pretty good. This, unfortunately, though, it's on a 4-turn cooldown. That's what hurts him. Back in the old school days, you had to use this champion, but there's so many better provokers now in terms of Legos and epics. And he doesn't put stuns. If he put stuns, that would have been amazing synergy. But he puts Leech. Leech is okay, but it's so weird. A lot of people use him because of the A2. They love the fact that he can put Perfect Veil, continuous heal on a 2-turn cooldown. So if you build this champion fast, you can keep spamming Perfect Veils on all your champions you don't want to die, while he just keeps provoking and leeching people so that you can get more healing off the leech. It's not bad. I just think that this should have either been a 2-turn provoke or it should have been a 3-turn cooldown. That would have been a lot better. Alaric, garbage. Straight garbaggio. If I see you using this champion, I'm probably just gonna get on your account for account takeover, and I might accidentally go to the info section, find the information, log you out of the account, and then delete it after. No, just joking. But yeah, don't use the champion. Garbage. Lady Quillen, a lot of people use this for like content, maybe for like videos. Honestly, trash. Straight trash. This should be a 3-turn cooldown. This is not enough to be an A2, honestly. Sir Artemage. Now this is an interesting nuking champion. Yes, he's not a 1-3-3 champ, but his A3 does freaking smack. I don't like the fact that he gives himself the increased attack after he kills an enemy, but the moment you do kill someone, you get those buffs, they're protected, and you go use the A2 and you have those buffs, you're gonna basically kill everyone. So if you can guarantee the A3, you can basically guarantee the AoE kill on the A2. Not a bad champion, and the A1 also has some good debuffs. I like this champion in general. I just don't like the fact that it's all arena. They should make this all battles. This would be a way better epic. I recommend people to build him if you have a good blessing on him, 4 to 6 star. If you don't, not worth it. Knight Errant. Knight Errant's also another huge damage dealer, just like Sir Artemage, but the only difference is it has different conditions. Okay, so if you use this skill, it can either stun or reset the cooldown of each of this champion skills to the target skill. That means he gets a full reset on his A3 and his A2 if this skill actually kills someone. But once again, to do that, you're probably going to have to put the weekend on, you know? Damage is increased by 75% if the champion has full HP. That is pretty insane, right? You give this guy lots of buffs, and if he has full HP, you put him in Zeal, this guy could hit hard. You know the problem is? That's a 6-turn cooldown. Brother, what? No one's going to do that. That's why this skill resets your cooldowns, right? So you're supposed to go A3, blow someone up, A2, blow someone up, come back, A3, come back. But you can't even do that, come back again, because it's not a 3-turn cooldown, it's a 4. So if Plarium could actually make this a 3, you could kind of do some like weird shenanigans with the right masteries. You can kind of like A3, A2, A3, A2 and get lucky, right? If you have like impulse or refresh, you could do some crazy stuff, but I still don't think this guy's that great. He might have been good back then when there was not the big nukers, but honestly, I don't recommend you use this guy unless you have a 6-star blessing. I would not use this epic at all. Stag Knight. Ooh. One of the best epics that came out back then and still is really strong to this day. Do you know why? He has really good base HP for an epic, really decent defense, high speed, 107 base speed as an epic as well, and he has a double hitter and AoE decrease attack and decrease defense. If you guys did not know, those are the 2 most important debuffs to put on every single enemy in the game. Because defense to make so you can do more damage and decreasing their attack, because every single boss in the game scales off attack. And most nukers in raid, other than HP, now we have a lot more HP and defense nukers, but back then, pretty much only everybody was using attack nukers. And if they had defense nukers, well, guess what? That scales off what? Defense, right? So before all these HP nukers that like Predator and everything else, you had this was the strongest like 2 debuffs you could put. And most, even Lydia doesn't do that, right? She puts weaken. So a lot of people are not putting decreased attack and decreased defense. You can get, and you might think to yourself, well, Jay, it's not 100%. You can actually get it to 100% if you go in the support tree, go under Sniper and Maxer Hexer, and get both of those masteries. And now you have a 100% chance to land AoE decreased defense and decreased attack. And you can actually get it on a 3-turn cooldown. So you can have basically infinite decreased defense and decreased attack if you get lucky. This increased accuracy doesn't matter anymore because now we have increased accuracy now as a normal buff. Back then, it wasn't a normal buff. That's why he has an effect like this. So what they should do, instead of it saying, if you get resisted, you get increased accuracy, they could keep that. But honestly, I think they should just say, at the start of the battle, this champion puts increased accuracy buff on all allies for 1 turn. Or at the start of his turn, he puts it for 1 turn on all champions. Now, are they going to do it? I don't know. I'm just saying it doesn't make sense to do this anymore because it's just kind of weird. It's only good for like early game players. Everything. This champion is straight dog water. I don't care. If you're using this champion, bro, there's better champs. Can he be pretty insane? Yeah, for the conditions, if you don't have a 6-star blessing and using that with something, it doesn't make sense in his own faction. That's the problem. You have to use them with like Arndorf or like some other, like, it's just, yeah, it should have been undead. It should have been a Night Revenants. It does not make sense. And it's just weird. I get it. They were trying to do like Halloween, like Jason, right? Mass Fearmonger, but bruh, what the? Okay, this champion is very, he's kind of one of those champions if you have nothing else. If you have nothing else, this champion can provoke, shield. He's kind of okay. He used to be okay back then. He's still kind of okay now. I give him like a 6, man. He's not that great. Now, Ylfric is pretty decent. Ylfric is one of the slightly new champions. He has decreased attack on the A1. We all like that, right? On the A2, he steals a random buff from each enemy and then also puts continuous heal on all allies for 2 turns on a 3-turn cooldown. Yeah, you definitely want this guy keep spamming A2s and keep going. Also, he has a Terminator boost by 15, increased attack. I don't like that it's on a 4. Like, why? We have rares. We have rares that can put increased speed, Terminator boost on a 3-turn cooldown, Apothecary. But you can't even give us a champion that puts this on a 3. Like, what? That's what hurts this champion a lot, is that this is on a 4-turn cooldown. Removes all decreased attack from all allies at the start of this turn. So that means if you have a lot of attack champions, he's going to help them a lot. He has an increased speed by all by 15. I think they should just make this 17 or 19. Why 15? Like, bruh. Is he a decent champion to build? I have him myself. He's okay. He's decent. He's like a 7, 8. Lady Annabelle, very strong for soloing Baumel. If you're having trouble against Baumel, the Doom Tower boss, which right now is a Baumel rotation with Dark Fae, you're definitely going to want to use this champion. She can solo the content, okay? She can solo the boss. She can't solo the waves, but she can definitely solo the boss, okay? She has a passive that's very similar to Burengiri, but the reason why she's good is because she's strong affinity to Baumel. Okay, so there's gonna be a lot of weak hits that he can't calculate, or the game's just gonna automatically do it in the RNG and she's gonna keep her alive. She's gonna get crit. The crit of the boss goes from 15%, but because she's strong affinity, it goes from 15% to 0. So she'll never get crit. And then on top of that, he can also weak hit. So that is why she's super strong. Of course, she has like other skills too. You don't want to really build her any accuracy. You want to pretty much spam the A1 with War Master. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And don't use anything else. Just spam A1s forever until he dies. All right, Rowan. Rowan is actually a great champion. If you have Rowan, I definitely recommend. I used this champion back then, and I still use this champion now. She has a quad hit poison. That's 5% poisons on a 3-turn cooldown. That's nuts. That's a lot of poison, okay? It's not AoE, but if you have a Michelangelo who's in the same faction, right, you can spread those. That means you're putting 4 poisons on all the enemies, okay? That's a lot of freaking poisons to clear the waves. And this is a Void champion, which means she doesn't weak hit. So it's pretty much guaranteed if you can fully book her and build the right amount of accuracy. The A2, now it doesn't have an AoE stun, but it has each hit has a chance to stun. So you can get 3 stuns, 2 stuns, or 1 stun. Yes, it's not guaranteed, but you have to understand, epics fully AoE stunning people shouldn't be a thing. That's usually given to like Legos or Mythicals, right? I think she's still good. And then of course she has one of the most coping debuffs that everyone's been using in the community lately is heal reduction, right? On the Mimics, on Amius, on whatever else you're having trouble with, like Fire Knight. You can use heal reduction, but I tell you, if you're using it, it's cope. You don't need it. But if you need it, use it. And let people know so we know that you're a heal reduction coper, you know what I'm saying? So we can put you on a checklist and be like, hey, that guy's a coper, brother. All right, let's go to the next one. Azure. This champion is trash, okay? This guy could have been actually good. They buffed him once, and the buff was not enough to make him good as an epic, honestly. There's just so many conditions on a champion that it's a void epic. It's not a regular epic. It's void. Who wants to pull this and you pull this out of a void shard and you go, this is garbage. You just, dude, look. 34 reviews. This champion's been out for 6 years. 6 years. That should tell Plarium something, brother. Like, that's crazy. No one wants to build him. But look at Warcaster. Like, wait, like triple that amount. And honestly, a lot of people use Warcaster. Not as much because there's better champions now. We have Kelikath, Roshkar, but back then you had to use this with like a Maneater or something, right? If you're trying to make like an unkillable team. Is this champion worthy to build though? I feel like it's not necessary. Like nowadays, there's a lot of good free legendaries, a lot of good better epics. But if you have nothing else, I think this is decent. This is like a 7. If you have nothing else, but if you have other things, he's like a 5. It's just not enough, man. The stealing random buffs, too much RNG. This one doesn't land the block buffs guaranteed. Even if you go Sniper, Max, or Hexer, it's still a low chance. Of, what, 80%? Okay, it's not bad, but it's not great, right? And then block damage for 1 turn on a 4 turn, not a 3 turn like a Demitha, right? So yeah, it's just no. I honestly, only if you have like a 6-star blessing maybe, and you have nothing else. But otherwise, now Ursula the Mourner, I'm gonna recommend everyone to build this. I don't care what blessing you got, what gear you got. If you have this champion, you have one of the best epics in this faction. Literally, she is a godsend if you have her. So congratulations if you pull this champion, because she is a must build. I still use her to this day if I need to, but I don't really use her anymore because my count's different. But yes, I would definitely say a 9.5 out of 10. She used to be 10 out of 10 back then. Now she's kind of fallen off. I don't like the decreasing turn meters to RNG, and this, it only puts decreased attack. Decreased attack is decent, but there's a lot of like HP nukers now and defense nukers than back then. But she's still good. She's still good. I think she's a still amazing champion. I don't like the fact that her just change this to all battles, player, please. Like, think about that. She'd be the first epic that can put 24% in all battles, right? She could be like that epic. So strong for PvE. But anyways, if you're using her in Doom Tower, I would definitely use her in the lead position because 24 speed is a lot of freaking speed, okay? That's a lot. All right, so definitely a must build. So let's go to the next faction. We got Royal Guard. Do I recommend Royal Guard after all the different hard dungeon changes, the nerfs to enemy max HP? Is he still good? It's a decent champion. I think people should build at least one. But I'm gonna be honest, people were like basically Hail Marrying this champion saying, so amazing, love this champion. And I was like, yeah, it sounds good, but the gear you have to put on him, and it's such a big investment. By the time I got multiple of him and I started putting gear on him, I was like, what a waste of time building it. I built like 2 or 3. I was like, man, I don't even need one. I've only used him, I think, once in Fire Knight. Like, Allure is just better. Allure's gonna outscale this champion, because if you build her as an end game versus him, he'll be okay if you put him in like 6-piece Merciless, right? Like super end game. But if you, why not just put your super Merciless on your Lego or Mythical that you have? Like, I don't understand. Like, it just, I don't know. Me personally, I think he's still a good champion, but he's kind of fallen off. I would give him like a 6, honestly, nowadays. Tyrell, I don't like Tyrell because of his cooldowns. It's a little too high. This used to be one of the best epics in the game for Clan Boss because of his A1, because he put decreased defense guaranteed, and he also had the A3, which was for like other areas, PvP or PvE. I just don't like the cooldowns are too high. They should be a lower down there. So this should be 3. This should be 3. If they make them both 3, Tyrell is an amazing must-build champion. Should you build him? If you have nothing else, I do recommend, if you have a 6-star, 5-star, 4-star blessing, definitely build him. But otherwise, I wouldn't go too crazy. Karamis, one of the best new slight epics we've gotten. This guy is nuts. You can use him early game arena. You can use him in Hydra. You can use him in fucking Curse City, Grim Forest. You can use him in Faction Wars hard. Like, this guy is actually strong for an epic. Like, any more that they could have gave this champion, he would have been a Lego. Like, literally, this guy's on the bird. Like if there was an edge from a Lego falling off into an epic, this is that champion. The synergy he has is insane. Not only is he an HP scaler, he also has an HP aura. Everything does damage based on HP. And then his A3, like, once just like Sinestro, right? He provokes everyone without touching them. So it doesn't matter about weak hits or anything like that. He can put a counterattack and a continuous heal on himself. I wish he would put like strengthen or maybe increase defense. Continuous heal is still good. It's still good if you don't have any healers, but I think it would have given him more survivability, because you'd have to go really fast. When you're building provokers, they're not usually the fastest champion. Sometimes they're like the second champion, you know, depending on your build. He is built a little bit slower, 97 speed. That's the only downside about him. He has good HP, good defense, good accuracy, right? Free accuracy. I would have wished they would have given him 40 resistance instead of 30, but whatever. His A1 has great synergy. He keeps counterattacking, and that's going to steal turn meters so he can take another turn, right? And get those continuous heals to proc. But then he also gets a chance to stun. If they fully depletes their turn meter, he can stun their ass, which is insane. So yeah, very must build champion. I say like a 9 out of 10, honestly. Indalia, I built out the Indalia. She's kind of like, she all right. She's like a Skaramis, but instead of like stunning, she's supposed to be like a provoking version where she just provokes, like, oh, you have decreased attack on, I'm just gonna keep provoking you, and if you're provoked, you have to attack me, which will do what? She'll attack them again. If they still have that decreased attack on them, she'll attack them again, and keep provoking. I wish the provoke would have been a little bit higher. Now you could say, well, just use fearsome presence, the defensive mastery all the way tier 6. That could be 55% chance to provoke. That's not bad. True, but it's like, I think she's aight. I don't think she's as great, you know. So I think like she's like a 7, 6, 6.5. I like that she's an HP champion. I like that this is on a 3-turn cooldown. If you don't have Max or Hexer to extend this, it's not as good. So definitely brings Max or Hexer to extend that to 3 turns. Decrease attack. That way you can get more benefit from her passive. I wish they would have gave her another skill. Give her an A3. Why does she only have an A1 and A2? Give her an A3 and this champion could be like legit Skaramis level. But they only gave her 2 skills. So just like, bro, like why? Anyways. So she would build, I would definitely build her if you had a 5 or 6 star blessing. Definitely. She could be really a lot of CC if you build her right. Because you can put her in stun set, you can put her in provoke set, right? You can put her in frostbite set. So when she gets attacked, she freezes them. You can do a lot of crazy stuff like things like that. Thenasil. I was never a fan of Thenasil, even back then, man. I'm gonna tell you, bro. I'm never really a fan of him. But hey, if you need a sleep, you can put a sleep for Sand Devil. I wouldn't recommend it. It's too low. And look at all those books, brother. Holy 10, 10, 5, 5, 5. Player could easily just put 15 here, 10, 10, and you'd be done. 3 books. They're like, let's milk the player base. That's 5 books. There's crazy. And they don't want to go back and change it. Place a 60% increased defense on all allies for 2 turns. Heals all allies by 25% of the champion's max HP. This is like the best skill he has because it's on a 3-turn cooldown. If you've ever done faction wars on normal or hard, you will know this is really super annoying, man. Like if he's put with other champions that heal as well, you're just like, damn, how do you get through these waves? You basically have to nuke them down before they can heal. This is like his only like good skill that he has. I don't even like the A3. A 5-turn cooldown, worse than Timid the Fool's A2. Worse than like there's the same champion in the same faction, Andrissia, who can reduce all duration of buffs by 2. Now I get it. Back then there was no champions like this. They didn't want it to spam it. But bro, if it's gonna be a 5-turn cooldown, it needs to be at least 2 turns, two duration, man. Who's gonna use like garbage, right? So the A1's garbage, the A3 is garbage. The only good thing about this champion is the A2. If you really need healing and you really need to increase defense in this faction, you can build them if you have a good blessing. But I would not recommend it, honestly. This champion's straight garbage. Don't care. If I see you using this champion, it means you probably don't have anything better else, and you're super, 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 super early game. Yeah, I'm not building that champion. Don't care. Next one, Illusinia. You might think to yourself, but she has pointless on the A1 and she can freeze. It could be good for Fire Knight Horror. Code, brother. Code. Just saying that right now. Illusinia. All right. She has a 50% chance to steal random buff on the target. That's not bad on an A1. Once again, she's an HP epic. All right. A2. She can hit everybody, attacks on enemies. Before she even hits them, she removes any block debuffs buff from the enemies. Then she puts block buffs afterwards, after attacking. That's pretty good. This is a 3-turn cooldown. It's not 100% chance, right? It's not 100% chance, but it's still decent. AoE block buff champion, that's not 100%. I mean, it's an epic. What do you expect, right? And then A3, this is one of her most important abilities, is the A3 and the A1, and they're all good. But the A3 and the passive. Now, she has a lot of HP, so she's a perfect bolster choice, perfect shield champion, right? She puts a shield equal to 20% of her HP, and then she also puts a strengthen, not a 25% strengthen, but a 15% strengthen on all champions. I wish this would have been a 3-turn cooldown, because then I probably would be using her a lot more. But a 4-turn, it's just like, oh, it hurts. But then the passive comes back and says, whenever this heals this champion by 30% of their HP, whenever shield buff placed by this, right, expires, is removed or broken by an enemy attack. So basically, if she's like she doesn't put ally protection. It would have been made more sense if she put shield, strengthen, and ally protection, because then that ally protection would make her take more damage. Then this passive would synergize a lot more. What do I think about the champion? She's pretty good. Honestly, they should have honestly gave her an ally protection. I think so. And then that would have made her like insane. But she's kind of like, she's kind of like a Dahlia, you know, like a different version of Dahlia. Dahlia like has less skills. If you want more skilled champion, this is a little bit better. Ambassador Lethalin. This champion is very underrated. A lot of people do not use this champion. He can decrease the cooldown, the duration of 2 random debuffs on all allies, which is great. He heals you for that, right? That's on a 4-turn. That should be definitely on a 3. I don't know why. He puts a taunt. There's not many champions that can say, hey, target this little specific champion and put taunt on them. Most people say, I taunt myself, right? Like the champion will say, I put taunt buff on myself. No, he puts the taunt on whoever you want the taunt to be on. That's cool. That's cool because you can come up with some cool things early to mid game and PvP. If there wasn't mythicals in the game, this would have been very cool to combo with. But now that we have mythicals, I mean, unfortunately, this champion's kind of fallen down. I think this could be still really good early to mid game in PvP, but it falls off as you go down later on. He does have decreased crit rate. I don't like the fact that it's so low. I get it, it's an AoE hit, but it's so low. Even when it says the HP is full, 30% up to what? 55%? It's like, brother, what? Like, I think it should be like 70%. That would be pretty good. But anyways, is he good? I built him out just to play around with him and have fun with the A2 and the A3 pretty much. I don't like that this A1 is kind of like weird. He should have had a nice passive. I think a nice passive would have made this champion like a 999 champion, but I honestly give him like a 7. Is he a build champion? If you have a 6 or 5-star blessing, I definitely recommend building him, trying him out. But other than that, he's just kind of like, yeah. Neldor Rhyme Blade, a must 10 out of 10 build champion. On this guy can nuke. Like, there's a reason why 1,000 people have built him, as you can see in terms of reviews. Not even how many people build him, but reviews. I'm telling you, people love this champion. He has a triple hitter on the A1. He has a quad hitter on the A2. And then he has another double hitter on the A3, which is AoE. Like, what the fuck? You got this champion, you've hit gold. I'm telling you. He puts decreased speed, he puts decreased attack, decreased accuracy, and he can freeze on the A1. There's not a lot of epics in the game that can do that on their A1, okay? They released this champion back then because people were having trouble with Fire Knight Hard. And Plarium was like, oh shit, we probably should have released the champions before we released Fire Knight Hard. But then they released Cryoden and this champion, which were epics to help out the community because they were like, not everybody was pulling newts back then. Not everybody had Blizzars back then, right? So there was like, you couldn't do much. If you didn't have like fast teams, ally attack teams, or you didn't have a lot of counterattack teams with Cold Hearts and Valkyries and things of that nature, you couldn't do shit, literally. So they released these champions. So insane champion, not only for Fire Knight Hard, but he's insane for Grim Forest, Faction Wars. He has lots of CC, lots of control. Amazing champion overall. Honestly, if this guy would have released back then on old school raid, like when I first started, you would have seen this guy in PvP, but not anymore. So Vergis, of course, one of the best solo champions against Morgoth, the Scarab King. He's an insane champion that can also like I wouldn't say solo, but he can like never die. Basically, if you build him right, he has this passive that just makes him never die. He can keep someone alive forever, literally. So him and someone else should never die. If you build both champions right, especially if they're HP or defense champions, Vergis and that other champion are not gonna die. Now, if it's an attack champion, the attack champion might die. Vergis tries to keep him alive, but he gives an increased defense to himself, and he gives ally protection, all these other buffs to someone else. He also puts reflex damage. So I wish they would have made Vergis instead of I get his defense, but if they would have been an HP champion, the reflex damage buffs like that he puts on a random ally, or like this, where he puts, it would have been a little bit better. But back then he was insane. Now he's not as insane, but he's still great champion. If you have a blessing, I would definitely, like 4 and up, I would definitely consider using him. No, him you probably want 5 and up because 4 will give him crit damage, and then crit damage it might take a little too much if you build crit rate, so be careful. Marksman, I don't like this champion. Just don't like him at all. If you like to play with the A3, you want to have a chance to ignore all their defense, yeah, you can do that. No, that's a 4-turn cooldown. Make this a 3-turn, I might actually start building this champion. Jingle Hunter, a meme champion, because a lot of people lost Krisk to this champion. Imagine putting hundreds of dollars or even thousands of dollars and you get a Krisk instead of getting either a Sir Nick or getting yourself a Krisk and you get this. Man, that would have been oof. They buffed this champion because he was worse. They gave him a little bit of a buff, and even after the buff, he's still kind of midi, man. Midi. 24% of speed in all battles. Who the hell's gonna, like, right? The condition of only freezing all enemies if you kill someone. So you have to kill, otherwise you don't get the freeze. And then his A3, he reduces turn meter, and then he fills turn meter. But this is a 4-turn cooldown. They should make this a 3, right? It doesn't make sense, man. Like, weird champion. Battle Sage, very good if you know what you're doing. She's a very good champion if you know what you're doing. So, you know, most people are going to build her in stun set, maybe like a day set, right, to sleep people, right? Or stun. She can basically put increased attack on everybody. You cannot strip it, so it's protected. And she's an AoE cleanser. So if you need AoE cleanser, she's a very good one. There's also a rare champion in this faction, Reliquary Tender, that can also cleanse. Places a revive on death on an ally for 3 turns. The ally will be revived. So basically, there was a lot of AoE revive on deaths back then. So she was like one of the only ways to like pick someone to make sure they can come back. Is she great? I think she's aight. Okay, she's like a 7. If you have like a 6-star blessing, probably jump her up to 8. But honestly, she's not as great as she used to be. Maybe put her in Toxic set would give her more value, because maybe you can start putting some AoE poisons out there. Could be pretty good too if you're early mid game. Exemplar. This champion a lot of people don't like, and people say she's trash. And I actually think this is one of the most underrated epics that no one's talking about. She's a triple hitter against Mercurial. So if you're early to mid game and you're wondering like, damn, how do I deal with the Mercurial? This basically counters it. She puts one of the target skills on full cooldown if the first hit and the target's under weaken. But if they're not under weaken, she'll increase the cooldown of one of the target skills by 2 turns if the first hit is critical and the target is not under weaken. That is pretty, hey, that is still really strong on an A1. Let me tell you, that is insanely good. The only downside about this is that she doesn't have the speed to make up for her. You know what I'm saying? This triple hit, another triple hit attack that puts weaken on all the enemies is 100% chance. Triple hit, it is a random hit, which is kind of shitty. But it's still, like I said, it's still multi-hits. You can build this champion as a nuker. She'll be a nuker that locks out, a nuker that also makes it so that they take extra damage, right? Weaken. And then this skill, I think people no one talks about. She puts a freeze and a block active skills for 2 turns, and on this is on a 3-turn cooldown, by the way. And she's void, so she never weak hits. That basically means you're getting a guaranteed freeze and a guaranteed block active skills. That's pretty good. Now, if they're immune to freeze, they still get block active skill. If they're immune to block active skills, they get frozen. So, and if they're neither, then they get both, right? So I think this is pretty good. I think this should not have been a weaken. I think it should be like a stun. It should be a stun. It should be a stun, and this champion would be godly. I'm talking about like 9.5 out of 10. I think for most of the player base, they treat her like a 7. After her like little adjustment of a buff here and the buff here, I actually think she's like an 8. She's an 8 out of 10, especially if you have a 6-star blessing. This champion does not play around. She smacks. All right, let's go to the next one. Andrissia, one of my favorite champions. Back then when Stone Skin came out, no one knew about Stone Skin, how to remove it. It was super OP. Everyone thought you just had to bomb your way through or nuke and hope you can get through with like a hegemon or something. But I was one of the first people in the community to come up with the idea that you can reduce the duration of Stone Skin, and that is not a sheepable offense. Because sheep says specifically, oh, this is back then when everybody was using sheep as 5-star sheep, 6-star sheep as a way to protect yourself defensively. I told people, I'm like, if those people are using Stone Skin and they have 6-star sheep and you use a champion that has to decrease the duration of all enemy buffs, that's not a sheepable offense because you're not, it says steals, removes, right, buffs, but it doesn't say decreasing duration of buffs on that sheep blessing. So therefore you could use this skill. So Andrissia was the first champion that I was telling people, this champion counters Stone Skin. Now, does it remove Stone Skin 100%? No, because Stone Skin still has a 50-50 built into the coding that even if you were to strip it, there's a 50% chance that you don't know that it will get stripped or not. You only know because if you see the buff still on the enemy, it didn't work, right? The decreasing duration of debuffs buffs didn't work. But if it worked, you would no longer see the Stone Skin there, right? So it wasn't even an accuracy or resistance check. It was just a fucking internal Stone Skin, the way that it works check, which is stupid, but it's also good for the player base. So it's another RNG mechanic that we just have to deal with. But honestly, now that we've seen what Mercurial can do and that the nerf Mercurial, Stone Skin's not that bad anymore, right, chat? Stone Skin's not that bad. She increases duration of all increased defense buffs. Why does she do that? Because she has a passive that says, so she's basically a baby Necrit. If you didn't guys, Necrit has like this whole ability at the start of the turn, puts an ally protection, also places this up on her, which is really nice. So if you like how Necrit works without the ally attacks, I would recommend building an Andrissia. I do recommend, even if you don't have a 6-star, 5-star, 4-star, I still think a 3-star Andrissia is still really good. It's still good. If you have 0-star Andrissia, you can build her and prepare her for yourself, but also she's one of the few champions epics in the game that can stun someone not just for 1 turn, but if they have buffs, they get stunned for 2 turns. That's a legendary skill if you think about it, right? Because Pelops can do that as well, and he's a legendary. So don't sleep on Andrissia. She also has decreased crit damage, which is more of like a PvP thing. In PvE, I guess if you get crit could help, but yeah, I wish it would have not been crit damage. I think it should have been decreased speed. Decreased speed or decreased attack would have been very nice, but whatever. Or decreased defense, honestly. Fuck, on A1, please. Ethelyn the Golden, another Void epic in this faction that is insane. Must build champion. I definitely recommend. 9 out of 10 champion. He's really, really good. His A1 is not the best. It's okay. Would have been better if this guy was like a defense or H defense, because then he could have been like a defense nuker who gives himself increased defense and increased crit damage. But he gives himself increased accuracy and crit damage because he's an attack champ. He doesn't give himself increased attack. That's the only downside about this champion. But he's an AoE block active skills. He can put True Fears. He has ignored defense. He has healing on his A1, and he has an extra turn in his A3. Once again, they gave this 2 turn and this one 3. Like, why? Why not just give it both 3 turn, brother? They want you to go A3, A2, and you lose that increased accuracy automatically. They're like, well, you don't need accuracy for the A1, so you're good. Yeah, but what if I reset his, I don't know. It's just weird. It's just weird. That part was a little part that's weird. All right, but I think I'd definitely recommend him. At least definitely 8. And with a good blessing, he's a 9 out of 10. Lightworth Siedra or Sidra. Siedra? This champ, I don't like her. I don't think she should be a void at all. I honestly don't think this champion should be a void. This champion should be a regular epic. How is this a void champion? Increases champions attack by 2% for each buff they receive up to 30%. Okay, that's all right. Is she giving herself increased attack? No, so then there's no scaling, except for the passive. All right, the A3 puts increased accuracy, increased crit rate on this champion. Like, bro, that's so old school. Like, no one's gonna build champs with like, 70% crit unless there are specific champs that need it. Increase the duration of all buffs on the champion by 1 turn. All buffs. I mean, that's the buff she's giving is the same buffs that we're seeing, unless you put other buffs. That's still not that great, man. Not that great of a skill. It's a 3-turn cooldown. Yes, it AoE hits and it could nuke. It's still not great. If she would have gave herself increased accuracy and increased attack, that would synergize with the passive and also synergize with this AoE hit. The A2 hitting twice on a 4-turn cooldown that steals turn meter, like this should be the 3-turn. Like this should be a 3. Like I don't understand. This is weird. And then the A1 stealing a random buff. If this attack is critical, has 100% chance of stealing 1 random buff. She doesn't have like a counterattack mechanic, right? She should give herself increase like a counterattack buff, increase accuracy counterattack, and that would synergize with the A1. You steal their buffs, then you steal their turn meter. She could be like this really. They should call her the greedy Syndra, right? That would have been a cool synergy. I don't like this champion at all. I honestly think they should remove her void status and they should make her a regular epic because she's not a void legend. She's not a void epic at all. It's garbage. I think she's like a 5. Yeah. So do I recommend her? No. I'd rather recommend rares, honestly. I don't think she's that good. Like maybe back old school raid, like in 2019, 2020, she would have been pretty strong. Nowadays, bro, there's better champs. Canoness. This is one of those champions that people are like, this is a dog shit champion. Then I got a 6-star blessing and I used her and I showed her this champion's not. So you do not want to sleep on this champion. I'm telling you, if you have a Canoness, you have a good blessing. She's a 2-turn cooldown, ally protection on one person, increased defense on the target and on herself. So she puts increased defense on herself and that person, and they get ally protection. Then on top of that, chat, she puts a continuous heal on everyone, including herself. All right, that's not a 2-turn skill. Now, I don't like her A1. It's the most stupidest A1 I've ever seen. It should have said land this on every other champion other than this champion, right? See, it says random ally. The way this is coded, it can land on her by accident. That is stupid. Why? Because she's a defensive champion. Everything she does is damage based off defense. She gets an increased defense buff. Why would she want that increased attack to herself? That doesn't make sense. It should be a 50% plus books, 60% chance of landing an increased attack on a random ally other than this champion. That's what it should say. But Plarium is a billion-dollar company that doesn't know what they're fucking doing. Sorry. Forgot to press the button. All right, attack. That's why it pisses me off, man, because I'm like, bro, this has been there for like 4 years and they have not fixed it. Like, your developers don't know what they're doing, brother. Or maybe they purposely want to cook people and screw over champions so you can go for the legendaries and the mythicals. And for that, you deserve that second one. Attacks one enemy has an 80% chance, 100% of putting decreased accuracy in leech. This attack is always critical. This skill smacks. I'm telling you, it nukes, hits for hundreds of Ks. If you want to build her as a nuker, you can. But remember, if you do build her as a nuker, she's going to take a lot of damage because she's putting the ally protection. Now, not putting AoE ally, so she won't be taking that much, right? Because if it was AoE ally protection, she'd probably just die. But you can build her kind of like a nuker, right? I just don't like the A1, man. I do like the A2, I do like the A3, and I even like this for Faction Wars because that's where I was using her. If you have a 5 or 6-star blessing, maybe even a 4, I recommend building her to play around with her. She's not a must build, but she's definitely a technical niche champion you can play around with. Adriel, trash. We're going to move on, okay? We're going to move on. I'm sorry. This used to be an old school champion. She's only annoying in the waves because she puts reflex damage so you one-shot yourself. Other than that, there's a reason why more people have built or reviewed the Canoness and people say she's trash compared to Adriel, as you can see. Adriel's garbage. Do not even build this champion at all. Hope. Okay, now Hope is weird because and sometimes she can be okay. And then sometimes she's not great. Now you might be like, what do you mean, Jay? Well, she has a block buffs, but it's not 100%, right? It's not an 80%, not a 75%, it's a 50%. So there's a 50-50 you might land at. Here she can strip all the enemy's buffs on a 3-turn cooldown, which is amazing. But, oh, it's a 75% chance. You're like, oh. So if you're willing to deal with RNG and you have hope that she'll work, then she will work on RNG basis. She has an A2. This skill is the one that I told player, I'm like, bro, this needs to be a 3-turn cooldown. Come on, bro, make her a 3 so she can be a 1-3-3 epic. No, now she's a 4-turn, increase the duration of all ally buffs by 1 turn. She puts a shield on everybody based on her HP. She does have high HP, 21,000 base HP. Her defense is very low though, so keep that in mind. She has good resistance good speed, right? So you can keep, but if they would have made this a 3-turn, you could have made her fast with high HP and just keep spamming those A2s and then using the A3 whenever you need to strip off buffs, right? But yeah, now you got to build her like with accuracy and use her like a Madame Ceres, but just use Madame Ceres, like, you know what I'm saying? So is she a must build? I don't think so. Frostbringer is garbage. She still doesn't bring the frost. Yes, she has heal reduction. Yes, she has decreased defense. And yes, she has this. Brother, she still doesn't bring the frost. Brother, player, please. Player, please. Talia. Is Talia good? Talia is really good if you're going to combine her with Phoenix. If you're not going to combine her with Phoenix, yes, you can still build her. If you have a 4-star blessing and up, you can still build her as a good nuker because she does really good damage. She has, her kit synergizes, but it's not that great. Like, look, even in like 7 years, she's been out since the beginning of the game, right? Only 170. Like, come on. She's not that insane. She's only good for content. She does have good synergy with this and this, but I wish they would have gave her A1 something else. Like it hits 3 times, but she puts decreased defense or decreased attack or decreased speed or something. You know, that would make her like up to par. Her A2 does AoE hit, and when she does A3, she starts A1ing the people like crazy. Like I said, she does really good damage. She's a good epic if you have a good blessing, but I don't recommend this champ if you don't have that gear or that blessing. She only has 12,000 base HP. She has good defense for an attack champion. I don't know why. They should have gave her better HP, but yeah, I think she's really good with Phoenix, but without it. Same thing with Juliana. If you have Romero and Juliana, they work really good. I recommend if you have both of them with Blessed out, use them together. Because remember, these epics, you can empower them, right? +2, +4. Now imagine you have a couple together, both +4, 6-star Blessed. You see what I'm saying? That's going to be really, really good. So these champions are just, it depends on your account. If they're by themselves, honestly, I kind of treat them like I wouldn't treat them like a Frostbringer, but I would treat them more like a Candace or a Hope, you know? Sanguinia, this is a champion you should not sleep on. She's actually really good. She cleanses all your champions by transferring all the debuffs from this champion and removes all these. So she'll transfer all the debuffs she has to the enemy and then cleanse everybody else, which is insane. And then on top of that, she puts block debuffs buff for 1 turn and a continuous heal on a 3-turn cooldown. Now, it's not a 2-turn buff, but you can always bring another champion to extend that, right? So you can have a longer duration. And her A1 also decreases the duration of 2 random buffs on the target. So she's like cooking them with their debuffs. They get sent back. She's cooking their buffs and she's keeping her team protected. Not a bad epic. I don't think she's an 8 out of 10. I would give her like a 7.5. She used to be better back then, but she's still okay. She's still okay now. Aothar was a lot better back then. Way insane champion back then. He's a 1/3/3 champion that puts lots of poisons. People only use this champion against clan boss. Maybe like against Dragon, if you have nothing else, honestly, maybe even against Iron Twins, if you have nothing else. This guy's not that bad. I just don't think he's that great. He doesn't have any good passives. His aura's decent. He's a good nuker. He's a good nuker that has really good debuffs. But the problem is, if you can't keep this guy alive, he's just gonna fall down. He's useless. So if you can keep him alive with a Necron or something else, or I don't know, in your faction, this faction Second Order, they do have really good ally protectors and block damage and things of that nature, like Rashkar. If you can like work around it, yeah, this guy's actually not bad. If you have a good blessing, I would recommend 4 to 6-star blessing. Relic Keeper, one of the OGs, is a fusion. You can actually fuse this guy over and over and over. Oh, thank you. I just got food dropped. You ever get a supply drop? I just got food dropped. Dang, let's go. Thank you. Oh God, it's hot. All right, let's keep doing this video. So Relic Keeper, very good champion here. Sorry. I'm getting a little distracted, I know. So Relic Keeper, is he good? I think a lot of people are sleeping on this epic. You understand that he has one of the back then, people were using this guy in PvP. If you didn't have a good team in PvP back then, you just lost. He was the old school way to beat Rotos. I mean, sorry, before Rotos came out, he was the old school way of Rotos. You would literally just get extra turn, kill them, go again. Extra turn, kill them, go again. I've been 1v4'd by Relic Keeper before Rotos was a thing, right? Because Civi and Rotos came out in February of 2020 or 2021, one of those years. Okay. And I remember people were killing me with Relic Keeper. They would go first with Arbiter. They would decrease defense my champions. And then Relic Keeper would just go boom, because his A2 gives them increased attack. But not for 1 turn, not for 2 turns, not for 3 turns. Oh my God, for 4 turns. This is a 4-turn cooldown with an extra turn, which means it goes down to a 3. That means he's one of the only champions in raid. There's not even mythicals that can do this, by the way, that can give them more turns than their actual skill gives them. Like the buff is higher than the skill. That is nuts. That means you have infinite increased attack if you have this champion fully booked and you're actually using the skill, you know, like A2 and then A1 and A1. You have infinite attack. There's no champion in the game. So when you look at Horden, right, which is fucking trash, because the way that his buffs fall off too fast. Those should be 3 or 4 turns. Foden would be actually insane if they did that, right? He'd actually be a good champion. Would it be a $50 champ? I don't know about $50, but he'd be definitely a good champion. The Relic Keeper can do that. Then he has a passive that says whenever hit by an enemy, when hit by an enemy, it doesn't say, oh, I take 10% of my HP or I have to be at 50% or less. No, he just says anytime this dude is attacked, anytime he puts a continuous heal on himself. You might think to yourself, well, Jay, but he's a nuker and he only has 90 speed. That's not that great. But his kit gives him extra turns. You see what I'm saying? So it makes up the fact that he has so many extra turns. He's going to be proccing those continuous heals. You can take a turn, proc the continuous heal, get an extra turn, get another continuous heal buff. You see what I'm saying? So he can gain 30% of his health in one turn, literally instantly. So if he's at 70% health, he can go right back to 100%, literally 100%. And if they attack him, he gets that continuous heal again. You see, it's insane good synergy. All right. And if you fully book this, you might think to yourself, well, it's a 3-turn passive. It's not infinite. Yes, but you're not understanding that he has extra turns in his kit. So if it's 3 and he uses his A2, it goes down to a 2. And then if he A1s and kills someone, it goes down to a 1. Do you see? So like he can literally have it, not literally infinite, but the passive can almost be infinite if you're killing people. So it is insane epic. Honestly, the fact that he's not a void epic blows my mind. That he's a traditional epic that anyone can get, and you can keep getting him. So you can get a +4 version of this guy. I recommend Relic Keeper, especially if you have a 6-star blessing and you have +4. This guy's gonna one-shot people, especially if they're magic affinity or force affinity or void affinity. Now, if they're spirit affinity, you might have to build a lot more crit rate, like 115%, so you can still crit them. But you're probably gonna weak hit them, and he only has a single target hit. That's the only downside about this champion, is a single target hit, and he has to kill people. But I'm telling you, if you build him right, he will kill people. This guy hits pretty decent. He is pretty decent. He also even has one of the best campaign auras in the game. So if you're early game or mid game, and you're like, damn, I don't got a good campaign farmer, you won't believe this. I used to use Relic Keeper to be my campaign farmer back then in 12.3. Yes, I didn't use no AoE epic or AoE rares. Relic Keeper was my boy back then. Now, of course, that sounds kind of insane when you can use a rare champion, like Fellhound or a Bellower or even a Banshee to do better work than that, or even like a uncommon champion like a Saurus, right, that has like multiple AoEs that can help you in campaign. Trust me, I know, but I loved Relic Keeper so much that hey, I built him and used him that way. All right, next one's going to be Missionary. By the way, chat, I'm going to remove myself, or viewers from YouTube if you're watching, I'm going to remove my camera here because I don't like to indulge on the camera while I talk to people. All right, so we got Missionary here. Is Missionary a good champion? I actually like this champion. He got buffed, and when he got buffed, he became actually really good. I like this epic a lot. He's a 1/3/3 epic. I definitely recommend. He has stuns, provokes, decrease attack, heal reduction, and decrease speed. Bro has like everything. This guy has so many debuffs. The only downside about him is that he has 96 base speed instead of 100 base speed. Right? And then also his accuracy. If you look at the accuracy over here, it is not 100. It's not like an extra 10. That's the only downside about him. I wish they would give him like 10 or 20 because he has so many debuffs. But other than that, really good epic. I recommend him a lot. Romero, I only recommend this champion if you're using Juliana. If you're using him by himself, he's kind of midi. He's kind of okay, but he's kind of midi. I think he's a lot better with Juliana, and I think he's better if you have a 6-star blessing. Lydia Tessa, I hate this champion. Straight dog shit. She has a chance to stun on a 3-turn cooldown. That's why people like her. But I just no. I just can't. I just can't. I don't like the rest of the kit. If you're gonna stun people, she should have decreased speed on the A1, right? So that way you can decrease speed, stun them, and then they're cooked. That stun is gonna take longer for them to wake up. A1 doesn't synergize with the A2. A3 attacks with 2 random allies, damage inflicted, blah, 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 if they're under stun. So basically, they want you to stun and then use the A3. This is on a 4-turn cooldown. Brother, how the hell? Explain to me how... Let me show you a champion real quick. Explain to me how Morag can send teams up with 2 random allies to attack the target. The allies will use their grant an extra turn if an enemy is killed. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, that sounds really good. But then when you look at Lady Tessa, and then you look at this and you're just like, what? It's only 20% more damage? Like, it's not that good, man. It's just not that good. I don't like it. If you like it, you can use it. I don't recommend building a Lady Tessa. Maybe if you have a 6-star blessing, you can use her, but I don't like the fact she only has a single target. Everything is just single targets. There's not even multi-hits. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just don't like that. Mordecai. Very good old school mid game champion for players who had trouble putting AoE burns. This was like the solution. There was no epics in the game other than like Supreme Galek. Oh no, sorry, Ultimate Galek, who could put like AoE burn as an epic back then. Back then, he came out. He was super used. Do I recommend him? I do recommend him if you have nothing else. He's not as good as he was back then. He's still decent. This champion is super freaking squishy, like insanely squishy. So I recommend don't build him attack. Just build him as tanky as possible or as fast as possible, and try to keep him alive. But I'm gonna tell you this: he's gonna die a lot, so you better make sure you know what you're doing. Bushi. Now this is a fan favorite. I like this champion. A lot of people don't like him at all. People say that he's kind of midi. I like him because of the A2. This attack is always critical. He puts increased attack. Who cares? He puts increased speed. Now that's important, right? This skill is just like what's her name? Just like Kenanus, right? Always crits. This attack is always critical. But the difference between Kenanus and him is that he's an attack champion. This is more of a support tank, right? He's actually a nuker. And he's a nuker that actually will come back to life and then put an unkillable on himself. I don't know if you do this, but attack champions, they die a lot. They're not like tanky, right? They're not tanky like a defense or an HP nukers. So the fact that he brings himself for free back and unkillable so he can actually do something is actually not bad. Do I recommend building a champion? No, he's kind of a niche champion. If you have no other nukers, he's decent. So I don't really must recommend him. But if you have nothing else, he's not that bad. I would say if you have a 6-star blessing, he's definitely like an 8 out of 10. But if you don't, he's like a 7. So it's not a must build champion. Now, Phoenix, the GOAT. Everyone knows Phoenix is one of the most important champions. There's a reason why over 1,000 reviews on this champion. He's one of the best, like highest damage dealing epics in the game if you can get the condition of putting a debuff. Why? Because it says place an extra hit if the target has any debuffs. Enemies killed by this skill cannot be revived. Now, you might be like, Jay, you only hit twice. Why does he nuke so hard? Because the multipliers on this champion's A1 is as high as someone's A3 or A2. So all his skills have high multipliers, right? Like just banana multipliers. And then on top of that, he can also block revive on an A1, which is just like, what? Most people have block revives in their A2, their A3, or passive. This guy has basically a guaranteed block revive on an A1. Even if they don't have the debuffs, notice it says dot. That means it just says any enemies killed by this skill cannot be revived. Like, you know what I mean? Like they always get put down no matter what. Even if they don't have any debuffs, they still get block revive. That's why it's so overpowered. Use this champion with counterattack. Use this champion with ally attack. Use this champion with increased attack. This champion is bananas. Literally one of the few champions that can give a 10 out of 10 champion. The rest of his kit is insane. If you have Talia, you get even more. You get the bombs, the block active skill, the block buffs, depending on what's going on, right? Then the A3 also has a decreased speed and a decreased defense. Now, the only downside about this skill is that this skill is a 4-turn and this is a 4-turn. So his cooldowns are high up there, right? So unless you have a 6-star blessing, I give Phoenix like a 9 out of 10. But if you have a good blessing on Phoenix, this guy is literally one of the only 10 out of 10 epics in the game. If they would just reduce those cooldowns to like a 4 or 3 turn, on like 3 on each one, like this could say still 4. I don't mind that one. But they can make this to a 3 or both. Man, the Phoenix will probably be one of the like top 3 best epics in all of Raid. Deacon Armstrong, how good is this epic? This is a must build champion. He's super insane. There's another reason. Look, another reason why a lot of people reviewed this champion, right? Super bananas. He has a speed lead, which synergizes with the turn meter boosting, the decreasing turn meter, the extra turn, the decreased defense. You're basically going to have guaranteed increased defense forever. If you build this guy fast, you will never lose that increased defense. It will always be there. Unless they cleanse. And then he has a leech on the A1. So that's why people use him for Clan Boss. That's why people use him for like Faction Wars. That's why people use him for like Curse City, Grim Forest. Super insane epic. Has 15 base extra accuracies as extra accuracy you get. Good base speed, good tankiness for being a support. Just like when he first came out, he was one of the first epics in the game that could do what he did. Literally, like there was no epic in the game that could do what he did. Now there's other epics that have similar stuff, but they're not the same. Deacon still is one of the best free-to-play epics. If you can get a Deacon, you definitely want to build him. Mistress of Hymns. She's a very niche champion reviver if you have no other revivers to use her. I don't recommend her unless you have a 5 or 6 star blessing, honestly. I don't think she's worth it. There's better champs. Lodric Falconheart. This champion is literally a Borgath the Scarab King cheat code. If you're having trouble against Borgoth the Scarab King and you have this in your arsenal, you definitely want to use this champion. Is he good anywhere else? He can be okay against some bosses because of the decreased attack A1. But honestly, you just want to turn this shit off, right, on the preset and just A1, A2, A1, A2, A1, A2. You just want to keep doing that forever. He's an HP champion, good stats, a little bit slow on the speed. I do like, this is a 2-turn cooldown. It's nuts, bro. You don't realize how not a lot of champions can do that. And just spam every other turn. You get to spam a gigantic shield. Like, that's insane. So if you need shields, he's going to be a must build on your account. But if you don't need shields, he's not that good, actually, because he doesn't do anything else. He literally doesn't do anything else. Anchorite. Is Anchorite a good champion? A lot of people like to use this champion because he can increase the duration of all allied buffs. So it's good for like affinity teams or something like that. I think he's I don't really like him per se. I've tried. Like, he does fully heal a target, right? I think if they would have made this a 3-turn cooldown, this guy would be. I would have probably used him a lot more. As a 4-turn cooldown, it's just not enough, bro. It's just not enough. Like, and the A1 like heals the ally with the lowest by 10% damage inflicted. That doesn't even make sense. It doesn't even make sense. I'm not gonna build this guy to do damage. Why would you build this guy damage if this skill does? You know, something no damage there, no damage there. Why would you, like, the kit is all over the place. But even so, a lot of people have showcased this champion and tried to make him useful. Do I recommend him? No, I don't recommend him, but if you have nothing else, he's not bad. He's not a bad champion. Players should definitely buff this and turn this into a 3-turn cooldown. And this is an okay skill. I think they should add like continuous heals, like at least a continuous heal buff, and then extend that continuous heal after. That would make the guy so good. Carlinia, Candlehead Girl. I thought when I saw this champion, I thought to myself, holy shit, are they trolling? But they weren't trolling, like legit, this is real. So HP burn on the A1 is not bad. A lot of epics don't do that. It's not bad, but the A2 does debuff cannot be resisted by targets under HP burn is kind of weird because you can't AoE HP burn. So how would you? Weird synergy here. Weird synergy. I do like to decrease attack, but it's not even 100% chance. So that doesn't work. That doesn't land that easy. Decrease the duration of all debuffs by allies by 1 to increase your strengthen. This buff cannot be removed or stolen. This skill is not bad, but once again, it's on a 4-turn cooldown. She doesn't give herself extra turns. She doesn't give herself increased speed. Every time an enemy is under HP burn, get a turn, decrease the duration of a 2 and above. Now that's pretty cool, but once again, she doesn't put AoE burns. So you have to bring somebody else to spread a burn or bring AoE burn, and then she gets more value. She's a support that needs other support to be good, and I don't like that. So I don't recommend Carlinia. Cardinal. Cardinal is probably one of the best epics in Raid Shadow Legends. If you do not think so, I think you should probably look at and play a different game, honestly. Why is she one of the best epics in the game? Is because she has an A1 that puts a poison. Now, it's not a high chance, but it's the strongest poison in the game. Okay? You can still sniper, max or hex or mastery to help out. She has a really good heal and an increased defense on them on a 3-turn cooldown, right? Not the best heal, but it's decent. And then she has one of the best revives in the game. There's a 5-turn cooldown, revives every single dead ally. They only come back with 25% HP, I know. And then there's no one in the game, or epic-wise, that I can think of. Maybe there's a mythical, but there's no one who can boost their turn meter to max. Now you may think to yourself, Jared, what does that even mean? You can fill turn meter, you can get 100% turn meter, and there's also turn meter to max. Max means it doesn't matter what their speed is, you are going to get your turns next. So let me just show that real quick on a notepad. Oh shit, I did not mean to save that. Hopefully I did not save that. And I just ruined everything of my raid text. Oh my god, did I just ruin my raid text? I use that every single day. Oh no, that is horrible. Okay, let's just use offline notepad instead. Well, I'm gonna have to fix that when I need to do my other videos and other stuff. Offline notepad. Okay, so what does that mean? So let's say I'm fighting someone 400 speed, right? And my champions are 150 speed. And he revives his champion, and that champion comes back with 50% per meter, and then gets like another 20% per meter boost. So that's a total of 70% per meter, right? Not including anything else. If my champions are 150, my Cardinal activates the A3, right? She will then bring back each of those champions. Let's say let's say one of my champions is 151. My next one is my next champion is 151, and my next champion is 152. Or I should say, sorry, it should go 2, 1, and then 0, right? And let's say Cardinal is speed around like 160 speed, all right? And she's like in stone skin, right? Stone skin, it's like 6-piece stone skin, 3-piece like reaction, right? 3-piece reaction accessories. Best way to build her way, by the way. That's the best way to build her. All right, so what happens in this spot? So if he revives here, this champion, let's say this champion that had 50% turn meter, this is a reviver, right? Like a 400 speed reviver. And then the champion that came back has like 300 speed champion, right? All right. So normally, right, if you revive and then I revive, my champions who have these speeds right here are going to go to the max, right? Because these are max speeds, while this is fill speed / turn meter, right? So you're filling the turn meter, I should just fill, it's probably fill turn meter. Have you ever seen like champions that say fill turn meter to 100% on a revive? What does that mean? That means they get 100% turn meter. Whoever has more than 100% will go first. Yes, you can go over 100% in terms of a turn order, because that's how you cut in, right? So to the max basically means infinity. In the coding, you can't reach more than max. Like literally, it's impossible. No one has like 1,000 speed, right? So it basically means you go next. You get instant turns. This is back then before they said they could just change this, right? The keywording and just say grants all champions who are revived with instant turn effects. But it's different because the way that it's coded just fills turn meter to the max. Now that if you don't want champions like Solinar or other things maybe in the future that come out, if it says instant turns, you get cooked. Well, I think they should keep it the same way, turn meter to the max, honestly. But basically, when you would revive these champions, they literally get to go. Even though this champion has 300 speed, or the reviver has 400, doesn't matter. They literally get to go next. And they go next based on their speed. So if you build one of your champions at 152, one of them at 151, and one of them at 50, you literally go boom, boom, boom in that order. In that order of how you built the speed. Now you may think to yourself, well, Jay, I don't need to have 152. I can have like 257 and then 175 and then 150 and it'll still work. True. It will still work. But, if you want to get more stats, right? Why are you building your champion slow in the first place to get more stats? If you're going to get full turn meter, who the hell cares about how much speed you have? If you're getting full to the max, right? So that's how that works. And that's why this champion is super busted. One of the best epics in the game. All right, Lightsworn. Is Lightsworn good? This guy, a lot of people used to use this champion back in the days. I'm actually gonna take off my head. My headset, my hat. A little bit warm in here. I'm having trouble staying cool. All right, so the A1 used to be really good because it had decreased turn meter. And this used to be good against a lot of bosses, but now a lot of bosses are either immune or just not as good as it should be. It's still decent, A1. The A2 is still really good for clan boss, right? Well, not clan boss, but like you can use it there. But it's good for bosses in general. People used to use revive on death teams with this champion. You might think to yourself, what's a revive on death team? It's when you build a team that comes back from revive on death buff, and it works like a block damage team. They come back, they fall down. Sorry, they fall down, right? They come back from the revive on death. The first champion that comes back activates a skill to make them heal up or immune, and then you have another block damage team. So if you're having trouble building an unkillable team, don't sleep on building a revive on death team for clan boss. Is he a must build? No, nowadays he's fallen off. He's not that great as he used to be back then. If you have a 6-star blessing, I think he's a decent champion. 5-star might be decent, but he's just not that great. Inquisitor Shamiel is a must build epic. He's super amazing. He's a great nuker, and if he's not a nuker, you could build him as a resist tank for Hydra. And he's one of the only ways to deal with the whatchamacallit, the Torment Head, who will torment you with fears and true fears like over and over and over and over again. He's the only way you can clear. Whenever an ally receives a fear or true fear, this skill will instantly remove the debuff and fill the turn meter. That means you cleanse it. That means it doesn't exist. That whole Hydra head that has a passive just doesn't even work. I'm surprised they never nerfed his champion. But they didn't nerf him because he has a void. All right. Godseeker. Is she a build must build? Hell yeah. Everyone builds her for Sand Devil. They build her for Ice Golem sometimes. I've even seen people use her in Dragon. She's good for Nether Spider. She's good for Frost Spider. She's good for Curse City, Faction Wars. Very, 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 very strong champion. That's why over 2,400 people reviewed her. Really good epic. I definitely recommend. Definitely a 9 out of 10, 9.5, honestly. Delicious. All right, let's look at the next faction here. We have is going to be Aina. Aina, is she good? Only if you like. You know what I'm saying? I don't really like this champion at all. I tried. I thought about it. It just too many single target hits. I don't care if she has high damage. Her skills don't even have great synergy. Old school like raid stuff. It's just bad. It's bad. Jotun, they buffed this champion. They buffed him and made him from an attack to HP, which made him way better. He does have a lot of baby buffs, like the decreased defense is a baby version, and the burn is decent, right? It's a 4-turn burn. By the way, if this is a boss, you can infinitely burn a boss with this champion. He has a 4-turn HP burn debuff. That means if you put Max or Hexer, you can make it a 5-turn. That way, if the boss is too quick or get extra turns, this guy's nuts. This guy's kind of nuts with that skill, and he's also one of the few champions in the game that can destroy enemy max HP by 50% if they have a burn. So you go burn the Borgap the Scarab King, and then you use this. Boom! You can blow up a big amount off of Borgap's Scarab King's shield. So is he a Scarab King destroyer? Yes. Is he a must build in general? No, because he doesn't have a lot of AoE. He has a lot of single target hits. He's still a good nuker in general, but look at his space speed. 93 is what is that? You know what I mean? Like that's crazy. You have to build 7 more speed just to have normal speed, and his HP is only 16,000. And when he's supposed to be an HP champion, so he's not even a nuker. You know what I'm saying? Like they just made him like a tank. But why build all these like debuffs and damage skills if he's not a nuker? Like it doesn't. You know what I mean? Like so. I'm not saying I don't recommend. Excuse me. I'm not saying I don't recommend Jotun. I just think if you have a good blessing and you have a +4, you could probably definitely, you could definitely use him if nothing else. But I don't really recommend him anymore. Even with the buff, he's decent, but he's just not like insane like other epics we've seen. Sakara, Sakara is interesting. She works with her sister Alika. They basically both revive each other themselves if their sister is on the other side. Do I think she's good? No, I think Alika's 10 times better. This champion does have an ability that can remove a random buff from each target, so you can technically get a triple strip. You could also argue that she's a Mercurial, anti-Mercurial, right? Kind of like a Zargala, but I just don't like everything else about her kit. Like the other stuff is just weird. I don't like it. Just oh my god, look at this 8-3 4-turn cooldown AoE weekend, like garbage. Like what the hell is this? This skill's decent, right? But once again, it's a 4-turn cooldown, so she's a 1-4-4 instead of being a 1-3-3. So it's not even the kit, it's just her cooldowns are insanely long too. Like, yeah. The only thing she has is good knockers, you know what I'm saying? That's all she has. Aether, I'm not a fan of this champion. If you like this champion, you can combo with Kalia. I just don't like him. He can provoke people, he can keep provoking. I don't know. You know what's weird? He's not even immune to provoke, brother. He can provoke people, and guess what? You can provoke him. Like, what is that, man? Like, what doesn't make sense? Crazy. All right, let's look at Armina. Armina, amazing champion. I think she's very underrated. People do not use like this champion. Every skill she has synergy. Steals turn meter, puts decreased defense, and then if you're stealing turn meter, right, which means they're getting slower, she also has another decreased turn meter. And if your turn meter was fully depleted, she will stun you. 100% stun. If I'm correct, right? 15, 20, 100% stun. That's a guaranteed stun. Epics can't, and this on a 3-turn cooldown. Okay, so that is nuts. She also fills this champion's turn meter by 10% each time an enemy receives a stun debuff. She has stuns on the A3, stuns on the A1. Fuck, put her in a stun set so her A2 can also stun. Right? Imagine that. You're stunning them, decrease defensing them, stealing their turn meter. Then you also get to go again, right? You get to go again, reduce their turn meter. They get stunned again, and then they have no stun. Stun them again on the A1. She's getting turn meter like crazy from the passive and the A2. She's an insane champion. I think a lot of people should be talking about this champion a lot more, and a lot of the community is not. She should be honestly like if you have a 6-star blessing or a 4-star, you should definitely 100% be using this champion. Alika. Alika's a very strong lockout champion. There's not that many lockouts as an epic, right? She has the ability to increase the cooldowns of everyone by 2 turns on a 3-turn cooldown. right? She also has one of the strongest, fastest nukes in the game as an epic. What that means is that the nuke is only a 2-turn cooldown instead of a 3 or 4. That means you only got to take 1 turn, come back, and the skill's ready to go again. She'll ignore 50% of the target's defense if their HP is higher than her. Well, yeah, she's an attack champion. They're always going to have higher HP than her. So it doesn't matter if it's a boss or a PvP champ. You're going to basically one-shot that champion if you build her right. And then she locks people out. So she'll lock them out, kill someone you need to kill, and then the A1 can also have a chance of an extra hit. What, 40, 50% chance to place an extra hit, and that hit is always critical. Always. But it's good against negative affinity, right? Because they reduce your chance to crit. And then she comes back because of if you have Sakara. That's only when Sakara's on the same team, though. That's the only downside about this champion is I wish she didn't have that. But other than that, she is a very good. I definitely recommend everyone to build her. Tishada. I only recommend this champion if you have nothing else. Kalia. I wouldn't even build that champion. Maeve. If you need block revives and you need some CC, she's not bad. Otherwise, I wouldn't build her. Baroth. I've seen people using Baroth because he's tanky. He's just super tanky, has decent resistance, decent defense, and he has good skill that can help him keep going. He's not bad. He's not bad. I think he's like a 7 out of 10 epic. He's not bad. If you have a 6-star blessing, he could be more insane, like an 8 out of 10. Jamarsa. I can bring myself back now because I already finished doing what I was doing. Had some good food, delicious. All right, Jamarsa. Is she good? Jamarsa is, of course, goes with Chronom, which is the legendary version, right? She's such a good champion by herself. She's definitely a must build if you have no one else. If you have no Chronom and you don't have any good revivers, she is a very powerful epic. I don't understand how only 131, that doesn't even make sense. It should be way higher in my opinion. She can help you out in Sand Devil if you're having trouble. She's not the best, but she helps you out. She heals people. Everything, of course, says if Chronom, if Chronom, if Chronom, if Chronom. You know what the crazy thing is? If Chronom's on the team and the sleep debuff was resisted or blocked, she puts a decreased speed. This debuff cannot be blocked. So she can guarantee, if you have no accuracy on this champion, if Chronom is on the same team, she can actually put a guaranteed decreased speed on Iron Twins. A lot of people don't know that. Decreased speed is very important for Iron Twins. So you can put your buffs up without him going crazy, right? So don't sleep on that. She can also put a sleep on Sand Devil, right? And then if it somehow gets blocked or resisted, then she can try to put that decreased speed on the Sand Devil. I don't think it lands because of the way the Sand Devil's passive is, so the Sand Devil would have to be slept for you to even get that second part. But and of course she has like revives all dead allies. She's an AoE healer, AoE reviver, but it's not 50%, it's 30%. So keep that in mind. You want to bring another healer with Jamarsa and Chronom if you want both, if you have both. If you don't, you want to bring another healer to heal everybody up from that revive so that way your team can be alive. Her passive, she has one of the a very interesting passive. Some legendaries and mythicals have this on like an A1 or an A2 or A3, but she has it on a passive. She has a chance if they use a skill to reduce the cooldown of that skill, which is cool. She's okay. Is she a must build? I think back then she was a must build. Now she's like a really good build champion, you know? Woe Painted, one of the worst epics back in the day. Now this champion is actually not that bad. She's actually pretty decent. And if you have a 6-star blessing +4, I definitely 100% recommend building this champion. Insane champ compared to how she used to be back then. Yeah, she only hits twice. I know I get it twice and hits once, block active, but it's on a 3-turn cooldown. Both her skills, block active, block active, block active. She's shutting people down and healing your team to full HP with an extra turn, which will allow her to block the active someone. So, and this is a 4-turn cooldown, right? That gets an extra turn, so it's a 3-turn, and it's guaranteed extra turn all the time. So it's a 3-turn cooldown. So every 3 turns, she will move all debuffs from herself and a random debuff from all her allies, heal them all up based on a surface heal, and then also put reflex damage. Very, very good champion. I definitely recommend people build her. Back in the days, Haikatun used to be a must build, right? Because you wanted to go first before you get Arbiter, and maybe you still might use her early game. But like nowadays, this champion has fallen off hardcore, unfortunately. I don't really recommend people to build her. I don't like the A3s on a 4-turn cooldown. It's not even 100%. The A2 is like the only good thing about her. The A1 doesn't land all the time because it's such a low chance to land. Yeah, she needs a buff. She needs a little bit of a buff or adjustment, in my opinion. Val is trash. She came out. She was only good for like less than a year. Fenrakin the Fat is actually really good to this day, right? He has stayed true to his to his kit and his usability. There's a reason why over 1,700 people have reviewed this champion. Very, very good champion. He's good in Clan Boss, good in Fire Knight, good in like Iron Twins, good in Sand Devil, good in Ice Golem, good in Dragon. Like, where do you not see this champion? I've seen even some people using him in Hydra back in the old days of Hydra, right? Like, you're not going to see him in Chimera, of course, but you still will see him in Curse City. You'll see him in Grim Forest. He's good champion. Very, very good epic. A must-build epic by everyone. Hoskrull, an underrated epic that no one wants to use. Most people don't want to invest into him. I'm going to tell you right now, if you're sleeping on him, he's one of the only champions in the game that can give you increased res and increased defense on the same skill. And he also cleanses stuns. Now, removing stuns is such a weird thing to do, right? But the other two parts are really good. He's also immune to stuns, right? Which means he could be a clan boss. What? Right. He could be a clan boss cleanser for the stun. Now, he has a 4-turn cooldown, so you'll have to speed tune that, right? But he can also take the stun and not get stunned, right, from clan boss. So think about that. Increases the damage inflicted by allies when attacking enemies under stun. That's more of a PvP/PvE non-boss thing, right? Because bosses are usually immune to all stuns in the game. He's only one of the only champions in the game that can put an AoE stun and slow them down on a 3-turn cooldown. There's not many champions that can put a good stun. Armina is one of them, but there's a condition. This doesn't have a condition. It just says, hey, you put a fucking stun out there. And then if they're under stunned, they get slowed, right? Decreased turn meter. So he also has a stun on the A1 as well. What? So imagine putting Armina and this champion together, bro. Those waves are cooked. I'm gonna just tell you that right now. You're gonna put Armina and this guy together? Oh yeah, they're done. They're done. The waves are just gonna get stunned forever. All right. Anyways, I do recommend building that champion. Harken Greatblade. Now, before Michelangelo came out, before everyone started getting Tuhana Rock, before everyone started getting other champions that can spread buffs, this is still actually the only spread debuff champion that can also increase the duration of all those things. She's also Void champion, so she never weak hits. So if you love spreading poisons, you love spreading HP burn from Geo, if you love spreading decreased defense, or I don't know, whatever you want to spread. If you love spreading, she's one of the best spreaders in the game. Literally. No cap. There's a reason why I have, I think, 2 of her. I can't spell her. I think it's Harken? My account. I am on my account. What the fuck? I know her name. I think it's like 2 A's in her name or some weird stuff. Yeah, why do they put 2 A's? Just put Harken. The Harken with 2 A's. Like, bro, I have a +2 Harken and I have another one. 5-star on this one, and I have a 5-star on this one. And honestly, I'm at this rate. If I get one more, I might just +4 the Harken. Okay? So I recommend building out the Harken Greatblade. If you have nothing else, she's very good champion. Suai Firstborn, some content creators like her. I do not recommend building this champion. There's the only reason why there's only 58 people reviewed her. Sky Touch Shaman, a must build champion. Must. She helped me a lot early game, mid game, late game, even end game. Do I use her? No, because I have better champions now. But she helped me basically through most of my years of playing Raid. Very, very strong champion. If you put this champion in regeneration, okay, and if you could bring like a Doom Priest with her, you win. It's simple. You can't die basically because she'll keep healing herself, right? What she does is she cuts her own health. She slowly kills herself to help to keep healing the rest of the to heal the other allies. And the whole concept of it is that she's supposed to put a revive on death on the other allies and herself. And if she does die, she'll come back, and then it's your responsibility to heal her back to full, and then she'll slowly cut her health to keep healing everybody. Super insane champion. I wish this would have been on a 3-turn cooldown, but I understand putting on a 4. If they made this a 3, it would cook people in Doom Tower and other areas. So I guess that's why they kept it at a 4. And then here on her A1, she can heals this by 50% damage inflicted. I don't understand why that says that there. It should be not damage inflicted. It should be heal based on her HP. But once again, that'd be a huge buff, and it would hurt people in Doom Tower or other areas of the game. So I guess by not buffing these epics, it hurts because there could be better epics, but I understand. And boosting turn meter is all right. Now you might be like, what about the fear though? She's gonna keep getting this like fear on her, placed on her. That's why you bring the Doom Priest, or you bring an auto cleanser, someone who can cleanse, or AoE cleanser, like a Demitha or a buff debuff remover by 1 turn. You can remove this off, and then she could put the block debuffs on so she doesn't get fear. A must build champion. I think she's one of the best epics, revive on death epics. Good for Sand Devil. If you guys didn't know, Sand Devil will blow you up. If you have Revive on Death, you'll go to sleep. You'll wake up from the Revive on Death. You start using all your skills. You can reset your team. You can keep in doing the battle, right? So Revive on Death is really good in that area. So that means she's good against that boss too. All right, let's look at the Ogryn Tribes. And I know a lot of people might be like, damn, this is going to be a long video. Hey, bro, that's what you wanted, right? You wanted to every epic. I'm going to give you every single one. And now we got to go through, we're only on 4 factions. 4 factions, brother. It's going to be a 4-hour fucking stream. Or sorry, it's going to be a video that you're watching right now, but the stream is watching it live. If you're not watching me on live TV, you should watch me on twitch.tv/JRStar3. All right, here, Grimskin. Now, is Grimskin good? He's a defensive nuker, a defensive debuffer, right? But I don't know, like, I always looked at this kid, I was like, man, that could have been better. Like, yeah, it's 100%, but it's a 4-turn cooldown for 100% one buff. Like, I don't want to remove one buff. Like, that's not enough. I need to remove at least 2 or 3. And that needs to be a 3-turn cooldown to be consistent. So it's like a 4-turn, like, I don't know. I don't like him. I don't like him. Me personally, I just don't like him. If you have nothing else, use him, but I don't like him. Ugo, a must build epic. I have 3 Ugos on my account. I have 3 level 60 Ugos. Okay, so do I need 3? No, I only need like what, 1+4, I think. Okay, I lied. I only have 2. I must have ate that last one and turned it into a +4. But I have 2. One 6-star blessed. Yeah, can you believe this? The one that's 6-star blessed is not the +4. I have a +4 and a 6-star blessed Ugo. Okay, I have 2 Ugos. So if you have Ugo, definitely use it. Very good epic in the game. Claude Breastfeeder. Some people call him Beast Feeder, but I tell them you probably need to clean your glasses. You might need to clean your glasses, okay? All right. Let's see it. Why is it? And you might be like, Jane, explain why Ugo's so good. If you don't understand why she's not good, why she's good, all I can tell you is put this champion in a regeneration set and make her your most tankiest champion. Do not make another champion tankier than her, because she needs to always be the last person alive to revive everybody else. Okay? So you can build the other guys tanky, but don't build them tankier than her. That way she can always revive everyone. Also, you want to build her with resistance and preferably regeneration. So 4-piece regeneration with like 500, 400 or 500 resistance, very fast, like 300 speed plus. That's the best way to build this champion. Tanky as balls. And you have to build accuracy too. I know. You have to build regeneration with 400, 500 accuracy and 400, 500 res. It's not an easy build. Not. But if you get a +4 with 6-star blessing, you will be like, damn, this champion's OP. All right. Claude Breastfeeder. Is he good? Sorry, we just make fun of people's names here. He's a 110 base speed champion. There's not a lot of epics in the game that can be that fast. He has increased speed buff, increased accuracy on a 3-turn cooldown. I love that. He has a passive that will keep healing people. He has a shield that will keep shielding people on a 3-turn. And he has an A1 that's not that great. But hey, the great thing is you don't have to build this guy accuracy at all. You could just build him high HP, fast, with resistance. That's the best way. Do I recommend building him? Yes. I think he's a very good epic. Is he as good as Ugo? No. Ugo's like a 9 and Claude is like an 8.5 in my opinion. So Siege Hulk. Siege Hulk is not only a must build epic for Ogrins, but also you want to build multiple Siege Hulks. Preferably 2, and if you can, a 3rd one. Okay, you're gonna need this champion for Curse City, and you're gonna need 2+4 him. So if you can't build 3, just build 1+4, or at least 1+3 and then 1 regular. Okay? Because this guy is actually good. He nukes, he does a lot of damage. He is like a little bit slow by 5 speed, but look at that base attack. 1,542. That's legendary status attack on an epic. Okay? And he also has 10 extra accuracy because he has debuffs here, or controlling here, debuffs here, and he has debuffs here. So you definitely want, and everything synergizes with the champion. He puts an increased attack on himself. Okay, he was an increased attack champion. He puts decreased defense on everyone. Okay, so you can kill them with the A3, right? Because the A3 gives them increased crit damage, increased crit rate, and then puts a decreased speed. If they die, they don't get that decreased speed, right? Because they're dead. But if they don't die, they get the decreased speed. And if they have the decreased speed, he will then kill them. So everything he does is to kill you. I lower your defense. I slow you down so I can get back to you, and boom, decrease your turn meter even more if you have decreased defense or this. So if they somehow still survive the A1, they're going to slow down even more by decreasing their turn meter. Do you see what I'm saying? So he slows people down and then nukes the shit out of them over and over and over until they die. Really strong champion. Is he a must build? I normally would tell people he's not like a 10 out of 10 champ, but he's a must build because of Curse City. You do need multiple of him. And if you want to use him in Faction Wars, you can use 2 of him as well. I only use 1. But yeah. All right, Lorne. Is Lorne good? Lorne is an okay champion if you're having trouble with heal reduction. If you're one of those champions that are like, oh man, I need heal reduction. I need heal reduction. I need AoE heal reduction. I need heal reduction coping mechanisms. Then definitely this champion is a really good champion that I would recommend. But otherwise, if you don't, I would not build that champion at all. He does have decreased turn meter on the A3, but it's not on a 3-turn cooldown. It's on a 4. No bueno. I don't like that. Skull Crusher, one of the OGs. Hey, thank you so much, Nicholas Raid. Thank you so much for the raid, man. How you doing? Skull Crusher, one of the old school epics of back in the days. He used to be great for Clan Boss. He's still good for Faction Wars. Really good against the Fire Knight as well, if you didn't know. It doesn't matter if it's Fire Knight hard or normal. You can still use Skull Crusher there. Very good against Iron Twins too. If you want to build yourself like this kind of like unkillable like team, you can do that as well. Hey, thank you so much for the raid, bro. What's up, Ultra Gamer? How you guys doing? Doing pretty good. All right. The next one's going to be, so I definitely recommend Skull Crusher a lot. He's a really good champion. How do you want to build him? Some people build him damage so he can keep counterattacking with the A1 to put, and he does put a heal reduction, right? But most people, I tell people to build him like basically just tanky, just super tanky. Put him in like Guardian sets. Put him in like, if you want to put him in like tanky sets as well, like Stalwarts or whatever, because he's going to be taking some hits because he's putting ally protection. And then the reason why he has unkillable is he's going to die. He's going to be at like literally zero, like 1% health every single time. I wish they would have given him something else like on the A1 that says if he's like based on his health level, he did like something else, right? Like a 99% damage boost or something, right? Based on his health, because that was synergized with the counterattack. But unfortunately, that's not there. He's still a good must-build champion. Shatterbones. Now, this champion, a lot of people were saying to build him. Some people said don't build him. So I had to build him myself. I had to literally build this guy myself on my own account to see if he was actually good. So I have a +4 6-star Shatterbones. Okay, and Merciless, 6-piece Merciless. Do I recommend this champion? He's okay. Even with all that, he's a triple hitter. So yeah, he can stop Mercurial. Yeah, he can, decrease turn meter and help you out. And then you can also like nuke the waves. The A3 is all right. I wish this would have been like, dude, 5-turn cooldown? Like, what the is this? Like, why? Why? I don't like this. It should have been a 3-turn easily, or even a 4-turn. Holy booked 5 is like diabolical. Like, what is that? You know what I'm saying? Like, look, like, who the hell? Who the hell is going to use a 7-turn skill or 5-turn skill when all it does is decrease speed and then also like slow them down, like filter. It does filter me a little bit of your champions, right? By 25%. I don't know, man. I just wish it would have been the better decrease speed by 30% would make more sense if the turn meter was 30%. Then you could argue maybe a 5-turn. But even then, it's still too much. It should be a 3 or 4-turn cooldown. Do I recommend this champion? If you have a high blessing like I do. But otherwise, I don't recommend this champion at all. Grunge Killjoy. Is he worth actually building? So we have like, the A1 has block buffs. That's kind of midi. Too many books. I think this guy's a freaking librarian. Too many epic books, man. For like what he's doing, he's like, okay. But honestly, you only need 2 books on the A3, and that's it. This A3 is one of the like most interesting A3s in the game. He cleanses everyone, and based on every single debuff that he cleansed, you get a continuous heal. That is that's insane, right? So let's say Dragon comes at you and poisons you, right? And the Dragon puts like 3 poisons, right? Especially in hard mode. You just build the Grunge Killjoy to go 1 speed after the boss. So the moment the Dragon does that skill, you go 1 speed after. You go next. You activate this A3, cleanse all those poisons go away, and you get tons of continuous heal buffs. That is nuts. You ever fight Hydra and the poison head throws out a whole bunch of poisons to your whole team? You could activate this A3 and cleanse the whole team and get a whole bunch of continual heals, whole bunch of buffs for your team. That is pretty nice. I don't like the fact that it's on a 4-turn cooldown, right? But I understand that he's an epic, and only legendaries usually have 3-turn cleanses with stuff. So I get that. I wish his other skills would have been better. It should be guaranteed bombs, right? If it's going to be a 4-turn cooldown, and his A1 should be, I mean, it's pretty high chance, actually. What, 50, 60, 65 with Sniper 70? 70 A1 block buff is not bad on a 3, and you can make that a 2-turn cooldown if you get lucky with Max or Hexer. I think, okay, A1's not that bad. I just think it's the A2 should have been a lot higher. Like fully booked, it should be at least a 90. Like, give me something like close to guaranteed, instead of just like 70%. Like, what? Not even a 75? Like, we don't even get a 3 or 4s, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you could argue, well, Jay, you can also get Sniper, Max, or Hexer to give another 5%. So you're getting 5, 10, 15, 20, 75% chance. But then it becomes a 3/4. But I don't know, just kind of weird. Kind of weird. Like, he's supposed to be a bomber. And if you can't land the bombs, what's the point? Like, it's just kind of weird. It doesn't work with his passive. Do I recommend him? I don't. If you have nothing else, he's a okay, good epic. I've used him. I stopped using him because he's just not good enough. Sees another damage dealer that kind of weird, and I don't like him. I don't like him. I think if you would have had increased attack on the A, like change this to increase attack over here instead of increase crit damage, and put the increased crit damage on the A1 instead, I think that would have probably been better, because this is a 3-turn cooldown. This is a 3-turn cooldown. He has a good, interesting passive. I think they released him during the meta when stuff was going on around in raid at the time. It could have been better. I don't recommend him. Gruckus. Now, Gruckus is an interesting champion, has a triple hit, who can put leech, has a decreased speed. Every time I see this champion, I think Fire Knight, right? Multiple hits on the A1, the decreased speed and decreased turn meter here, and you get the heal reduction and decreased attack. So when I think of this whole kit, I think of an epic champion who was trying to cook the Fire Knight. So if you're having trouble on normal Fire Knight, or even a little bit of hard Fire Knight, this is a decent champion that can help you, but he's not the best. Now, look at that. His aura is dungeons, which lets you know, oh shit, this guy was meant for dungeons. Literally, he's meant to stop bosses, right? Put the heal reduction to put the decrease attack. So he's not a bad champion. I just I don't know. I just feel like you don't need to build him. But if you're doing Curse City and you're having trouble and you need this champion, he could definitely help you out there. But in general, I mean, personally, I think he's all right. He's all right. He's like a 7. I don't really recommend, unless you have a good blessing on him. Galka, we're not going to even talk about Galka. It's garbage. We're not going to talk about him. Cagebreaker, another weird champion. Occult Broggler, very good old school poisoner, because every single time he takes a turn, at the start of his turn, he puts a poison on someone. And then also at the start of at the start of the turn, he also has another chance to put another. You see what I'm saying? Like, so he has like a little baby poison, and then boom, big poison. And he can just keep poison like crazy. And then basically he also puts poison on the A1 as well. And then basically, if the enemy has lots of debuffs, he gets lots of different scenarios. Like if they have 1 debuff, they get ignore defense. If they have 2, he can block revive them. If he has 3, he always crits. If it has 4, this champion heals himself by 30%, which is so weird. And then if he has 5, he gets an extra turn, cleanses himself from all debuffs after the attack. So you might be like, well, Jay, that's the poison is kind of going on himself. Yeah, he does poison himself, right? Which is annoying. The whole point is you want to basically cleanse that, and you want to stack a lot of poisons on the opponent, and then this skill will cleanse himself so he doesn't die, right? Because eventually he will die. And people think to themselves, well, I don't want to poison this champion and lose my champion because he's going to eventually die. Brother, he's an HP champion with 20,000 HP. If you build him right, you'll be fine. Trust me. You're not going to lose this champion. The only downside about this champ that I don't like is that he's HP main, but his scaling is off attack. All Plarium has to do is make him an HP champion, and this epic can come back as being no cap, like a top 10 epic in the game. But right now, he's kind of like a mid epic, and he's not that great. I give him like a 6. Honestly, he can definitely be good based on your, if you need him. But I don't know. Me personally, I think there's better. Grush the Mangler used to be a really good. Back in the old days when he first came out. Now, if you do build him for Faction Wars, you can. But even then, he's kind of like it's the game is scaled so much that the buffs he's giving, the debuffs he's giving, is decent, but not enough to keep up with where the game's going. Like the continuous heal on the A3, it's a 4-turn cooldown, not a 3, right? And the continuous heal is only for 2, so there's 2 turns where you're not getting nothing. But it's not that good. The second one, you do get an extra continuous heal if he crits. So it's kind of weird. They want you to build this like as a defensive like smacker, right? You have to build him crit, but nothing else says anything about critting. Only the A3. So it's like, why did they do that? Why did they just say if this champion's res or this champion's defense is higher than like a certain number, like 3,000 or 4,000, then he always, because anyone can do that. So building crit is like, you have to slow your speed down now. You have to get lower accuracy, lower res. If you can meet all the requirements, this champion is still decent. But I still think he was a lot better back then. I tried using him myself, and he's just not insane. Woosgar. Now this is a really good epic. A lot of people need to use him. He has a quad hitter A1. So when you see that, everyone thinks, oh, Fire Knight hard, right? They just instantly think Fire Knight hard when they see that. The next thing they see is the reflex damage that helps out in Fire Knight normal and Fire Knight hard, right? And then he has what? The counterattack buff on himself. Oh, that screams out Fire Knight hard, right? So it doesn't matter if it's Fire Knight hard or Curse City Fire Knight, right? The double bosses, basically is a counter to Fire Knight. If you're having trouble against double bosses with Fire Knight or Fire Knight hard, and you have nothing else, this is definitely a good champion that's going to keep your champions alive. He has heals. He has more heals, he has shields, and then he also restores your destroyed max HP, which is a counter to the what? The Fire Knight hard. So pretty much an epic champion to try to counter that boss, basically. Is he a must build? Yes. Even if you're not using him against Fire Knight hard, he's still a good epic. Very good epic. I say an 8 out of 10. Maneater, one of the most used probably clan boss fucking epics ever, probably. Because everyone, of course, doesn't want to build normal teams. They just want to build, I want to build Unkillable, whatever. Do I think Maneater is still a good champion nowadays? No. He's an HP champion that's scaling off attack, which is like weird. What the F? Why is everything attack? But then the 8th says damage based on, huh? So his kind of kit is weird. You can't even build him as a nuker because then he doesn't scale right. Like, explain to me why he has damage on attack, but his attack is only 837. But his HP is 20,000. His defense is 1,100. Like, you see what I'm saying? So synergy kind of weird there, but people pretty much just use him for the A3. They try to spam this ability over and over and over, His A2 is really good. It depletes, it says fully depletes and then fills. It should just say steal turn meter. Back then, there was no such thing as stealing turn meter, so this is like an old wording, right, for English, but basically it just means steal turn meter. It does 2 different things separate, but it's just weird. And then decrease attack on all enemies if it's critical. Once again, you have to build him 100% crit if he doesn't do no damage. You see what I'm saying? Like, but I've seen people build him in damage in clan boss. Yeah, you can if you want to in Frenzy set or whatever that old set was, but It's not necessary. Not necessary, man. I think he's a good champion. I think he's not as good as he was because I haven't even used him once in my Ogren tries. I tried once in Hard Faction Wars. Wasn't that great. I tried him in other areas. Don't need him. In other areas, I just kill everything too fast because all the nukers are better. So I think Maneater has fallen off a lot. He's decent if you have nothing else. So if you have nothing else, he's a must build. But if you do have other things, I think he's not that good. He's like a 6, honestly. But if you have nothing else, he's like a 7. If you have a 6-star blessing, he's like an 8. Okay, so just me personally, I've never been a fan of Maneater. All right, Towering Titan. I thought this guy was gonna be really cool because he's like the synergize between Cagebreaker. And I'm thinking to myself, wait a minute. After I finally got him built, after I did everything, I was like, this doesn't make sense. Why would I just use Allied Protection? And so after everything, I was just like, oh my god, I would not recommend that champion. That should not be a void legendary. Okay, what it should say is that instead of transferring 50% damage inflicted Cagebreaker, instead it should just make Towering Titan and Cagebreaker immune to all damage if they're not under debuffs. Just do that. Make it do that, and then you're like, whoa, now you have like these 2 champions that have this cool, unique synergy that can even be used in arena as well. And if they don't have any way to debuff, you lose. That just sounds cool to me. That could even beat Mythicals. You see what I'm saying? That could be nice, but are they going to do it? Param's not going to do it. All right, Skrank. Skrank is an AoE HP burner. There's not a lot of epics that can do that. He can do that 100% chance as a void epic. That means it's a guaranteed as long as you can reach that accuracy threshold, right, of landing the debuff. I like him a lot. He's pretty cool. He has like some heals. He has some more damage stuff here. I don't think he's a must-build champion, but he's a decent champion. He's still a decent champion. Prundar. Prundar is one of those epics where it's like, man, people just don't want to build him because of the books, but they don't believe. I'm telling you, this guy is worth the books. If you can put the books in him, he's insane. The synergy, dude, I remember back in the days, Hell Hades and other people were saying this guy was trash. I'm like, what are you talking about? This guy was bananas. I built him and I was able to go up hard Doom Tower with an epic. I was using Bivald, I was using him, I was using like Opert and Clanfather, champions that nobody was using. And I was booking these champions, building them up, going up, and man, holy, Prundar is good. Now, he is a little bit slow by 5 speed, but he has free accuracy, very high HP, very high defense as well. He's just a tank, he's literally just a juggernaut, okay? And there's a reason why they gave him 30% Doom Tower lead aura. Epics don't have auras this high as a legendary. 30% is a lot for an epic. So if you're having trouble staying alive in Doom Tower, I'm telling you, this guy's gonna be very good. Remember, he's Void Affinity as well, so he doesn't weak hit with his stuns, his decreased speed, his provokes. He also brings strengthening, the best strengthen buff, the best continuous heal buff, and he takes less damage under people under provoke, and he counterattacks people. Like everything synergizes. Like what the fuck? He's a 1. Unfortunately, he's a 1-3, and then this skill is a 4. Unfortunately, right? So we would love that to be a 1-3-3. But at least the part that gives him the counterattack part is under provoke, and that's on a 3-turn cooldown. So that's synergized. So the part that synergizes, which is 1, 2 passive, and the A2, they're all the lowest cooldown stuff. This is the only thing that's not. This is kind of like, oh shit, I'm dying. I need to, or I need to put the buffs up first, and then let me provoke after. You can do it that way, however you want to do it. I recommend Prundar. He's a good epic. If you have nothing else, you can use him. He's still good. If it's a lot too many books for you, you can't use. I don't want to book the champion too many books. All right, fine. It's up to you. Uragrim, he got nerfed because he was outperforming a legendary Battle Khazar back in the days, and players did not like that. You know, people didn't like the fact that they empowered their Battle Khazars, or they were using Battle Khazar and that Epic was doing better than them, right? So they nerfed him, and ever since they nerfed him, he did go down in value, but he's still an insane epic. Good for a Cursed City, good against Amius, good against Iron Twins, good against Dragon. Like he's good a lot of places, honestly. Even Faction Wars, normal and hard. Now in hard, he will go down in value as you go down. But in the early stages of hard, this guy is actually nutty. So I definitely recommend him. Let's look at the epics. Now the epics of these are not that great. I'm gonna tell you right now, they're not that great. Jarang can be used if you have nothing else. I don't really recommend him. Yeah, if this was AoE, I would probably recommend a lot more, but don't really recommend Jarang. Jalreg was really good back in the old school days for Clan Boss, for like Iron Twins, right? Before these things got nerfed. Really good for old school normal. You could still use them for normal Faction Wars. Falls off hard on hard Faction Wars, not even bother. Cursed, he's just okay. The problem with him is just like the things that he has is like stuff that other champions can do. You know what I'm saying? Like everyone else can do this stuff. His cooldowns here are 4 turn. Like no one wants to wait 4 turns to activate a skill. When that's your only other skill, that's all he has. So this should be a 3-turn. They should reduce this to whenever the ally loses 10% of their HP 1 hit or more. That's what it should be, not 20%. Like, bro, what if I only get hit for 10%? You get no free continuous heals. But a relic keeper can always get a free continuous. You see what I'm saying? You're like, but Jay, it's infinite though. It doesn't have a cooldown. True, but honestly, I don't recommend him anymore nowadays, unless you're only using him for like normal faction wars. Maybe then, but Venom Mage. Now this champion has stayed true through the game. She's still good for Iron Twins, still good for dragons, still good for spiders, still good for everything, right? Because she like good for Amius because of the heal reduction, good for the mimics if you're a heal reduction coping player, right? It's really good, but she also brings poisons. She also has synergies with those poisons by activating them. She brings decreased attack and decreased defense if they're under a poison. She also brings damage reduction for your whole team if there's AoE heal reduction, which she does do that, right? Or I should say, sorry, he does that because we found out that it was a he afterwards, even though it's doing the stance of a female stance raid. I know we don't judge genders, but apparently, hey, we found out it's a he. That still blows my mind. Anyways, Galapal the Recluse. So of course, that is a must-build champion, by the way. Galapal the Recluse is a brand new epic reviver for this faction. Do I recommend this champion? I think it's decent champion, but I just don't like that the revive is on a 4-turn cooldown instead of a 3. I don't like the fact that he's only healing himself by 5%. Why doesn't it say heal all champions by 5% this makes? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just kind of weird. Now I get it. He heals everybody else with the 8-2, which is good. Turn meter, increased res. Oh, another epic that has increased res. Hey, more epics are finally getting increased res on a 3-turn cooldown. That's really, really good. Honestly, I don't think he's a must build, but I think he's a decent champion. A decent champion that if you have nothing else, he's really good. I would say I'll give him a 7. I give him a 7. I think a Venom Mage is 9.5 and a Galapal is like a 7. If you have a 6-star blessing or 5, I'd give a Galapal like an 8. Basilisk. Let's see. Basilisk, people use this champion for the AoE A1 to put him in a stun set. People put him in a provoke set, day set. He's basically a sets, type of champion. You basically just keep throwing those sets on him. Can you use him as a nuker? You can also use him in nuker as well. You want to put him as Snipe Slayer? Do that. I don't think most players can use him the way you need to use him. It's very, 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 very niche, and I don't recommend it to most of the players. I think if you have nothing else, definitely use him. But if you do have something else, use something else, honestly. Aox. Ooh, such a really, 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 really good champion. He has a lot of healing. He has a passive that you can't even control that. Like, it just happens. You can just keep using stuff. He can put decreased attack. He has poisons on the A1. Every single skill he has is really good, actually. Really good champion. So I don't think he's a must-build champion, but then he's a really good champion. I'd give him like an 8. Let's look at Broodlord. This is an underrated epic that no one likes. I made a video back in the days about it on my old channel. I think that unfortunately that got removed on YouTube. And I have two new YouTube channels. If you're watching here, this is the regular one. I also have like another channel. But basically, this champion blew me out the water. I kept telling people, I'm like, this guy's actually good, and people were like, no, he's not that good. I'm like, all right. So then I built him up. I built him as 2 different versions, a damaged version and a non-damaged version, and both of them were amazing. So I would recommend this champion. Why is he good? His A3, like I said earlier in this video or this stream, right? Whichever one you're watching. There's not that many epics in the game that can AoE stun that also has a 3-turn cooldown. There's not many champions that can do that, consistently as an epic. So this guy also increases the chance of that stun if they're under decreased speed. And his synergy with his passive says, whenever this champion is attacked, or whenever an allies under ally protection buffs are attacked. It does not say ally protection buffs placed by this champion. That means if you bring another champion that has ally protect buff on the whole team, his passive will just decrease speed, decrease attack, all those attackers. Then you use the A3 and look what it says, the chance to increase to 75% against enemies under decreased speed debuffs. Then he also gets another 10% over here. That's an 85% chance to stun AoE. And you might think to yourself, oh, that's not that great. You can get the Sniper Mastery. No, it's not. Sorry, not Sniper. Fearsome Presence, which will increase the chance of landing a stun per your skill or provoke. So now that goes up to a 90% stun on an epic on a 3-turn cooldown. That's basically like a huge chance you're going to stun everyone, basically, as long as you're not weak hitting. Then he also has a provoke on the A1, right? Each hit has a chance to provoke. So if you're using Fearsome Presence, it's going to work on both the A1 and the A3 and give you value. On the A2, he puts an ally protection, a block debuffs on that person, and he puts a shield on himself so he doesn't die from the ally protecting. This is on a 3-turn cooldown, so he's a 1-3-3 epic that synergizes, and he has an all defense, all battles. So it doesn't matter where you use this champion. I'm telling you, this guy is good. He comes with 15 accuracy extra. He's not 100 base speed, but at least I didn't cook him at like 95. He's only 99, so he only loses 1 speed. He has really high defense, right? 1,400, and his HP is kind of, it's okay. So it could be a little bit higher, but it's okay because he's a defensive champ, right? So he's a defensive control champion that can also be a defensive nuker because I have built him as a nuker and he does do decent. So I recommend him highly. I think if you have a 6-star blessing, he's definitely a 9.5 out of 10 champ to build. And if you don't, I think he's an 8 out of 10 champion. Ziichi, this champion is dog water. I would not recommend this to you. Just don't even bother. Drake, don't even bother. I don't care if he has extra turns on the A1. Relic Keeper is way better. Remember, Relic Keeper gives you that increased attack. But what if I need to put conditions for like hard faction wars? Hey man, you can do what you want. I'm just not doing it. So Jizzo used to be like the only means of like giving counterattack, right? Because you can place a shield and a counterattack on one ally. Grants an extra turn. The value of the shield is proportional. So you can give that to himself, or you can give that to somebody else. There's not many champions that can give that as an epic. Hey, here you go, have counterattack, and they're like, that's cool. But if you look at the skill, the skill is a 5-turn cooldown. Let's look at the A3. Fully booked, a 4-turn cooldown. So you're telling me this is a 154 champ? It's garbage. It don't matter what the skill does. The skills are so high. Cooldowns. No one got time to wait, right? So unfortunately, this champion, like people have used this champion, as you can see, but you're gonna fall off. So I would not recommend that champion at all. Now, Korgon the Crown. Now, this is another one just like Broodlord. Very underrated. No one talks about. I did a video. This video got like over 4,000 views. It was nuts. Okay. I used him and I progressed my Lizardman Faction Wars. I went from stage 13 normal all the way to stage 21 normal of Faction Wars, and I beat it with him. Like, I had other champions, duh. But I'm saying like he helped before even Broodlord even existed in the game. He came out first. And I'm telling you, this is an underrated epic, okay? Everyone, if they have this champion, if you don't have healers or you don't have AoE perfect veils or AoE block debuffs increased defense, he basically gives buffs based on what their typing is. So as long as they're not an HP champion, right? It says whoever's attack is higher than their defense will get perfect veil and increased attack. If they have higher defense than their attack, then they'll get block debuffs increased defense, which makes sense, right? It synergizes. Now, it's not a 3-turn cooldown, so you might be, hey, Jay, that's not a 3-turn. I understand. It's such a strong skill, so player was like, back then, they would have made it probably 3-turn nowadays, but they had to nerf it to 4. But it's still a good skill. The A2 heals people and puts a shield based on those allies' HP. So if you have a lot of tanky champs, or if you have a lot of supports, or you have a lot of nukers that like Trunda who have high attack, they will get, a little bit more HP, more value from this. And then the A1 increases a random buff on a random ally by 1 turn when he attacks. It's all right. It's all right. One of the best ways to build this champion: Impulse, extra turn, relentless sets, reaction refresh accessories. What is the other one? The one that not refresh. I don't even use it that much. Oh yeah, reflex set. Things like that. If you can spam that on that champion, you will see huge value from Korgon the Crown. I used mine on Relentless, and it was bananas. Because I would go A3, A2, A1, and the buffs that I had from the A3 to A2 just got extended. Like, it would be nuts. And then sometimes you can go right back to the A3, and I'm like, oh shit, I don't want to use A3. Let me just go A1 again. Delaja. How do I think about Delaja? I feel like Delaja, she could have been really good. But they really had to make this a 4-turn instead of a 3. I think she's all right. She is an HP champion that gives a shield based on her HP and continuous heals. But like, you gotta wait those 2 turns that you don't have shields sucks, man. It's okay to wait a turn, but waiting 2 whole turns, that could get you killed, right? You put the shield up, and then 2 turns go away, and then you start dying, and then the continuous heal doesn't last that long enough. Yeah, she counterattacks, which says it heals, each hit heals this champion. So she heals herself, which is all right. And then she puts poison. I do like the fact that she puts poison, right, with the counterattacking. I don't know, man. It's too much RNG, honestly. With the poison's kind of very low chance with it. I think she's not bad if you have nothing else. If you have nothing else for the faction, only for faction wars, nothing else, I think she's okay. I think she's like a 7. Broadma. They buffed up the Broadma, and ever since they buffed up Broadma, is a lot better than what it used to be. It used to be horrible. Like, it was very midi. But after the buffs, is Broadma good enough to use in 2026? Honestly, if you literally have nothing else, kind of like a Delaja, I would say yes. But bro, Broadma's been out there for what, 7 years and only 324 people? Like, you see what I'm saying? It's just not that great. It's not that great. I think multi hits on the A1 would have been nice. The A2 is decent, but the fact that we get a baby increase speed is like, what? You're giving me a baby turn meter boost. This is a void epic, right? So like the freeze should be at least 50%. It's not, it's 45. The turn meter boost should be 30 increased speed and 30 crit rate. It's not. And the revive is a 4-turn cooldown. And it doesn't revive all allies, it only revives 2. So they could easily make this, buff that there, make this a 3-turn cooldown, and buff that by an extra 5 or 10% freeze. And there you go. Then the champion would be a good champ. But by the way it is right now, I can't really recommend it. I give him like a 6 out of 10, honestly. All right, Scathix. Scathix is a very good epic. He's got the decreased speed on the A1, good chance too. You can get Sniper Max Hexer to get the increase of chance and turn. He has Steel Random buff. No, most people are not going to use this skill. Most people turn this off. Most people just activate the A3 and then you're A1ing for days. And then he also has a block damage, so when he's about to die, he doesn't die. That way you can go and use this skill to put more shields on people. So basically, he's not a reviver. He's like a champion that goes, I don't die, and I'm going to keep you guys shielded and cleansed and block debuffs permanently. But the problem is that's not on a 3-turn cooldown. It's on a 4-turn cooldown. So you have to build this guy super insanely fast. Did they give him fast speed? No, 95 base speed. So they gave him an extra accuracy to make up for that 5 speed. But honestly, I would have said, nah, fuck it. Give me back my 5 speed and take back the 15 accuracy. Because we know that 5 speed is equivalent to 7 times 5 would be 35. So I'd have to get 35 accuracy to be equivalent to losing 5 speed, right? Because we already know the conversion is 7 to 9 based on the champ. So it's just not good, man. It's just not, he's okay. He's good. He's a good champ, like a decent champ, but he's just not like overall to 2026 level. If you have nothing else, yes, but honestly, I don't recommend. Like I have him and I barely use him. I only use him like once. And to this day, I still don't go back and use him because it's just too low of a cooldown here. He also doesn't have heal, so there's no synergy of, well, I'm low HP, let me get myself back up. Ugo goes low when she gets about to, everyone gets killed, she gets a block damage just like he does, and then Ugo can still revive people and heal with the A3. You see what I'm saying? There's no heals. There's no heals here, no heals here, no. So it's just, if he had heals, he'd be way higher. Felixis. How do I not have this champion? I just realized that. This is on my endgame account. I do not own a fucking, that doesn't even make sense. All right. Is this champion good? He's got stuns in the A1, very low chance. He's got ignore. I think he's okay. I think he's okay. I give him, honestly, I know I was saying I hate on him, but it's just weird. It's just weird because he's a 1-3 champion. It's true. He does smack. He does some damage. I don't like the increase crit rate. It should be increased attack buff. Switch that player to increase attack and increase crit damage, and there you go. You have an amazing epic. You know, honestly, like a 9 out of 10 epic, but honestly, he's like a 7.5 or 8. Honestly, he's okay. All right. Let's look at this. Tauros, one of my favorite old school epics. Okay, and let me show you why. You don't believe me. I have 2. I could have +4'd my Tauros, and instead I said no. I want to have more than 1. If you've never seen this skill, Toxic Nova, it is super, super strong. Let me show you just an example real quick, just to show you how powerful Toxic Nova can be. Oh, this is all trash. This should have got sold. Oh man, I got to turn on the filter on. Ew. Ew, it's trash. Okay, I could try rolling that. I could try rolling that too. Garbage. What is this? A 5-star? That's a 6-star. I'll try one of that. And I'll let that go. So I got three banners there. Not bad. Just doing a little bit of spider myself because I do need to get the fragments to get this fragment summon done. What do we got here? We're trying to do we're trying to do Garrett or Garrett Hunters, I should say. So let's go to Doom Tower real quick. I just want to show you guys how you can use Tauros if you have one. If you have a Tauros and you have some of the champions that I literally recommended, right? What have I recommended on this stream, on this video? Harkin, right? You can bring a Harkin and you can spread those debuffs. Or if you don't have a Harkin, you have a Michelangelo, which was totally free, right? If you have one, let me show you how it would work. Let's just go into the battle. All right, let's just A1 just so we don't get cooked. So we're gonna go like this. Almost kill our champion, right? You're like, damn, that champion's almost dead. You can now take, look at all those debuffs. Now they have, unfortunately, this stage probably not the best stage to show this. Let me see if it's gonna work. I don't think it's gonna work. No, because there's block debuffs buff. So unfortunately, a man-eater on that stage actually kind of cooks us because man-eater puts block debuffs buff. Let's try one more time. Tauros, Michael. And honestly, Michael is better to put in the lead because of the aura works in all battles. Tauros only works in faction crypts. So let's put Michael in the lead. All right, so let's try again. We're just going to A1, not kill nobody. We want to A3. All right, they might take turns. That's cool. Who cares? Doesn't matter. Now, normally he doesn't die, but because of the way the arrow works, he steals buffs, right? Unfortunately. But look what happens, right? If I were to go like this and spread all the debuffs, right? Look at all the poisons now. Those enemies have a massive amounts of poisons everywhere. I can literally just A3 now, just kill everybody. You know, I don't need to A3. I can just let them take their turns and die, right? That's the power you have with one Tauros. Now you might think to yourself, well, Jay, why would I use Tauros when I could use other poisoners like Tomb Lord that does 4 poisons on everyone, or like a, I don't know, like a Cavalax, or where's the other guy I'm looking for? Check, I can't find him. Oh, there he is, right next to him. They're all 3 right next to each other. Look, Theodore, right? It's because he's an epic version. Okay, he's an epic version, and he cuts his health down to 1% health. There's some champions in the game that say when an ally or someone is at low health or something, they get a benefit, or they can heal stronger, blah, 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 right? So you can use that to your advantage. Now, yes, it's risky. Did you know that this champion can beat Dragon and Ice Golem by himself? That means you don't need no other damage dealers. I showed it. If you're having trouble on Dragon, on normal 25, like say you're having trouble here, normal 25, or you're having trouble on 25 or 20 of that, or 20 of Dragon, you definitely want to use this team, okay? These epics, I recommend everyone to use. It's going to be Tauros. It's going to be a Rector Draft to revive the Tauros back every time he dies. And you're going to want to bring, what is that epic champion called? I forgot her name. Where is it? Well, I'll get to her when we get there, but I'm just showing you the power of Tauros. Well, where can I find this epic? Holy crap. There it is. Boom. If you have these 3 epics, you can pretty much solo, like trio most content. Why? Because this champion, Actek the Wendron, will CC all the enemies. Okay? And put block debuffs and strengthens your champions like Rector Draft and her don't die. All right? She also has heals when there's enemies under burn. And then she also has Turn Meter when they're under freeze. So if they don't get frozen, she will burn them. And if they don't get burnt, they'll get frozen. So she has insane value when you mix it with her, right? And then Tauros is like, well, I'm killing myself. I'm literally putting myself to 1% health. I'm not going to win. But you are going to win, because this was going to happen. Let me just show you what would happen, right? So first, you're going to have him put all the poisons. Next, Rector Draft is going to go and heal him up. Look, he's going to heal. Then you go A3, control the enemies. Look, they're all frozen. Cool. Tauros can just, I don't know, whatever you want to do. A2, heal up. A1. And you can literally win this fight. Like, look, I can just loop this. Full auto, no presets. Now you'd be like, Jay, is this going to actually win the battle? Yes, because what's going to happen is they're going to keep getting poisoned. They're going to keep getting burnt. They're going to keep getting CC'd. They can't do nothing. You look how 3 epics can literally just, like, you don't even need legendaries or mythicals or any other champs. Look, everyone's dying. They're just going to take turns and going to eventually die. Now, eventually you can't freeze them, right? But look, they're dead. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're dead. So imagine if you build, like, I haven't used these champions in years, almost 3 years. But imagine if you actually build them, like, with your best gear. You put, like, you know, some blessings on them. You get them speed tuned. You can't die. It's impossible, even at the boss, because your supports, they're built, you know, in either immortal or regeneration. They can't die. The only one who's going to die is going to be the Tauros. No, there's no boss in the game that block revives. Not that I know. Right? So, like, guess what? Your Rector Draft will always revive the Tauros, and your Tauros will always poison the bosses. Doesn't matter if it's Ice Golem, doesn't matter if it's Spider, doesn't matter if it's Iron Twins, doesn't matter if it's Dragon. Do you see what I'm saying? And you literally win just by just full autoing. No presets. Now imagine if you did do presets, right? So anyways, I'm just going to show you, like, how did I find this out? Because there was one time, there was a content creator, his name is Nacho Plays, but he was called Old Tool back in the days, Old Tool. And then he was like, man, I dare you to do Dragon and Ice Golem with only epics. And I said, okay, challenge accepted. And then I found champions. I was like, hey, look, I don't even need 5 epic. I only need 3. And I started farming them with chickens. So I started putting 2 chickens there. And if you make the chickens common, the Rector Draft will always revive the person who's in either the front or the highest rarity, not the lower rarity. So you can bring chickens and get chickens while you're using 3 epics on Dragon or Ice Golem. Now, will that work when you get to hard Ice Golem? Probably not, because let's be honest, the enemies get a little bit tougher. They have crazier skills, and Dragon's a lot harder. Now, I could build out a new version of all those 3 champs to put my best gear and see if it's possible. I can make that as a different video, but I just wanted to show you the power of Tauros. So don't sleep on an old school champion that people do not like. Bro only has 71 reviews. This should be in the thousands, because this guy actually does damage. I've shown him as only a damage champion in Clan Boss, putting him out a sick amount of poisons against the Clan Boss, right? Like a shit ton. And you can do some crazy stuff. You can put refresh accessories on him. You can put reflex gear on him. You can put impulse set on him. You can put him. You don't want to put him in relentless set because you don't want him to lose the unkillable buff. You can put him in toxic set, right? So when he A1s and A2s, he puts more poisons, right? Like there's so many ways to use this champion, and he's so interesting. Now I understand if he puts himself too low and you don't like him putting himself to the point where he's literally about to die, but that's why he has that unkillable. All you gotta do is bring another champion that has unkillable. He can be the stun target if you want to as well. Think about it. Right? He can be the stun target because he puts out those poisons, puts unkillable on himself just like a Skull Crusher, can take the stun from the clan boss, and there you go. You got a damage dealer who's also a stun target. Now you gotta cleanse that stun off, but he won't die because he has the unkillable for 2 turns. So even if the team gets unsped, he has 2 turn unkillable, not 1 turn unkillable. If he had a 1 turn, that'd be kind of like, not that great. But I'm gonna tell you, if he still even had 1, I'd still use this champion. I just wouldn't use him as much. But that 2 turn is nice. You might be like, Jay, that's a 4 turn cooldown. He only has 2. There's gonna be 2 turns where he's vulnerable. Yes, that makes sense because he has to take a turn here, and then comes back. If they made this a 3 turn cooldown, why would you use legendaries, right? So, anyways, Flesh Terror. Is this a good champion? Honestly, it's one of those champions. You have nothing else, I would use him. I have a 6-star Flesh Terror and I barely use it myself. Scabrius, garbage champion. Narok's Blackhorn. Honestly, let me see. I've always think he was okay because he has a synergy of the counterattack, which then puts decreased speed, which is very good synergy. The ally protection, the provoke allows you to counterattack them. If you provoke the enemy, they attack you, you hit them back, you put decreased speed. Reflex damage. I don't like reflex damage if it's not an HP champion. Kind of weird on defense champs. If the champion's defense is lower than the target's, okay, yeah, it cannot be resisted. Okay, interesting. Unresistible provoke. That is pretty good on a 4 turn instead of a 3 turn. Damn it. Would have been nice to be a 1/3/3 champion. Oh, and this is on a 4 turn too? Oh. He's got good skills, man, but they have high cooldown, so he's a 1/4/4 epic, man. Whenever allies intended has a chance to put a revoke. Pretty good, decent passive, very low effect. The reason why they made it a low effect is because it has infinite. It's infinite. There's no cooldown. What do I think he's a good champion? I don't like the fact that he's a 1/4/4. It'll either be a 1/3/3 or 1/3/4. No way a 1/4/4 am I going to recommend someone to do that, man. It takes too long. You need to have too much speed to use that champion. I don't recommend him. I give him like a 5 or 6. If they increase his cooldowns, he'd be like a 7 or 8. Ripper, no, I would not recommend this guy unless you're having trouble against Borgoth the Scare King. You have no way to destroy enemy max HP, can help you out, but honestly, that's on a 4 turn cooldown. Right? Like, damn, that is not good. Rhine Beast used to be an old school. I'm talking about old school epic that was super OP, man. I'm talking about like, yo, this guy was causing people to rage quit. Like people, if you had a Rhine Beast and you put your best gear on him, he was not only a nuker, right? He's kind of like Alton. Alton, if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, Alton, he's very similar to this champion, right? You see how it says, revives a random ally with 30% every time this champion kills an enemy, resets the cooldown of blah, 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 right? So that right there is the same thing as this epic, right? It says it revives a random ally with full HP if this attack kills an enemy. But this is a 5 turn cooldown. Back in the old days, if you could revive without having a reviver, sometimes you would revive the reviver. And that would cause like this loop where the reviver would revive everybody else. And then back then, right? And people were using this champion with like miscreated monster, man eaters, and all this other toxic, like infinite loop, block damage, unkillable in arena. You're like, you couldn't do nothing because there's not many champions ignored it, right? Until Rotos came. So yeah, he was good back then. Right now, he's garbage. This champion is garbage. Now, if they made this a 1 turn cooldown and they made this a 3 turn cooldown, this would be an insane epic. But they're not going to do that. They're probably not going to do that. Snorting Thug. I actually like this champion. I don't think he's amazing. Like he's not a 9 out of 10. He's not a Phoenix. He's not a Godseeker. But he's like a Broodlord. I feel like he's like a Broodlord. Actually, he's a little bit lower than Broodlord. I actually put Broodlord pretty high up, actually. I feel like he's a step below Broodlord. He's an HP champion that does scale off HP. He does have this counterattacks anytime they have no buffs. So if they have no buffs, he just keeps hitting them over and over and over. And if they have buffs, he tries to steal them from them, right? Steals one from them when hit. So if they attack him, you're like, hey, look at that buff, right? And then he's like, oh, I can counterattack you if you have no buffs. And then he has an A2 that will steal 2 random buffs. And if they have no active buffs, he will ignore 100% of their defense if they have no buffs. So, and his A1 also steals buffs. So this guy loves your buffs, brother. This guy loves your buffs. All your buffs belong to, StarCraft, like, what was it, Warcraft? I think it was Warcraft. All your base belong to me, or basically all your buffs belong to me. So like he loves your buff. All right, let's look at the next one. So do I recommend him? No, he's not. I don't really recommend him. He's not a must build. He's more of like if you have nothing else, honestly. Next one is Yaga. Yaga honestly could have been good, but Yaga just has too many cooldowns, too much RNG, trash champion as well. In 7 years, only 192 people reviewed it. Come on. Ursine Crusher garbage. He could have been good because he has good synergy with his brother Ursine. Ursine is way better than this one. But if you have both, are they good? They're decent. But once again, he's still shit because, like, I don't know what player was thinking. Like, they should have made decreased defense here, and he should have had decreased attack. You know, decreased attack, and then his brother has decreased defense. So that together they give you both. But he gives you like decreased crit rate. It's like, and I love how the image is like people burning on fire, like blue fire. Like, oh. He's like, brother, I'm not gonna feel the shit from the decreased crit rate. I'm still have a chance to crit you. I don't know. Just it's weird. It's weird. I don't like him. I don't like him at all. I do like Ursine Ironhide. I do recommend people to build this champion. He has a double hitter on the A2, single hitter here that can increase the cooldown of one of the target skills. That's right. He's a mini lockout. Super mini lockout. Also has multi-hitters, decreases their turn meter. And his A3 has an AoE decrease attack and is a passive that says every single time each hit, every single time he attacks someone, he decreases turn meter. So even the A1 can decrease turn meter. Even the A3 can AoE decrease turn meter. On top of that, each hit also has a 50 of putting one of the target skills on cooldown. Your target's on the decreased crit rate. That's why the brother is supposed to work. So if you have AoE decreased crit rate, he can AoE lockout. This guy can AoE lockout. So like that's why you have to bring it. I just wish he would have had the decreased crit rate on this skill as well. It just would have been better. But is he a must? He's not a must build. He's a decent epic. He's okay. Hoferes. How's Hoferes? Hoferes is a very good epic. I recommend this champion a lot. I think people should build him. I used him a lot. He helped me a lot in this faction. This faction needed a lot of love. We got a lot more love now, but back then it had like no love. So if you didn't have Hoferes, you couldn't even beat Faction Wars. That's how good he was. I do recommend people use him. He can help you out against. He's not the best. He's not the best against Fire Knight or anything like that. He's okay. He's okay. Like I said, he's fallen off. But there's not that many champions that can put a stun on the A1, and that stun has helped me a lot. It has. I don't think he's a must build, but he's definitely, if you have nothing else, he's good. Steel Skull. He used to be a must build back then. I had 2 built up. Is he good now? Honestly, he's kind of fallen off. He's all right. He's still an okay champion. The great thing about Steel Skull is at level 60, he has 111 base speed. Like, holy shite. That's fast for an epic, okay? So that's like legendary status, okay? That is crazy fast. Now, he is not a 133 champion. He's a 134. But honestly, like, if you can't use the A3 again, it's cool. Just keep spamming poisons if you can. What I like to put this guy in is honestly Relentless, and any resetting stuff, right? Impulse, Reflex, things of that nature, refresh accessories. That's what I would do. He's a must-build champion? No, but he's definitely a good epic. Fane. Now, people will fucking jump on a hill for Fane, right? Because unkillable teams and shit like that, or some other stages. I like Fane because she's a good nuker. She's one of the highest attacks. I think she has one of the highest attacks of all epics in Raid Shadow Legends. She also brings a lot of other stuff too, right? She brings like stealing turn meter, decreased attack, poisons. She also has this. She's good, but my god, she's one of the most squishiest epics in the game. You gotta be careful. If you don't have her +4 or with blessings or some other form of protection, she's just gonna get one-shotted. Okay, she's just gonna die and fall over. You're gonna be like, damn, this champion just doesn't do nothing because they don't even get a turn to do nothing. So if you can build her fast enough, you can do it right, she's good. But otherwise, she's only used for like unkillable block damage or unkillable clan boss teams, and that's it. I don't really recommend if you don't know what you're doing. I don't. And a lot of people put her really high up, but I just see people use her and then they don't do shit. And then it's just a waste of a champion, waste of chickens and everything else. Bovo's Sharp Horn has an AoE decreased speed. I mean, A1 decreased speed, pretty okay. AoE decreased crit rate and decreased crit damage. That's pretty interesting. Most people put 1, but he puts both. So he's like, hey man, your crit damage is gonna go down and you're not gonna crit. So you really don't want them to crit, right? You're like, damn. A3 removes a random debuff and then puts increasing, I don't like that because it's on a 4 turn and it's also like shitty. Let's look at the passive. Heals an ally by 10% of their max HP when they're hit with a critical hit. It doesn't make sense. If you're lowering their crit, so if you hit by a crit, then you get healed. No, there should not be a condition. It should just say heal an ally by 10% of their max HP when they're hit. That's it. When they're hit, put a dot. Don't put when a critical hit as a condition. Oh, these conditions really hurt this guy. Conditions there. Debuff's kind of weird here. That's okay skill. That could have been better. Honestly, I don't recommend this champion. I don't. If you have nothing else, maybe, but I don't recommend him. Balf the Rancid. Let's see. Hey, what's up? We got HP Reekblade, has a heal reduction on the A1. Very strong heal reduction A1. So if you're a heal reduction coping player, definitely want this. Definitely let me know in the chat, by the way. Let me know in the chat, down in the comments down below, or in the chat of the Twitch chat. Let me know if you're a coping heal reduction player. Put a 1 if you are. And if you're in the YouTube side, just put it, just say in quotations, I am a coping here. All right, so all attack on enemies has a 75% chance of putting a decreased accuracy debuff on all enemies, increasing the duration of all allies by 1 turn. That's kind of mid. That's okay. Removes 2 random debuffs from all allies, heals them by 10%, and on put increased accuracy. Now, that's a good skill. That's basically like this champion, but without the healing and better buffs that make more sense. So, I don't know. And this passive says increase the damage all allies receive by 50%. Ooh. So that's anti-dragon. That's anti-spider. That's anti-PvP Cavalax. Anti-Nell. Very interesting. So he has some usability in PvP and he has some usability in PvE. Interesting. All right. Do I think he's a good champion that needs to be built? Honestly, I think they kind of they could have done better with this skill, man. He's trying to put decreased accuracy. I don't think he should be putting decreased accuracy. I think he should be putting, if he's putting heal reduction here, why do you care about if you want to reduce their healing, why do you want to reduce their AC? I don't know. I like the duration of ally buffs. I don't like the decreased AC. He gives himself increased AC already, so it's not like he needs decreased res there, so he doesn't. I don't know. That is so weird. I mean, I guess it's good for Bommel, or you're good against teams you're trying to build resist teams, but it only lasts for 2 turns on a 3 turn. You have to land that Max or Hexer to make it infinitely last. I think I would have liked AoE heal reduction there and then decreased accuracy here. But whatever. Is he a good champion? I think he's an okay champion. I think he's okay. He's not a must build. Basher is a must build epic. If you have Basher, you haven't built him to 60, you need to build him to 60. That's all I'm going to say. If you don't know why, then hey man, move on to the next game. Uninstall and play a different game. A Kemptum is another must build epic. Very, 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 very strong Void epic. He's got triple hits on the A1 with poisons. He also has spreads. Debuff spread if they have Hex, which he does put Hex. Another triple hit, by the way. But it's AoE triple hit. How many AoE triple hit epics do you know that we've seen? We've only seen twice, I think, 2 champions. But this is a Void epic hit. Then he has a passive that synergizes with everything that he's doing. And then he also has an aura for speed in all battles. So he's not even just good for Fire Knight. He's not even just good against spiders and other stuff like that of that nature. This guy is really insane. I think it's a must build epic as well. Worgen, trash, don't like him. Frenzy's okay, you can build her, but she's kind of midi. I'd give her a 6.5. Used on the Maroon. This is a champion that a lot of people are not talking about. The champion that a lot of people are not talking about. I gave this I wouldn't say it's a must build, but he's definitely an 8 out of 10. If you have a 6-star blessing, 8.5 out of 10. Almost a 9, I'm telling you, getting close. Good epic, actually. A very good epic. Not what is that? Is that Gom? Hello, Yellowhand? So he's got the leech, he's got the heal reduction, he's got the increased speed, he's got the continuous heals, he's on a 3-turn cooldown. He's got the decreased turn meter, has a 50%. Whenever the allies attack, fill this turn. That's okay. 5% is not that much though. He is a 1-3-3 and he has an AoE stun. I will say that's pretty insane. That's what? 50, 60, 75% chance with Master Presence, 80% chance of stun AoE on a 3-turn cooldown. And he also decreases their turn meter and there's no conditions on that. So even if they don't land the stun, other champions say they have to get stunned to lose the turn meter. He's just doing the turn meter no matter what, even if they don't get stunned. That's really good. That's really good. You combo that with that and that and that. He's actually not bad. No, he's not bad. I think this is a really good champion. I think he's an 8.5, even without a blessing. Good synergy of the kit, and he does his A1. Let me see what he does. He's a support that scales off attack, and he gives increased attack in all battles. Yeah, this guy is an 8.5 out of 10, even without a blessing. He's a good epic. Strong epic. He has a 104 base speed, so he has more speed than the normal champion, which is synergized because he's an increased speed champ. He also has 15 extra accuracy. You don't build this guy for damage. You don't build this guy for damage. You build this guy to keep going, Build him as fast as you can with decent accuracy. Put him in relentless. Put him in refresh or reflex or impulse, like so you can keep spamming those stuns, man. Damn, this guy's pretty good. You can even put him in a stun set if you want to too. Make sure you get 100% land stuns on everyone. You can also use fearsome presence on him too to make sure you get a little bit more chance for the stun. Definitely a underrated champion. I feel like people should be talking about that guy a lot more. Let's go to the epics. Ultimate Galek. Very good old school burner. Not a lot of people are not using this champion that much. Sorry. It's been a while here. We've been 2 hours and 41 minutes, and we're still not done. I know. Maybe we should make this a two-parter, but you know what? I'm just putting it all in one so you guys can just watch one. You know what I'm saying? Get it out the way. You can always skip on the bottom to find the time frames of where you want it to be. Fury Slash, that's all right. And this one's like conditional. I don't like everything is super conditional, but I get it because back then there was no other epics in the game that could do what he did. So he was like the one that started everything. Then Mordecai came after. I remember he was an Amazon champion, Amazon Prime. So if you had Amazon Prime, you could get like this other rewards that were helping you. They don't do Amazon Prime anymore, unfortunately. Yeah, I guess it didn't make them enough money. Everything they took away from Raid is because it didn't make them enough. They have to make a retarded amount of money for them to actually keep it in the game. It's weird. I think he's a good champion, but he's not like a must build. I personally don't, unless you have a 6-star blessing. Now, Duck the Pierced. Oh my gosh. Not only does he look sick of a champion, right? Like he's got a dead enemy of him, of his previous enemy on his own shield. Like, bro, think about that. He's got the skulls of a whole bunch of other enemies here. Okay, what the hell? That's a lot of people that died to Duck. And he's got a headpiece that if he can't kill you with the weapon or the shield, he's gonna headbutt you and literally take your life with that, brother. Holy. And he's grinning more than Grinner, okay? This champion is a very powerful epic. Just like Stag Knight, he's a different version of Stag Knight. He brings a decreased defense and decreased attack just like Staggy does. And this time you don't need Sniper and Master Hexer to land it, right? You don't need it. You should get Master Hexer to make it a 3-turn. So that way it lasts forever, basically infinite. Until you replace it, but you don't need Sniper like you do with Stag Knight. The A1 puts decreased accuracy, very high chance to 40% per hit, and then puts provoke on a target enemy, and then he puts random 2 enemies, and then puts reflex on unkillable. Very good champion. Is he a must build? He's not a must build anymore, but he's still a good champion. Old Hermit Jorg, very good old school epic. He's still okay. I like him. I think he's just on the same level as Duck. They're good champs, but they're not must builds. Tagor's insanely good champion. He's got the increased defense on the A1, the speed plus heals on the A2, and an AoE revive shields on the A3. And then he has his passive, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think Tagor is a really, 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 really strong epic. The only downside about this epic is that he's not going to be like hyperly used. You know what I mean? Like, he's only going to be used in some spots. So he's very conditional. You could use him in Faction War. Miroka. Most people don't use Miroka. She's only used in Revive on Death teams for Clan Boss or Revive Death teams for Sand Devil. I don't really see anyone else using her anywhere else. So I don't really recommend her that much. Torture Helm, I only recommend if you have like a 5 or 6 star blessing. He's a very strong nuker. But other than that, yeah, he can solo Dragon or some weird like stuff like that. Who cares? No one's gonna sit there and watch that run, right? So like, I just feel like he's decent. They should just change both to HP. Like change to the HP champion. Like just change both to HP. That's why I don't recommend him because he's not the best. Zargala, holy! I honestly think this champion has stayed good throughout the whole year. She has not changed at all. This champion is bananas. You put her 9-piece, like 6-piece deflection, like I'm doing. I'm cooking Mercurial and landing decreased defense on my enemy, which then allows me to, blow my enemies easier because now they have no Mercurial and decreased defense. So yes, she's a must build. I definitely recommend building Zargala. Blood Feather. I don't like this champion at all. She used to be good back then. Even then, it was kind of midi. I don't like her. We don't recommend her unless you have a 6-star blessing. That's how much I would not recommend her. So you have to have a 6-star blessing, and then if you want to invest into more copies of her and stack more so you can power her, I would use Blood Feather. Otherwise, no. Bonekeeper, no. I would not even recommend. Shaman, if you have no other epics that can revive and you have no other good champions, she's the only reviver you can have, right? She used to help me early game to revive because I had no other revivers. I didn't want to use a rare reviver, so I used her as my epic reviver. but even then she's shitty, so I wouldn't recommend both. Terror Beast, don't recommend. Vrask, oh my lord. Vrask is so good when you need a lot of healing. This guy will just keep healing you over and over if you build him with 100% crit. Just build him with high speed, high HP, and just keep spamming that passive, which is heals all allies by 10% of this champion's max HP whenever this champion inflicts a critical hit. All right, we got Sandlast Survivor. With the passive being able to put the ally protection automatically, even if you don't get to take a turn, it happens automatically, right? So it's very strong. She used to be good for a lot of the defenses back in the old days when we didn't have the champions we have nowadays. She used to be like one of the best defensive champions in the game. People use her in only Epic's defensive teams for Siege nowadays. That's what she's really like good for. Is she good for anything else? No. I mean, I used to use her in defensive and tag team arena. I used to use her. She just falls off, man. She's still good. Don't get me wrong. She's still good. I just have a lot of better champions. I have a lot of Legos now. I have a lot of Mythicals too. So there's just like, if you have nothing else, she's really, really good. I give her like if you have nothing else, she's like a 7. If you have like blessings and everything else, she's like an 8. Decent, good epic. We got Yellow Gurna. Yellow Gurna's kind of weird. Like everything is conditional. I get increased attack if I kill an enemy. Like what? Puts decreased attack on all enemies. Like, put decreased defense so you can kill them. Like, I don't understand why she puts decreased attack. Has 75% chance of putting a block buffs and a block active skills on one person. This attack is always critical. Well, everything else always has to be critical to get the kill an enemy, to like revise a random element whenever this champion kills an enemy. So that is pretty good. But I don't like how everything there should have been decreased defense here. The increased attack should have been over here. Take away the block buffs, put the block buffs over here, puts the increased attack over here, and that's way better. Increased attack that also puts a block active skills. So if they survive, they get a block active skills, and if they die, they die. And you got the increased attack. And the increased attack that you would get here when you go to your next skill would also have the decreased attack. And then you get the decreased defense there. That would have been the way to go. I got something in my eye, man. It's knowing my eyeballs. All right, next one. So do I recommend her? No. Trugbore. Very okay, ally protector, increased defense, removes buffs, can be decent. I just don't think he's like, if you have nothing else, he's kind of like a 7. Seer. Okay, Seer, we know Seer's one of the best epics in Raid Shadow Legends. Even to this day, she is insane. Helps you solo helps you basically kill every single event dungeon in the game. She can be combined with Newts. She can combine with Marius's. She can be used in PvP. Why don't people use her in PvP? Because of Mercurial, because of Stone Skin. It's not 100% no more. Before you used to be able to just go and 100% just kill everybody. Now you can't do that no more. Hawk to Wanderer. I think he's a decent champion. If you have a 6-star, a 5-star, or 4-star blessing, I think he could be definitely very good. He has good synergies. He has the ability to stun people, decrease their speed, and then he also increase the cooldown. So he's definitely decent. Yeah. Toph the Maimed is a meme. They should call him Toph the Memed because he's a meme champion. He's only good as a tank for Shogun, Phantom Shogun. Other than that, he's not that great, man. I wouldn't recommend this champion. I have him. I used him. Then I stopped using him. If you want to use Norhorn instead, you can use a rare. That's just as good. This champion is one of those epics that they say this guy is working as intended, but I don't think they understand how this champion works. This says this attack cannot be critical. It should say this attack is always critical. This attack cannot be critical. This attack should say it always should be critical. That doesn't make any sense, bro. Like everything he does like. It angers me when I see his kit, honestly. How is this a void epic? This should not be a void epic. You do realize you need to crit to heal yourself based on the damage inflicted. That's anti-synergy. Doesn't make sense. And then over here, it says like when not attacking bosses inflicts pure damage. But if you're inflicting pure damage and you're not critting, what? And decreases the target's HP to 50%. That's pretty cool. It basically their HP goes from, let me see, I can show you. No matter how much like defense or HP they have, it doesn't matter. They will go like from full HP and they'll go straight to 50%. So it's like basically it's a guaranteed reduce one enemy to 50. Brother, as endgame players or even late game players, we don't got time to drop an enemy to 50%. We just want to one-shot the enemy and move on to the next wave. Like what? Once again, this is a void epic. So imagine pulling void charge, you pull this on, you just shake your head. And it says inflicts damage, and then it inflicts damage based on this champion's max HP. Instead, and places a stun debuff for one turn if the target already has less than 50% HP. So if they're about to die, instead of dropping that health from 50% to 0, right? Instead, it'll be like from 50, it'll just put a stun and then also do damage based on its max HP. But it won't do that much damage because it can't be critical. Inflicts damage based on this champion's max HP when attacking bosses. Okay, so instead of it being the enemy max HP, which would be the boss, they were like, you know what? Nah, fuck you. We're going to put his max HP. But it can't crit. So this should say HP and then in parentheses, enemy max HP. It should not be based on this champion. It should be based on the enemy's max HP if it's a boss. Then he would be the first epic champion that could have enemy max HP on a 3-turn cooldown, only one skill though. It's not AoE, right? So he could have been actually usable. How are you going to tell me that Cold Heart is better than a Cold Heart, which is a void rare, is better than an epic void? It doesn't make sense. This guy is literally probably one of the worst epics I've ever seen. Can you still use this champion? Yes, I used him, but he's not that good. He's garbage. So if you have him, you should instantly check him. Unless you're going to use him as a Shogun tank. Now, if they ever buff him, which I've been asking them to buff him for over 2 to 3 years, and they don't want to buff him because they said, you know what they said? He's working as intended. What the hell, man? All right, so Liburga. Liburga is actually an interesting poison champion that has poisons plus poison sensitivity, and she has more poisons on the A1. I don't understand this A3. It's kind of weird, but she does have a really good passive, and she has a really good A1 and A2. If you love poisons and you love spamming those on enemies and bosses, I would definitely recommend building Liburga. If you don't, then don't build Liburga. All right, we're done with 8 different factions, but 2 different subs. So we're almost done. That only just took us 3 hours. I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna cut this for the video. I need to go get something. I need to go get something to drink, chat. I am thirsty. Three more of this. Hey, chat. I'm breaking it down one by one, so you never have to ask ever again. You can always go back and watch this video and explain it each one, right? Because now you can always go back and be like, well, let's see what Jay said about that specific, what did JR say about the specific champion? Is it good for me to keep? So now you don't have to sit here and have to ask it every single time. I'll just refer you back to the video, right? Hey Jay, what do you think about this epic? I'm like, I don't care, motherfucker. Go check that video, right? Like, by the way, right? All right, so let's go on to Allure here. We all know Allure is really good. If you don't know the value of Allure, she's really good for Dark Phase. She's really good for Fire Knight normal. She's really good for reducing like bosses' turn meter if they're affected by it. She's really good at actually nuking. She can do some damage because since you have to build a crit rate, you can build crit damage on her, and she could be a good nuker. She hits pretty hard, and then her A3 hits insanely hard because it ignores 50% of the target's defense. There's a reason why this skill had to be a 6-turn cooldown, because I one-shot pretty much almost every enemy with this skill. It's basically, they should just call it guaranteed kill. Like, it is insane if you build it right. The A2 is pretty good. It's an AoE hit twice, and she can put decreased defense and put them to sleep on targets that do have decreased defense. Now, she only puts the baby decreased defense, which is kind of sad, right? But even so, there's a reason why there's 1,700 people who have built Allure or reviewed Allure, not even just built, right? So she's very good. I definitely recommend everyone have a +4 Allure. And if you need to, build 2 if you have to. Excruciator, she's really good. Excruciator is one of those champions that is pretty niche nuker. I think she could be good if you have no other nuker for this faction, but she's kind of niche. I wouldn't recommend too much. Akoth, you can only get this champion from Doom Tower as a Secret Room epic. I do recommend not to eat him because Doom Tower champions you can never get again in raid, so make sure you don't eat them. And I definitely do recommend building him if you have nothing else. He's really good. He has lockouts, AoE burns, and he has decreased crit rate on the A1. And he also has a chance to put fears too. Whenever they receive damage from an HP burn, you can put a fear. So you get fear, you get lockout, HP burn, and decreased crit rate. Pretty insane good epic. I'd give him like a I would give him like an 8 back in the days. I give him like a 7.5 now. I don't really see him anywhere. Vildrax is garbage. I don't like this champion at all. It's such a weird champion. Like you have to have like AoE Hex out there. Then you have to increase put one of their skills on cooldown, but it's not even 100%. I don't know, just weird. And then he has like what, Leech on the A1, and then the only good thing about this champion is they can steal people's heals, but it doesn't work against bosses. So it's like, huh? Like he can try to steal away someone healing. So like in PvE, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't know, it's just garbage. I don't use him. I don't use him. I got a 6-star on this champion, Vildrax, and I got a 6-star blessing on Sion. I don't recommend building either one unless you have a 6-star. I finally have a 6-star Sion. I might be using Sion and showing him. The problem with this champion is he doesn't put these buffs before attacking. He puts them after attacking. If Plarium would just change that, this epic would be a must-build champion. But because he doesn't have that, he's not a must-build. So you have to wait till you get a 6-star blessing on either of these. Erin, yes, I don't know. I think they should call her Erin No instead of Erin, yes. The only thing that she's good for is the 100% poison on the A1. Like literally, that's all she can do. The A2, increasing the duration of debuffs. Like, brother, what? On a forge? Oh, garbage. And then block buffs on one person, not AoE, on one person. Brother, what? Like, it's so weird. No. Soulbrinker. Now, this is a personal favorite. I don't recommend you to build him. But if you have a Gaius the Gleeful, okay? If you have a Gaius the Gleeful, which is this champion right here, okay, and you have a Soul Drinker, you could technically build out more Soul Drinkers. Like maybe like, what do you mean you could technically build out more Soul Drinkers? Back in the old days of Raid, when the game was different, right? Before we had Mercurial and people had Stone Skin, well, how'd you put bombs on people? Well, you could use a skill to put bombs, right? Or whenever he dies, he puts bombs. And I don't know if you knew this, but if you build those champions with like basically no gear but high accuracy, if someone attacks you, you can instantly put bombs on. I'll show you real quick. See if I can find the priest. It should be all the way at the bottom. Yep, here it is. So Mercurial screwed this over, right? Mercurial screwed this comp. This used to be a very old school comp. You put the champion in the back because when you get attacked, right, positions matter in the game. So when you get AoE attacked, it hits the first person, the second person, the third person, and the fourth person. Now, it might not look that way when you get hit in terms of like in the battle, but that's how it's coded, right? So if you would put guys at the back and he gets killed, what does he say? He says instantly detonates all the bombs. Well, their passives go off first, right? Because they're in front of him. Their passives say put bombs off when they die. So if your whole team gets one-shotted, well, guys instantly, all those bombs from the Soul Drinkers go out to the enemy, and then they kill the guys, and the guys just instantly activates all the bombs, so you instantly win. Even though you have no champions on your side, you instantly win because it happened. It wasn't your turn, right? The end of their turn didn't happen. So even though it's their turn, they lose because they have no champions. So it's a weird interaction in the game, in the coding, but that's how it plays out. So in the rules, you think it would be like a tie, right? It's not a tie. You actually get the victory, and your opponent gets the default loss. But let's see if they have Mercurial. So I don't know. They might have Mercurial, so I might cook us here. But yeah, if they look, one of them has Mercurial, right? So when they do this, those bombs will instantly go off and kill people. I guess we didn't have enough accuracy to land it on her, but as you see, everyone should have died there. Of course, Carnage doesn't die because he has Mercurial, but that's how it's supposed to work. Oh, apparently have some champions that are not geared. Oh boy. I'm trying to see if I can find like a normal team that maybe not Mercurial, so we can actually like test it out. Okay. Now, of course, it doesn't work against block debuffs buff as well. That was another thing, right? So like Siphi teams, Duchess teams, you had to know when you're using this team, you had to know to use it to a team that doesn't have no block debuffs. This is before Mercurial. So now you're like, shit, they have to have no block debuffs and no Mercurial. So that's why no one uses this team no more. It's only good in PvE. You can still, like I said, you still use it in PvP if you already know what the enemies are using, right? If you already like preemptively know, like, oh, I know this person's using this, then you can definitely use that team. But I barely use that team anymore because unfortunately it's just not as good. So would I recommend you building Soul Drinker? I think 1 is not bad. I don't think he's a bad champion. By 1 champ, he's okay. By himself, he's a decent 1 champ. But should you build 3 and use him with Gaius? It's not going to work as good as it used to back in the days. Nazana, HP champion, which is weird because look, she scales off attack there and she scales off attack here. How does that make sense? That doesn't make sense. Plarium, fix these champions. So does that mean she's trash? No. She's still a really good champion. She has lots of AoE, right? AoE on the A1, AoE. So she's a really good champion to put in stun sets, day sets, provoke sets, things of that nature to control the enemies. And then she also has ally protection and a big ass shield on herself, which she does have a lot of HP and speed and decent res, which is all great. I think for her to be a must build champion, if they changed her to HP, you would see a lot more value. Why do I have to build out my Nazana? Let me show you something, chat, or everybody watching the video. Imagine having to build this champion. I have a +4. I put her in Swift. Well, I was trying to build her damage. And I had her 100% crit rate with crit damage. But look at her attack. Her attack is shite. It's only 5,000 because look at the scaling. It's only 859. Now imagine if she was an HP champion and I would scale that HP. She'd have like 100k HP and she would hit really hard. She'd be a really good HP tank that hits hard AoE. So she's an HP tank that just gets killed because when you put ally protection and crit damage together, she gets hurt. But I have no choice to build her this way. I had to put her in Crushing Rend as well and give her Helm Smasher. And she's still not nuking. I even gave her Steel Cut. I cut her to get more ignore defense. It's just not great. Maybe like Jason and like Instinct said or Lethal. I've tried that. I had to throw her in this gear because overall, if Plarium could just fix those two little things right there, boom, this champion's a must-build champion. Must build. Otherwise, she's an okay champion. Infernal Baroness. A lot of people like this champion. People always tell me, wrong, Jay, you're wrong. Jay, you're wrong. I use that champion. I use it all the time. She's so good. First of all, it doesn't say heal the ally by the lowest HP by 5%. It says by 5% of damage inflicted. Just like Nazana, why are you going to build this champion nukage? I don't get that. Why do I have to build nukage to heal my allies when they're not a nuker? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't like her. She has the crit attack. It's kind of midi. She has a Perfect Veil. Midi. It's only one champion. There's other epics that put AoE Perfect Veil or even Veil. And then she has a heal. Like, it's garbage. Garbage. Don't like the champion. Tanex Hateflower. I think Tanex is way better. She has to heal all allies by 3% of this champion's max HP for each hit. Each hit under decreased speed. She puts decreased speed on the A2. That's good synergy. So you A2, heal your allies, heal your allies. A2, heal your allies, heal your allies. And then she has a passive that decreases damage by all allies received by 5%. This champion will receive that damage instead. And she is a support that scales off attack, which is not great. Would have been better to be HP champion, but hey, I think Tanex is way better than Infernal Baroness. Do I think that Tanex is a must build? No. Atchak the Wendrin. Now this champion, as you saw earlier when I was showing the epics, right? With Tauros and Rector Wrath, this is a must build epic. Must build. Why? She has an A2 that puts block debuffs buff and a strengthen, the most powerful strengthen, on a 4 turn. Unfortunately, it's not a 3 turn, right? I know. And then she has this ability, which is an AoE freeze or an AoE burn on a 3 turn cooldown. So yes, she would have been I would have recommended, I still recommend that people should build her, but she would have been a must build champ if this was a 3 turn. Her passive and the A3 is what makes this champion really, 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 really good. A2 is good, but it just need to be cooldown reduced. So she's a must build? No, but she's a very powerful epic. I give her like an 8.5 out of 10. With a 6-star blessing and +4, definitely a 9 out of 10 epic. Hellgazer. I don't like this champion. She's supposed to give herself increased attack, cleanse herself, and then nuke you. Okay, who cares? Tarshan has provokes, weaken, and increased defense turn meter. I guess if you have nothing else, I don't recommend. Gorlos. He has a decreased defense. What is this? Decreased turn meter? Fill the turn meter by 10% if they're under all 3 things, right? Decreased defense, HP burn, or decreased accuracy. He does do all 3. Look, decreased defense, HP burn, decreased accuracy. So they're basically cooked. If it's a boss, he's gonna each hit. So he's gonna decrease their turn meter by fill his turn meter by 20%. So he wants to keep cycling. So he can he fills turn meter, right? Fill his turn meter by 20% if his attack is critical. All right, so that's a 4 turn cooldown. This one fills turn meter. This one does not fill turn meter, but it's decreased defense. I think he's good. I think was a lot better when he first came out. We didn't have a lot of good champions for Demon Spawn that had decreased defense, and he was like the only champion in the game that could do it. In that faction, as an overall champion he must build, no, he's not even that great as an overall champion. But is he okay for that faction? He's decent. I give him like a 7. Magnar. Magnar is a must build epic. It don't matter if it's PvE or PvP. This is a must build epic because he has amazing synergy. He's a debuff spreader. He's a nuker or a stunner. Yes, that's right. You can make him actually AoE stun instead of nuke. And he has a decreased defense on the A1, which allows you to nuke them easier, or you can spread that decreased defense and put AO and spread it to other enemies. Because you can look, applies a debuff spread effect, taking 2 random debuffs from the target, placing them on all enemies under HP burn. So yeah, if you can bring HP burn with this champion, this guy is bananas. He doesn't put an HP burn. He just places an extra hit if they don't have the HP burn, and if they have HP burn, he puts a stun on them. So you want to bring a burner with this champion and you get insane value. I wish he would have bring burn in his own kit, but it is what it is. Definitely still a must build champion, even though he doesn't bring burn. Dur the Hunger. A lot of people don't like Dur the Hungry. I actually think he's insane. I think he's like a 8.5 out of 10 champion. Why? Just like Hopefully the Tusk, he has an A1 stun, right? Really good. He has an A2 heal, continuous heal, and reflex damage on a 3-turn cooldown. And then he has a revive that doesn't bring people with 30%, brings them with 15% HP and 50% turn meter on a 4-turn cooldown. That's not bad. You're not going to get revive 2 people with a 3-turn cooldown. You're just not, unless with the Lego. What's up, Silverbird? How you doing? All right, Urtakata. Is Urtakata a good champion? Urtakata's a decent champion. If you like poisons, just like what's her name from the orc side. If you like poisons and hex, it's all right. Do I use this champion? She's cool. Some people use her in clan boss. Some people use her against certain bosses. Could help you out, but honestly, I don't know. I just feel like not as crazy. She's definitely a decent champion. I'll give her like a 7.5, maybe almost an 8 if you have a blessing. Paidma used to be super good back in the days. No one uses her anymore. It's kind of sad how she's fallen off. She's still a 133 champion. It's just that no one cares because all the stuff that she does is not that OP as it used to be back in the days. Back in the days, like you had her, you're like, damn. I can't even recommend Paidma no more, honestly. Umbral Enchantress, still really good for Hydra, still really good for Arena, if they're not using Mercurial, but of course Mercurial's there. So she does have the provoke for 2 turns. Hey, this champion could come back. This champion could come back in live arena. You start the match, right? You boost up, you provoke through their Mercurial, and it lasts for 2-turn provoke, man. It's not a 1-turn provoke, 2 turns. That's 2 turns those people in Mercurial can't get their stacks back, and that's 2 turns that they can't even take they use their A2s or A3s or anything else, or switch forms, right? This is a void epic. So would I recommend people build her? Yeah, buddy, yeah. Now you can't cleanse that block active skills. You can't cleanse, it stays there for 5 turns, so you're pretty much cooked for 5 turns. But hey, man, I could think of some champions that could actually get some value from this. All right, let me show you one champion. I'll give you a little sneak peek. Valkennen. Yeah, Valkennen can sacrifice a champion. So you could easily, if you have Valkennen, sorry, I wish there was more champions like Valkennen that could do it, but we don't. But I would definitely activate the A2, instantly sack this chick, kill her, revive her back so she doesn't have the block active skills protected on her anymore. You know what I'm saying? Or if they ever release a champion in the game that says, I can cleanse or I can remove protected debuffs, unless they ever release some BS stuff like that. All right, Skimfos. So do I recommend her? Yes, I do recommend building at least one Umbral Enchantress. Skimfos the Consumed. Definitely a very underrated epic. I feel like a lot of people don't like him. Like they use him, but they don't like him. I think he's really good. People are sleeping on this epic. This is kind of like a Tauros, where people use him, but not use him a lot. And I don't know why. He has really good synergy with the A1. The A2 has decreased attack and can also transfer all debuffs from all allies to this champion. And you might be like, why would you want to do that to yourself? Well, because he has this passive that says at the start of the turn, so you want to build this guy very fast. At the start of each turn, he'll heals himself for each debuff. And if he has 4 or more, he'll increase his attack and increase crit damage. Then he'll transfer all those debuffs from this champion to the enemy and then attacks them, steals 100% of the turn meter if his attack is critical. On a 3-turn cooldown, it is insane to steal turn meter. Okay? Let me tell you that right now, Jack. A 3-turn cooldown to steal 100% turn meter is insane. Now, it might not sound insane if we're talking about legendaries and mythicals. It is insane when we're talking about epics. So yes, I definitely recommend building Skimfos. Do we even need to talk about Good Grab? Do I even need to say anything about this champion? But he's like the only reviver in the epics, okay? If you don't build one, you're cooked. That's all I have to say. You got to build that champion. This champion is only used for clan boss. I don't see this champion using anywhere else anymore. He kind of fell off. He was really good back in the days. Used to be good in arena as well. No one uses this champion anymore. There's just better champs. Unfortunately, he fell off. He was really, really good. If you're new to mid game, should you still build him? Yes, I still think he's a decent champ. I just don't think he's a must build champ. But he's definitely a decent champ. So like a 7 out of 10 now. Cataclysm Counselor, is this guy good? Same thing as like Seeker. Used to be good back then, like because he could team up with people, right? Not many epics can team up with 3 allies. They can only team up with 2. So he teams up with 1 more. But his other skills are pretty like meh. His other skills are shit. So I don't really recommend building Catacomb Counselor unless you really need to. And there's probably better champions like Fenrak and the Fat anyways. Dark Athel is garbage. Don't build her. Dark Elhain. Dark Elhain is a must-build champion. Super powerful nuker. She anti-freeze meta. If they have Lady Noelle, could. If they have Sir Nick, could. Now, you can't ignore they're unkillable, right? But if they try to ever put a freeze, she just keeps going nope and instantly removes any freeze on herself instantly. And it always spams this skill over here. Whenever an ally receives an ally freeze, boom, Death Majesty, Death Majesty, Death Majesty. Like you can just spam the shit out of this skill, which is crazy. It is a very, very, very good skill. Yeah, I think that she also destroys the enemy max HP of an enemy. Who's that good against? Morgoth the Scarab King. That's right. So she's not just good against freezing stuff. She's also good against Morgoth the Scarab King. So I do recommend building at least one Dark Elhain. Husk. Husk is a must-build champion. I'm not going to go into why. It's pretty much a stun and provokes. He's a tank that just, if you build him right, he doesn't die and keeps CCing and doing damage. Kurama's garbage. Lich used to be good back in the old school days of Raid. Honestly, he's just not good anymore. I think he's kind of garbage. Hex is okay if you have if you have a 4 to 6 star blessing. She's actually decent. If you don't have a blessing, I don't recommend building this champion. Defiled Sinner, garbage. Used to be better. Corpse Collector. If this would have been a 3-turn cooldown, I mean, think about that. Attacks take 3 times at random. Who cares, right? But each hit, I mean, because that could be against one boss. Is still the same person. That's 3 poisons. 3 poisons are really good on a 3-turn would be beautiful, right? She could have been a clan boss champion. On a 4-turn cooldown, oh man, no, it's just not good, bro. But Jay, she's a heal reduction and decreased accuracy. I don't like these debuffs like anymore. We have increased res, we don't need heal reduction anymore. So yeah, if you're a heal reduction coping player, yeah, definitely, I would definitely use this champion, but I don't recommend it. Mausoleum Mage, definitely an old school epic that had a lot of value back in the days. Huge champion, bro. This guy had decreased speed on the A1. He had block debuffs on the A2, which was the only champion in the game that had all 3 of these debuffs. And people were building this guy super fast over and over and over, just keep spamming the increased defense and the block debuffs. And then if you did put debuffs on him, he would just cleanse all that shit off. Right? And you're like, fuck. And everyone just gets healed up and then feels turn meter. And I think he's still okay. I just don't think he's as good as he used to be because this is a 4-turn cooldown. And a decreased speed is not like higher, you know? But other than that, he's an okay champion. Zealotel is only good for putting the sleeps. That's it. And if you need shields, he can help you with that. But this is a 4-turn cooldown. You want it to be a 3 so you can keep like shielding up, right? These basically these 2 champions. If you have nothing else, you can use them. But I wouldn't recommend, like, unless you have 6-star blessing on each one. Vogoth. Vogoth is a must-build champion. If you're not using this champion, you are sleeping. There's a reason why if you go to my account and we type in the word Vogoth, I have a shit ton of Vogoths, okay? I have a amount of Vogoths. I have I have 1+4, 1+3 that's about to be +4. Actually, I could probably get that one +4 as we speak. So I might as well. Oh my gosh, this one is a gear on it? It has gear on it, that's why. I just have to remove the gear off real quick because it was muled. That one's probably not even that great. Yeah, so okay, good. I don't feel bad because there's nothing else on him. All right, so when we go to my Vogoths now, right? I have 2+4 Vogoths, okay? Normally, 2+4s, but if we're looking at all the Vogoths, I still have more Vogoths. So if you're wondering if you should build yourself a Vogoth, you should definitely build one in either Curing, Regeneration, and you should also build one in Guardian, or you could just have 3 different builds for one Vogoth and play around with them. So I would definitely go, try which one you like the most. Vogoth might come back in the meta now that provokers are going to be very powerful in PvP. Don't be surprised if people start bringing Vogoth and try provoking you through your Mercurial. All right? Because he's an amazing provoker who can also, who received the provoke debuff from the skill. Yeah, so you get provoked and then you get decreased attack. You're not gonna get decreased attack because your Mercurial will block it. But you will get provoked as like what, 75, 80% with Fearsome Presence. That's still a good chance. That's still a good chance to AoE provoke your whole team and cook them, and then you just get Marius and then you're cooked because you have to provoke and then you die after. So don't be surprised if you see people using Vogoth in live arena or in classic or tag team arena. Again, That's how good he is. So I definitely highly recommend Bogoth, a 9.5 out of 10 champion. All right, Balthus, Drug Lord, trash. Anax. Anax is only good for clan boss if you don't have enough poisons or you don't have a damage dealer. Other than that, I would not recommend. Ostrux Boneglaive. This champion has also healed the ally with the lowest HP by 10%. I like that. A2 has this is weird. I don't like this. It's so conditional. And then the A3 is kind of weird. And then the passive is kind of weird. Everything is just all over the place. It's like they could have made the kit a way better and more synergetic. For a Void, it should be a lot better. I don't like him. Khafre the Death Keeper, I actually like this champion. He has an unkillable and a taunt. He has the A1 transfer random debuff, and he has the ability to remove debuffs and heal each ally for each debuff removed. I like this. I think this is a not a must build champion, but he's definitely a good epic. I'd probably say an 8 out of 10. All right, let's go to the next one. Dark Elves. All right, Dark Elves has a lot of fucking epics. I'm gonna be honest, they're straight garbage. Captain Tamilia was good back in an old school raid. I wouldn't use her right now. Kaiden is only good for faction wars. Other than faction wars, I wouldn't recommend him. Dark Hill can be used everywhere. Must build champion. Gwyneth, pretty garbage unless you know what you're doing. If you don't have a 6-star blessing, I would not recommend her. Spider, very decent epic that can help you out. Definitely 8 out of 10. Durandal, a must build epic. Why? Because he has a chance to freeze, just like how we talked about earlier in the video or stream. Neldor freezes, and he gets to counterattack even more if there's more freezes. So Durandal is one of the few freeze champions out there that can freeze just alongside Crowdin and Neldor. Now his freeze is not that high, but this guy smacks, man. If you've ever built him, he actually nukes people down. He's got an A3 that ignores 50%, puts a perfect veil on himself, and then next turn he's just gonna go and cook people with an AoE that ignores 15% or more of their defense again. On top of that, so even if you don't kill that person on that hit, you're probably going to kill them on the next that hit and everybody else as well. But normally this just one-shots everyone, honestly. Most people cannot survive unless it's a weak hit or something. They just die. They just get one-shotted, so. Yeah, good champion. I definitely recommend Durandal. Rhianna the Conjurer. I definitely recommend this, especially if you did Doom Tower Secret Rooms and you got yourself both the 2 champions, Akot the Seared and Euros. So Soul Cage. She can revive them as well as long as you're reviving other people. So you never want to revive them. You want to revive someone else. So let's say you have like Euros, you have Rhiannon and 2 other champions. You always want to revive the other champions because she will always revive the Euros at the same time. But if you do choose them as a target, they'll come back with more health, more per meter, and block debuff. That's not the main reason why people use her. The main reason why people use her is because of the A2. The A2 has the ability to strip, put a weaken on a 3-turn cooldown. It's a 100% chance to work. That's why people like her. She also has a black buff on her A1. Do I recommend her? I think she's really good. She used to be, back then, I would have recommended her back then for bomb champions like Gaius or Nishak. But now that there's Mercurial and now there's a lot more ways to deal with strips and stuff, I think she's okay. I would give her like an 8 out of 10. The rest is 100% garbage. Karkath is 100% garbage. I think they need to buff this champion. She could be really good if they just reduced her cooldowns and made her more synergetic. It's just all over the place. How is this the last champion you get in normal Doom Tower? This is the last champion. And only 41 people have reviewed her. Garbage. All right, so we got Luria. Luria's actually not bad. She has the ability to put, if you're a coping heal reduction player, you can use that to get 100%, get decreased speed, or you get a random number. You don't know what you're going to get. You get a 33.3% chance of getting one of these debuffs. Then the A2, which she's known for, is that she will do an AoE block revive and an AoE freeze, but it's not a guaranteed freeze. But yeah, that's pretty good for an epic, right? Most people do not have something like that as an epic. That is pretty good. The only thing I don't like about it is that it's a 4-turn cooldown. I think it should be a 3-turn. And then she has this other skill that's a 5-turn. That's like, what the fudge? So Luria really gets cooked by her cooldowns, but she has decent skills. If you can actually get good gear on her, 6-star blessing, I think I recommend her. If you don't, I think she's like a 6 out of 10. Honestly, she's not a must build. Crimson Helm, people use her to solo Bommel, but there's better Bommel solars. And honestly, I don't even use her anymore. I wouldn't recommend. Warden gives you all these different like debuffs and buffs, but they're all the baby versions. Why would you want to use a champion that gives me baby versions of everything? Like, bro, it's so weird. Trash. The Delver can be good if you need the heal reduction. Once again, coping players. Increased attack defense, kind of weird. I wouldn't use that. And then this is, I don't know. I don't like Delver, man. I think she could have been way better. Fang Cleric, I think Fang Cleric is actually pretty decent. He has a 2-turn skill that heals off his HP. That is insane. Like if you build this guy fast, he's just like healing, and he's also filling their turn meter and putting Veil. Yeah, I think it's cool. He's not the best. I give him like a 7.5 out of 10. Visionary, she needs to remove that visionary mask or whatever she's wearing because she's blind, because she can't see vision enough. She sucks. Lua is actually good. She has a AoE hitter on the A1. Technically, she has a triple hitter on the A2, and then she has a skill that will also like blow people up, but also decrease their turn meter by 100%. This should easily be a 3-turn cooldown. But a player's like, well, it ignores shield and block damage. We gotta make it a 4. Like, brother, that doesn't make like what? Shut up. Sylar. So do I recommend Lua? I don't recommend her. Like she's not a must build unless you have a 6-star, 4-star blessing, 4 to 6. Then I would say it's a recommended build. But she's all right. She's good. She's a good champion. I'll give her like a 7.5 out of 10. She used to be better back in the days because back in the day she had way more viability with this or this. Sylar's been really good, man. Over the years, yeah, she's fallen off a little bit, but she's still decent of an epic, man. Especially if you put her in sets like stun sets, daze sets, all these like set slaves, right? That basically like to crowd control people with daze, stun, provoke, stuff like that. Because she has so many AoEs. You can put her in toxic set too to put lots of poisons out there, right? Baby poisons and get some damage out there. She does decrease accuracy, but the main reason why people use this champion is this skill. It's the better versions of Shatterbones, honestly, in my opinion. It puts an AoE decrease speed, the strongest one, and then she also decreases her turn meter by 40%. So if you're trying to cut in, if you're trying to keep up, you're going to get thrown back and then cooked. And then she also has a faction crypt speed by 22. This is one of the reasons why people use her in faction wars, because she has a really strong aura for that faction. Is she a must build? I don't think she's a must build anymore, but she's still a very strong champion. I'd give her like a 7.5. If you can put her in a set, like a 4-piece set, then she becomes like an 8 out of 10, especially if she's in stun set. Madame Seris, one of the most overpowered void epics ever in Raid Shadow Legends. People were spending money trying to get this champion when she first came out because damn, there's a reason why 1,200 people reviewed it, and I bet you a lot more have played it. She has the ability to strip you without touching you, right? So it doesn't matter what you have. Oh, you have a Tecteon? I can remove your poison cloud and everything you have. That's not protected. Right? She also has an ability that steals your buffs. So not only does she strip them away, she can also steal buffs and places a block debuff if any buff is stolen. There's a true fear if you have buffs stolen. You see what I'm saying? Like she has so much. Then she has a passive that keeps fearing people when attacked under a shield, and she always gets a shield. You know what's a good champion that goes with Madame Seris? Lugan. Yeah, the new Lugan buff, right? He says whenever an ally under a shield is attacked, you definitely want to look at Lugan. If I'm correct, I think it says any shield. It doesn't say shield placed by this champion, right? Does it say that? Whenever an enemy attacks an ally under a shield buff, see? It doesn't say placed by this champion. So, yeah, don't sleep on Madame Seris. Definitely Madame Seris is a must-build champion. I have one of them. I don't even know if I have her +4. That's a good question. Yes, I do. I have a +4 Madame Seris, and I have an extra Seris, which is probably just a mule champion I use for gear to give me some more space. All right, we're almost done. We got to go Night Revenants and then 4 more factions. Night Revenants. Do we have any good champions here? Crypt Witch. Crypt Witch is not that great, honestly. She's all right. All right. I don't really. Yeah, I just. They tried buffing her one time, and the buff was cool, but I think there could be better. I feel like the cooldown of this could be 3-turn. They don't have to make it multiple. Like, why do they keep making it random? I don't know. It's weird. It's weird. I like her A1. It ignores shields and block damage. I don't think she's a must build. She's like a 6 out of 10. Pitless one is another, honestly, he does have a lot of turn meter filling. Everything is turn meter filling, filling this guy up, healing himself up, turning his minutes fill. So basically just the synergy of him he wants to go fast and keep healing. Nuke, fast and healing. No one uses this champion. Let me tell you that right now. No one uses this champion. All right. If you have a 6-star bless of him, I'd rather recommend you to use 6-star Necro Hunter than 6-star Pitless one any day. Okay? Why? We'll see why. First hit, he has hits twice, puts a decreased defense, high chance for an epic. 65%, you can get Sniper and Max Hexer. That is nuts. That is pretty good for an epic. A2. He'll attack one person, and then I'll attack all enemies one time if this attack is critical. Okay, so you hit that person, and then you hit that person again. on a 3-turn cooldown. So you hit everybody else, but you hit that same person twice. That is huge. And then he has an A3 that nukes somebody down, has high multipliers on the A3. Puts a perfect veil on himself if this attack is critical, which all his attacks will be critical if you build his character correct. So basically, he'll definitely one-shot someone there, and he'll definitely one-shot someone here. And in here, this is just for like bosses or for like an enemy you're trying to like kill them eventually, right? Because you could put the decreased defense and then one-shot them like that. I like him. He's a 1/3/3 champion. He has perfect veil that synergizes with his kit, right? Because you want to hide, and while he's hiding, he's killing people using Gravestorm and Crypt Arrows, and then he hides again. So he just keeps hiding over and over if you do it right. So I actually like him. I think if you have, I don't recommend him. I just think if you have a good blessing for him, I do say he's not a bad epic nuker in this faction. Miscreant Monster, I don't think we have to go onto that champion. I don't think we have to talk about that champion. That champion is a must-build champion, even in 2026. He got cooked because of Mercurial. And Stone Skin kind of cooked him too. But I still think Miscreant Monster is an insane epic for Spider. Insane epic to put shields on your team. Insane epic for Faction Wars. Super must-build champion. Yeah, I give him a 9 out of 10. Barsalis is garbage. Ashma is garbage. Sinesha, I only recommend building Sinesha if you have nothing else, or if you're using her with Skull Crown. Doom Priest is a must-build epic. Must-build. If you're not building this champion, you're just cooking your account, honestly. But Jay, her kit is pretty shitty. It's not even that good. All you have to do is build this champion with as much HP and as much speed as possible. That's it. You don't have to build no resistance, no accuracy. You can build resistance if you want to, but she's going to cleanse one of them anyways. So if you could just build her super fast, super HP, put her like in 6-piece Immortal, where she's just getting free heals on top of the heals, or put her in Guardian, or whatever you want, like bolster, like HP set. If you want to put her in an HP set, like Divine Shield, I'm sorry, Shield set or bolster, you can. You can, to give like, you know, because she has pretty good HP, right? Almost 20,000. Good defense, good speed. I would just keep building her that way, man. You just want her to take a lot of, if you want to build her a Relentless set too, so she can get multi-healing, multi-cleansing, you can do that as well. Everything else, even though their abilities are not like OP, they're not insane, it doesn't matter. The passive is one of the most powerful passives as an epic in the game. So you have to build her. Yeah, she's a must build. So Poker Sentinel, she used to be super strong back in the days, but I just don't like this as a 4-turn cooldown. The increased attack can be placed by everyone now in the game, and then this is like, it's all right. It's all right. Rector Druff is a must-build epic. I'm telling you. This epic will help you from early game all the way to late game. Like, it stays with you for a long time. There's a reason why she has 1,558 reviews, okay? She, you notice a lot of people, the champions that have really high reviews, people are using them. And they're just insane. Her whole skill kit like synergizing together, especially for Doom Tower, especially if you're using her with increased res champions. Oh my god, really strong epic, honestly. She does have high cooldowns, I get it, right? But you just got to build her fast. I mean, she has 109 base speed for a reason, right? Did they give her a little bit too much attack and they should have given her more HP and defense? Yes, the answer is yes. They should have given her more HP. They gave her way too much attack for no reason. No one's going to use her for 1,035 attack to do one single attack that doesn't even do damage. Dumb. This is Plarium dumb. But everything else, still good champion. Delecia, is she a must build? No, she used to be decent for Hydra. People were using her for the decreased defense and the Hex. Honestly, she's okay. She's not a bad champion, but she's not really a crazy, amazing champion. I like her. She's cool. You could put her 9-piece Pharaoh probably nowadays to help out, right? 9-piece Pharaoh, but like, even then, I'm just like, I don't know. Lady Aresh, I tried to use her. There's just too many like things about her that are just not good. You know what I mean? Like, there's too much RNG. I feel like there's better champions, bro. There's better champions. Deathless, I don't recommend this champion. You have to be built different to use this champion. Like, you have to know what you're doing. Okay, you have to really, really know what you're doing. I do not recommend this champion. If you have a 6-star blessing, you can play around with her and have some fun. But no, Kaitis is a definitely. I recommend building if you have a good blessing for him. If you don't, I wouldn't use him right away. He's not that great. He used to be really good in the old days of Raid. Now he just kind of fallen off. Now he's not that great. Bergoth the Malformed. A lot of people don't like this champion. I actually like this champion a lot. People hated on him for so long, saying he's trash because he doesn't land the provokes, the A1, the passive, BS. This guy helped me by himself. I would have never beat Night Revenants on normal Faction Wars, stage 21 or 20, if it wasn't for this champion. This champion changed my account, if you think about it. I definitely recommend this champion. Pestilus is garbage. Paranex is garbage, even though people are making videos like, I can do so much damage with this one scale. Like, S&D. SM. All right. Malekith Bloodflock, a very powerful reviver in the faction. Has the ability to put duration of buffs, increase duration of all allies' buffs and enemies' buffs as well, make them go away, steals their buffs. I like him. The only thing it doesn't have is healing, so you're definitely going to want to combine Malekith with Doom Priest to keep your team alive because he has no heals, but he has revives. Faceless. It's hard to explain. I have a love and hate relationship with this guy. Like, I love him a lot because of that A3, but then all his other skills are like, they piss me off sometimes. I think Plarium should keep this, just jump it up to like 35% chance. Dish should not put increased crit rate. What it should put is increased crit damage or increase attack. That's what it should do, because that would make more sense. You can increase attack, kill someone. A3, kill someone. A1, have a chance to kill someone. A2, again, you get the increased attack again, kill someone. I think it would be like that. Otherwise, he's just an A3 slut, and that's not that great. So do I recommend people? No. But if you have a 3-star, if you have a 6-star blessing, I would probably say, yeah, you should use this champion. This champion is going to blow people up. That A3 can literally guarantee one-shot anyone in the game. Like, you could probably hit it for like, no cap, you could probably hit for like 300-400K. All right, Skull Crown. Skull Crown, we all know she's amazing. I don't think I have to talk about this champion, but she's a must build champ. AoE nuker that keeps AoE nuking. She doesn't die. She can come back to life. If you have her sister, right, which is Shinesha, she'll come back to life. And then she also stops herself from dying as well. Golden Reaper. This champion is only good for like boosting your team. Do I recommend her using her now? She's kind of like mid, man. Like, she does have this. This skill's not that great, and then this skill's not that. It's all right. You know, it's all right. I get it. She can reduce their cooldowns. It is cool. It gives me kind of like a Grand Oak Padre kind of vibe. But he can reduce it by like 2 while she's reducing 1, and it's not a high chance. I mean, it's not bad. I just don't think she's great. A lot of people don't use her. I think if you have nothing else, she's okay. Whisper, one of the best epic damage dealers other than Phoenix in the game. If you build her right, she's a boss destroyer. Like, literally, they'll just die so fast. So definitely, she does have a lot of conditions, so you need to know what you're doing. So, and how the hell do I not have Sabitha? Really? I swear, I thought I pulled this champion already. But Sabitha is just basically kind of like Malekith, right? They both have AoE revives. Oh, she only has a single target revive. Interesting, but she puts a block damage on them for 2 turns. Ah, and they get 100% turn meter too. Whoa, okay, nice. Whenever this champion revives an ally, decrease the cooldown of one of this champion's skills by 1 turn. Okay. Okay, that could include this skill, right? Place increased defense and increased attack on all allies for 2 turns. Okay, so just regular buffs. Heals the ally with the lowest HP by 10%. This champion's max HP by 10%. I do like that. Not bad, not bad. I think she's not a must-build champion, but she's definitely a good 8 out of 10. All right, we're almost done. Let's go to the epics of dwarves. I thank you so much for everybody who's sticking along this long. It's been 4 hours and 43 minutes so far. We got Grizzled Jarl. Okay. He used to be really good back in the days. I don't like him. I don't like him at all. Cornelia, very strong champion. I recommend everyone building at least one. She's not a bad champion. She has some interesting, cool synergies with other champions. Filja is kind of like, was used pretty much for this skill, but it's only on a 4-turn cooldown. I don't recommend Filja. Madak, Eyes of Siron. Interesting. So you basically debuff spread the block buffs and the block, but it doesn't only spreads 1 though. That would have been so good if he did all like 2 random. Yeah, that would have been so nutty. I think that's really good though. Like, if you land a block active and it spreads down 1, you can get an AoE block active for 2 turns as bananas. That is kind of bananas, bro. But you can't control what lands, so you'd have to keep running the key over and over and over. Damn, dude, they could have made this such an insane skill. I don't recommend it. I mean, you could use them if you have nothing else. Rearguard Sergeant, I definitely recommend this champion. She's so good. She was good back then, still good now. Geomancer. Honestly, this is probably top 3 epics in all of Raid Shadow Legends. Like high level, like Cardinal, Godseeker, Phoenix, like Seer, like no one in the game. Look at how many people have reviewed. No one has gone over 2,000 so far, chat, right? Since what we've seen. We've only seen like 1,500, 1,300, 4,700 people have reviewed this shit. That just goes to show you how many people were willing to like go out of their time to actually go here and click on some shit. They love this champion that much. I'm gonna tell you guys this right now. This guy has changed the game. He changed it so much that people who couldn't beat stuff back then were able to beat it because of this one champion, including myself. Okay, so this guy is like a legendary on my account because if it wasn't for Geo, I probably wouldn't have gone where I am today. I probably would have gone there by now, but it definitely helped a lot. And you know what the crazy thing is? People built this champion like a support who does like his HP burns and spread and the passive, but it's actually supposed to be a nuker. If you look at the way his crit damage is, the multipliers of all his skills on the A1 and A2, Plarium wanted us to build him as a damage dealer, not the way the community built him. So the way we built him was a different way, and it turned out to be the better way. All right, so Fire Gun is Isabel. Really decent champion. I have her, and I've been using her. She's all right. She's like an epic bomber. She's cool. She's cool. I think she's a very good addition to the game. Do I think she's a must build? No. She's definitely a decent champion, though. I'll give her like a 7 out of 10, and Geo's definitely a 9.5 out of 10 now. He used to be a 10 out of 10 before. He's gone down a little bit. We got Hilda Arnorn. I saw her last time. Yeah, she's a triple hit on the... This is really good. Damn, that's like insane A1. Okay, A2. Damn, that's a good one, too. Ooh, I love that. Wait, she can AoE stun people? Oh, yeah, this is a must-build champion. She has AoE stuns, heal reduction, also gets more damage for every debuff, and she can ignore each hit ignores their defense and steals their. Oh my god, allies deal 50% more damage under heal. Or oh my, okay, yeah, she's a must. She must build, and she has an attack in all battles. Must build epic, super good. Rockbreaker, Rockbreaker is decent for the provokes right here. I wish you had a provoke on the A1. You get like a baby version of like a Angar. He's a good champ. He's a good champ. I have him. I've been using him in Curse City, but it's not easy to use him because the enemies are so fast. They're just going to keep spamming. You can't spam the provoke as much as I wanted it to, but he's still a good champion. I like him. I like him. I'd give him a 8 out of 10. Melga, very strong. Has the ability to revive, shield, and then also remove stuff. She's kind of a book champion, a lot of books, but hey, you got to do it. Fodbar the Bard. I have him 6-star. I thought he's going to be insane because he's the only champion that puts decrease like defense and then puts stuns. And I used him myself. He's kind of okay. He's not that great as I thought it was going to be. I would give him like a 6, honestly. With the blessing, is like a 7. Morag, a must build epic. Must build. If you have a Morag, she is insane. If you don't believe me, I can show you. I have 2 +4 Morag. Okay. They're not 6-star plus, but one day hopefully they will be, and they will demolish Curse City. They already technically do, but I'm just saying. Imagine. Okay. Runekeeper Dazturk. I like this guy a lot, man. I was using him a lot back in the days. Way back in the days. He has the ability to fully cleanse your whole allies, heal them up by his HP, and he puts continuous heal on allies that have debuff or remove. There's only a 4-turn cooldown. That's the downside of this champion. The A2 has a increased attack, fill turn meter, beautiful. And the A1 has a leech. I would have liked that this gives increased attack and an increase in defense to himself while also filling turn meter. That's what I would have done. And overall, do I think he's good? He's a good champion. He's still a good champ. He's just fallen off because that skill 4-turn cooldown is just not good anymore with everyone being way too fast now. So I would give him like a 8 out of 10. He used to be like a 8.5 or 9, honestly, back in the old days. Beardo Fellhammer, he's good for those heal reduction coping players. He has like this counter tactic that always like gets put on every single turn, kind of like a Joanne. Interesting champion. Can you build him as a nuker? I guess you can. But I don't know. Me personally, I just don't like him. I think I have like a 6-star blessing for him as well, and I still don't even like use him that much. He's decent. I feel like he could just be better, you know? So I have to definitely give him like I think he's mediocre. He's a mid champion, you know? Like I would say he's like a 7, you know? Gala long braids. Oh my god. If you do not have a Gala long braids built out, I feel sorry for you, son. This champion is bananas, okay? If you can get ignore defense on her, she's even more bananas. If you can get relentless set on her, she gets even more bananas. Like, just imagine like the things you can do. 6-piece, 9-piece merciless or 6-piece merciless, bananas. Like, this champion is crazy. I think, I'm surprised a lot of people are. If a cure didn't exist, you would see a lot more Gallus. She is no joke. She has extra turns, ignores defense, ignores defense, ignores defense, gets shields, heals herself. Basically, Gala is the baby version of Senda Forge Heart. Literally. So if you wanted like a baby version of this champion, that's what Gala is. Gala Lone Braces does. Do I recommend it? Hell yes, because her attack is an all battle. And she's an insane champ in terms of nukage. All right, Ragnar Goldbleem. A lot of people like this guy. I don't like this guy, man. I tried him. I tried some other stuff. I don't like the kid. Like the kid's kind of. I get what he's trying to do. It's good for like clan boss, and I've seen people use him there. But like other than that, it's just not good enough, man. The guy doesn't have any AOE's, and the skill kit is like designed for him to like almost get cooked. I don't like that. It's so weird, man. I don't recommend this guy. And he's a void epic. Okay, Demitha. Now, Demitha is definitely a must build epic, bro. Must build. So good. People build unkillable clan boss teams with her. People are building Iron Twins like teams with her. She's a good healer and a good blood damage champion healer, and she also has many cleanses and many healing as well. So she has 2 ways to heal, and she has a way to shield your champion too. She won't put a shield on herself, but guess what? If you put a shield set on her, a blood shield ring on her, you can always shield your other ally, even if they don't have a blood shield ring. So let's say I'm going to Borgraf the Scarab King. I put a blood shield ring on her. I spam the A1, I get a shield, and my other ally gets a shield. And as long as you keep spamming A1s, you can basically do the Duchess effect. The Duchess effect, right? The Duchess effect is whenever Duchess A1s, she puts a shield on herself and the ally with the lowest HP. So technically, Demitha with a blood shield ring can have infinite shields on herself and her ally. So I'm not saying that's the only reason why you should build her. I'm just saying that's just like another reason why she's great. She's definitely a must-build champion. And I don't even use block damage teams. All right, let's keep going. We're almost done. All right, Toragi. Toragi the Frog. Is this champion good? This champion is insane. Insane ally protector, insane provoker, and poisoner. Everything he does has synergy in his kit. When he came out, we couldn't believe it. We were looking at this epic going, holy shit, this feels like a Lego in epic form. You know, and to this day, he's still that good. He's still that good. His HP damage is based on HP. Everything synergizes. Everything is amazing. Hotatsu. Hotatsu has a leech, stick attack. He has this. Kind of like I know some people like him. I'm not saying he's bad. I just think there's better. He's good. He's still a good champion. He's just not insane. I give Toragi like a 9, and I give Hotatsu like an 8. So okay, champion. Chani, garbage. Nogorio, honestly, garbage as well. Yeah, I don't even know what the hell this champion is, bro. They should just remove it from the game. Like, what is the skill kit? What? What? It's so stupid. Delete this champion from the game. Like, literally delete this champion. It is garbage. Garbage, bro. Oh my god. Garbage. Umatogi. I would not recommend it to the average player, but if you know what you're doing, you can actually use Umatogi to be like a champion to basically take the hits, right? Because she has this passive that says, when this champion's attack completely blocks 1 hit, decrease the incoming damage to 0, then counterattacks to default. When attacked by a boss, decrease the damage incoming by 50% instead for counterattacking. So she can be your stun target, and she can also be the target for the normal faction war boss. So he always targets her. So and then if you build her right, she won't die. Other than that, is she a must build? Hell no. I would not recommend this to most people. I built her because I was doing something unique, but I would not recommend it to most players. Tomoe. Is Tomoe good? She's all right. She's good when you're putting a lot of Shadowkins with her, but if you don't have a lot of Shadowkins, she's kind of mid. So that's probably why you don't see a lot of people using her, because in Shadowkin, even in the faction, it's not enough, even with this champion. Now, if you combine Tomoe with Kinagashi, that gets a lot better. That gets a lot better. And her aura's only faction grips. I definitely think people should use her if they're doing faction wars and they're having trouble. I definitely recommend both Tomoe and Kinagashi. But in general, that's pretty much all you use those two champions in. I don't use Kinagashi anywhere else. Even faction wars or not faction wars, I don't even use them. They're good, but they're not like the best. You know, they're like a support for that faction. I give them like a 7.5 for each one. Like, this skill is so weird. Like, you attack only with one other person and then fill turn meter by 15%. So weird. And the A1 is like decreased turn meter. So I have to build accuracy on a champion that I don't want to build accuracy. Yeah, I gotta build accuracy. Oh my god. This is like what, 4 turn cooldown? At least this is only 3 turn. Yeah. It's all right. It's all right. I don't. Yeah. Back then, it might have felt a lot better, like a 9 out of 10 or 8.5 back then. But now it's like it's worse because we have better champions. So I give them both like a 7.5. Sashi. Oh, when I saw her, man, I fell like in love. I was like, gosh, her body's so, you know, that suit is nice and tight on her. Yeah, she's kind of midi. She's kind of midi. I mean, I get the whole like whenever revives a random enemy, whenever the champion kills an enemy. I think it would be better if it says whenever an ally kills an enemy. So you revive a random ally whenever any ally on our team kills an enemy. That'd be way better. She puts a fear on all enemies whenever allies revived, which is cool. That means your allies have to die, and if you're letting your allies die, that's not great. So it's weird. It's weird. I don't recommend Sashi. Sashi's basically like Tomoe and Kinagashi, if you know what you're doing. Now Fenshi. Oh yeah. Now Fenshi's a good champion. I recommend using this champion. He has a triple hit on the A1. Good for Fire Knight hard, normal, and hard. Triple hit A2, which reduces turn meter, which is great for normal. And then he has a double hit A2 that puts poison, and each will ignore 10% of target's defense for each poison on the target. Hey, thank you so much, Silverbird NC, for the follow. All right, let's go to the next one. So Kinagashi, definitely recommend. Baron Geary, he used to be a must recommend epic back then, but people stopped recommending him because that Lady Noelle is just not Lady Noelle. Lady, what was her? Lady Annabelle. Lady Annabelle is just way better. So people were using Baron Geary. It was good to solo Bommel stage 10 and stage 50. But when you get to 90, Baron Geary just does not have the oomph to survive. Like, the gear and the stats you would need is insane. So no one would recommend that. But of course, Lady Annabelle can do it. Now, if you don't have a Lady Annabelle and you have a Baron Geary and you're having trouble against Bommel, then definitely build this guy to solo Bommel because he can do it. But only for the lower stages, right? 10 and 50. When you get to 90, hey, you're going to definitely need a team, man. You're going to definitely need a resist team or a Vogoth team or something to keep you alive, a block damage team, something. I have tried to see if someone had found a way how Baron Geary can do it at level 90. Maybe there's a way, like a certain relics you have to have, certain gear sets. I haven't seen anything like that yet. Maybe I could try out, but let me know if you have seen someone solo 90. I haven't seen it lately, so. All right, let's look at the next one. So he's a must build. He's a good champion. I'd give him like a 8 out of 10. Because he does have provokes on the A1. He does have stuns on the A2, AoE stuns, and he also has strengthening shields and a passive that keeps healing you. So he's not a bad champ. Kunoichi, I know some people like Kunoichi. I don't like this champion at all, bro. I do not like this champion at all. I get it, she can keep spamming those ally protections over and over and over and over and over, but she doesn't have anything else. The only thing she has is this. I put a block damage on myself. Okay, that's not bad, right? Because she's gonna proc that. But look how long it takes. 5 turns to get it back is nuts. That should be a 3 or 2 turn. Yeah, that's just no bueno. So I don't like it. I'm not gonna recommend Kunoichi or Wuji or Chanaru. I do not know neither of these 3 females. Only Syrian is okay because she's got the poison on the A1. She's got the weakens here, and then she has a decreased defense AoE. This is a 3-turn cooldown, and this is a 3-turn cooldown as well. So she's a 1/3/3 champion. She's a decent Shadowkin, right? Decent champion. Chanaru is straight garbage. I don't even know. This champion should get deleted in the game with this champion. They're both just Like they shouldn't even be epic. No cap. They should not even be epics. They should be like rares. Like they're not good, man. Gory's pretty good. He's got the A1 that has the chance to hit it multiple times. He has the freezes for Fire Knight hard, and or other areas of the game where you need to hit multiple times. And then he also can nuke with his A3. And then plays a counterattack buff, and if this killed an enemy, you get all that stuff, which is amazing. Is he a must build champion? I feel like back in the days, I was telling people to build him, but nowadays he's not a must build. He's just like a decent epic. So I'll give him like a 7.5. 7.5. Back then he was like an 8.5. Jirojin, I don't like this guy. He has a decreased attack, which is cool. He has a provoke. The provoke, it is a 3-turn, cooldown, which is great. And then he's got this skill, which is a 3-turn, which can do damage. It's weird. It's like he's supposed to be like this like a PvP, like anti-kilo, anti-block damage, but bro, no one's gonna use it. There's better champions, We'll receive 20% less damage from enemy attacks when the champion drops. Yeah, it's just weird. If you have nothing else, I definitely recommend Jirojin. If you have nothing else, but if you have something else, build something else. Masamoto, I've seen a lot of people try to build Masamoto. I don't like Masamoto. Oboro, very, very, very good champion. I like Oboro. She has so many synergies in her own kit. She has a lot of damage. She has the ability to I think put AoE decrease defense as well, which is crazy. She also can steal all the buffs from the target, which is like what? Like every buff? That is insane. She also transfers all debuffs from herself to the target. Like that is really strong. Place increases crit rate, crit damage, and then she goes and puts rail, attack kills an enemy. Yeah, and then revives the death on the champion for the tournament. Yeah, she's really good. I think she's a must build champion. Genbo is a must build champion. And Tanya's not a must build champion, but I think she's a decent champion. She's decent. I think she could be a lot better. I was using her for a little bit, and then I stopped using her. I'll give her like probably a 7.5. All right, we're almost done. 2 more factions. Let's go. Yeah. All right, so we got Cormac the high speak garbage champion. I don't understand what they were thinking when they created this champion. It's like, okay, I'm just going to decrease speed 1 person. Okay, that's okay. Then I'm only going to decrease the defense of that 1 person as well. Like, okay. And then I'm also going to put increased accuracy and increased crit rate on myself only an extra turn. So you're doing all this work just to put a decreased defense on 1 person? Like, what? Like you're not going to AoE nuke or something, or AoE decrease defense? It would make more sense if this skill said attack all enemies, put decreased defense. That would make sense with this. You see what I'm saying? Like, this champion to me just doesn't. This is stupid. Kellen, I've seen some people try to use Kellen. It's not great, bro. It's just not great, bro. Lockwane, let's see. Still run above. Oh yeah, this is the champion that I have 6-star bless +4, and I don't even use them. Yeah, I don't understand. It's like resets the cooldown of this skill if this kills an enemies. What? It's a 4-turn. It doesn't even ignore defense. It only ignores. You see what I'm saying? Like, what is this skill? And then this skill's supposed to remove like veils and perfect veil. It's supposed to be like an anti-duchess, anti-veiling people, anti-what? Predator? Like, bro's not even like a right affinity against that, right? Also removes what? Random buff from all enemies? Okay, so you remove veil and a 1 random buff. So it's technically 2 buffs. If they don't have veil, then you only remove 1. I think he should remove 2 random buffs and veil, so it removes 3. That's strong. That's a pretty good skill. And then this one should ignore defense. It should ignore defense by 50%. That would make more sense. Increases champion's accuracy by 10 for each buff on each enemy. Yeah, don't build Lockwane. Just don't build them. Just like these 3 champions, straight garbage, straight garbage. All right, Crowd in the Blue. Everyone builds this champion, right? Everyone has. I have like 3 Crowd in the Blues, just like I have Neldors and Bogoth. So definitely a must build. If you don't know, must build champion. Dude into Runic, he's not a must build, but he's a decent epic. He's a decent epic that people use. He's got like the remove buff from all allies. I like this. It's pretty cool. It can happen. The only thing I don't like is this skill's a 3-turn, but then this one is not a 3-turn. So I wish it would have been like 3-turn here and then like 3-turn here. So he's still a decent epic. I'd give him like probably like a 7.5. He used to be like an 8.5 back then. He's like a 7.5 now. Diethy, Mr. Diethy is one of the best like nukers for this faction if you're talking about epics. Puts that decreased defense, gets extra turns, gets another extra turn, gets another extra turn. Like, God, this guy just doesn't stop. Panda Bowhorn. I feel like this guy is MIDI. He's not great. I see what they were trying to do with his kid. He's got like a chance to freeze on the A1, kind of like it reminds me of Durandal, how they have freeze on the A1. He also will ignore 50% of the target's res if the target speed is equal or lower than his champion. That like, what is that? What is that? Interesting. He also puts increased attack and increased speed before attacking, which is very good. Everyone knows that's very good when you put those two buffs up before you hit somebody. That's not bad. And then the A3, it says it hits one person, enemy 3 times. Each hit will ignore 10% of target's defense. Each hit will put true fear. Will ignore target's a boss. He puts a weaken instead. Will ignore 50% of target's res and the target. Yeah, exactly. So is he a good champion overall? I think he's all right if you have nothing else, but I don't want to recommend him, honestly. Her, I don't like her at all. I think this champion is dog water. Dog water. Okay. Ornn. Michaelic Priest Ornn is actually really strong. I recommend this as a highly recommended champion. I don't understand how there's only 552 reviews. There should be at least like 1,000, 3,000. Like that's how much this champion should be. Everyone should be using this champion. It's that good. He's got the poisons. He's got more poisons. He got poison sensitivity. He's got a passive that makes him tanky for putting the poisons out there. Insane champion. Ruella, another insane debuffer. Insane champion. Enda Moonbeam. I have Enda myself, 6-star blessed, just like I have a Lockwayne 6-star blessed. Both of them are 6-star, and I don't even use Enda or Lockwayne, so garbage. Reinen the Silken. I have seen some people use her. Right, this is a 4-turn revive. Could have been a 3-turn. Turn meter increased speed on a 4-turn when it should be on a 3-turn. I don't understand this. Like, you see what I'm saying? This should be like 1 turn cooldown. It should be 6 minus 3 equals 3. This should be 5 minus 2 equals 3. She should be a 1-3-3 champion. So they put an extra cooldown on each of these skills. So dumb. Like, no one got time for that. So if you have nothing else, she is good. But if you have something else, choose something else. Why Dryaneia? A must-build champion, okay? She has the power to heal people with her A2 and with her passive and cleanse them and reset their skills. Puts an ally protection, strength, and buff, and puts AoE decrease speed. The whole kit synergizes with itself. It's really strong, very strong epic. Ayla Life Braid. I've tried using this champion myself. She's all right. I think they should have made her like an HP or defense champ. They made her attack support, which is like, what? Why would I build her? Look at this. Look at this. They could have gave her more defense. Instead, they robbed her of defense and gave her attack. Why? Oh, Jake, it's just 2 attacks. No one cares. Like, if she's a support, I'm not doing it for the attack unless the attack is like always critical or something. I'm using Ayla for Sand Devil. Oh, because she has a 100% chance to sleep, and it's a Void Affinity champion. Why not just use Cornelia? You see what I'm saying? Like, why not use Cornelia? You get a 100% chance to sleep as well. This is a 109 base speed champion. If we go to Ayla. Oh, she has 108. I did not realize it's only 1 speed less. Damn, that's pretty good. Her base speed is actually not that bad. She doesn't get any extra accuracy, though. That's the only downside, but I don't know. I just feel like the sleep, there could be a lot better sleepers, but just for the sleep is kind of weird. What about the A3? Block debuffs, heals all allies. There's not a 4-turn cooldown. Why they gotta do that, brother? Why they gotta do that? Instant activate, instant turn on this effect champion after using an active skill. Yeah, I feel like our kit could be nutty, bro. I feel like the kit could be, if she has some heal on the A1 that says heal the lowest allied champion, A3, make this a 3-turn cooldown, and the passive, make this like a 35-40% chance. That's it. Like, yo, this could be nutty, you know? This could be a nutty epic. And she just unfortunately like a mid epic that can only be used in one area of the game, I guess, or Sando. It's like, I still wouldn't recommend, honestly. I think she's okay. She's like a 7.5. She probably could have been an 8.5 easily. Dinah Gloom Priester. I don't know. Some people like her. Some people do like her. I think I would recommend her if she had like a 4-star to 6-star blessing, because she has a Void Nuker, so she does have the decreased defense. The A1, she has the ally attack with the A2. Yeah, and she has the A3 to, if she kills people, she gets Veil. She also gives herself increased crit rate, increased crit damage. I think she should have gave herself increased attack. Why do they keep giving these epics increased crit rate? Like, brother, We need to increase attack. It's so weird. Like you can build 100% crit. Like this whole coping mechanism was like, well, early game can't build 100% crit, so we give them increased crit rate buff. Brother, you can do it super early. You can do it within like the second day. Like you can build 100%. Use crit rate gloves. You can go get a common glove and get 60% crit rate, and you can have 100% crit rate literally on like day 2. Like it's not hard. It's not hard. So I don't understand why they use increased crit. There should be a rule in raid that if you have an increased crit rate like buff on your champion and they already have like 100% crit, that the excess amount of crit converts into attack or something. There should be something like that, because that'd be a nice buff to the whole player base, because I don't understand. It's sort of weird. Would I build her? I don't think she's a must build. I think she's a niche champion that could be good if you have a good blessing. Wisteria Vinegard. Each shit has a 50%. Yeah, but technically converts the crit damage. That would be sweet. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. She has weakened. She has increased. Okay, that's not bad, I guess. Oh, 4 turn that goes down to a 3. Okay. And then she gets increased enemy list. Okay, so the more they get lower health, the stronger she gets. Stacks up to 50% of her attack, and this champion actually gives increased attack buff. Okay, that's not that bad. That's not that bad. I don't like the A2 though. It should have been AoE. Why is she such a single target hitter? This should have been AoE instead of a single target. Like it's so like bruh. And what turn? It's a 3 turn close, so she's not bad. They should just make this AoE, and there you go. I would recommend everyone to build this champion. But if she doesn't have AoE, like I can't recommend people to build her. Nah, man, that's like a 6 out of 10 champion. Thorn Golem, what is this? A1 is Leech, A2 is Fear. Oh yeah, this guy's good. Oh yeah, this guy's good. Oh my god. He doesn't put it on everybody. He puts the increased res on himself, though. Damn. You put increased res on everybody, I would... Holy bonkers. Very good champion. Very good champion. Yup. Before the champion uses a skill to deal damage, heals the champion. Valid heals before. They should also put, if the champion gets attacked, heal this champion before they receive the damage, or after they receive the damage. Yeah. And it's based on his defense as well. So that way, when you get attacked, you get healed. When you attack them, you get healed. They should do. Oh man, that'd be really good. I think he's a good champion. Yeah, he's definitely a good champion. 8 out of 10. All right, we're done with the epics. We're on the last faction, chat. Only 5 more epics to go. Tidemaster Dexicos. We got A1, heals each hit, heals the ally with the lowest HP by 5% of the champion's max HP. That's a really, really, really good A1. A2 puts an increased defense on all allies by 2 turns. Why does it need to be attack? And plus, it's only increased defense. Chat, explain to me how... Okay, this doesn't make sense. Let me show you something. There's a rare champion called Mart. Rare. Who puts on a 3-turn cooldown, block debuffs buff for 1 turn, and an increased defense for 2 turns. But then you got epic champions, which is a higher rarity, only putting increased defense, no block debuffs. Wow, because it attacks? It's a freaking support. Look, support. Look at the attack. Scales off attack. Scales off attack. Why? That doesn't make any sense. So they should definitely either make it scale by defense, since he's putting increased defense. Then you can argue, well, you can build Tidemaster Dexicos as a damaging support. And he doesn't give anything else, just increased defense. That's so dumb. I like the A1, the A2 is stupid. The passive at the start of the champion's turn places a shield for 1 turn on allies whose HP. That's pretty good. I like this. That's a good passive. Did you just say first Res Nuker epic? Yeah. With the previous guy. Yeah. And then it's good to get rid of mercurial stacks? Brother, what? What? Revive 2 random allies with 40% and 20%. This doesn't make sense to me. Why not just make it 40-40 or 20-20? 40-20? What? Heals allies by 50% of the champion with all allies if no one's revived. So he's an AoE revive even if they're not dead. Place a perfect veil on all allies except the champion for 1 turn will not place the buff even if there's no allies revived. Oh, he says he will place the buff even if no one's dead. Oh, okay. So it's like a Mavara. Yeah, so interesting skill. Interesting skill. I think I like it because they come back with 40%, but then he heals them by 15% of the champion's max HP. Will heal all allies even if there's no one dead. Yeah, it's a very good skill. Is it 3-turn cooldown? Nope, it's a 4-turn because there's revives on it. Damn. Still decent. I like the A1. I like the A3. I like the passive. God, that A2 pisses me off. There should be something else there. There should be another buff like increased defense and strength, increased defense, increased res, increased defense, increased speed, increased defense, increased accuracy. Like there's anything can technically go there would be better. Just the increased defense alone is nutty. Just for an attack on enemies is stupid. All right, let's see what we have here. Xanthi Seaflower. Let's check it out. All right, I just remember seeing her like once or twice. She's a one plays black buffs. Okay, that's okay. Attacks enemies, puts a decreased attack, heals allies by 5%, champions max HP for each buff. What? What? She's a defensive champion, not an HP nuker, and they're making her a max HP. I don't like that. Decreased attack, weird. Increase for places an increased res buff and a protected continuous heal buff on all allies is on a 4-turn. Fuck! Should have been on a 3-turn, brother. All right, let's see what we got here. Removes one random buff from debuff from the champion at the start of their turn. Whenever debuffs removed this way, places a baby continuous heal. Come on, it's an epic champion. Where are we getting a baby continuous heal? Come on. Come on. What do I think? What do I think? It's weird. It's like she's supposed to be like a heal herself, heal everyone else, increase res, heals all allies for each debuff placed. Wait, debuff placed. Hold on. Wait a minute. For each debuff placed? So wait, if I place 4 decreased attacks, she heals all allies by 20% of their max HP instead, because 5% for each one? What if I put her in toxic set? And I AoE with a toxic set, I could get way more healing. Interesting. I mean, she might not be insane, but she could be okay. I think Dexicos is definitely like a strong champion. I give her like an 8.5. Xanthi, I gave her like an 8. Galatea, I have seen a lot of people using Galatea. I got myself a 5-star blessing on her. Man, I think she's really, really cool. She's not the best, nuker out there, but she does hit. She does smack. Her multipliers are good. She places an extra hit that targets under decreased defense debuff, decreases the target's turn meter by 10%. I don't think it should have been a decreased debuff. I think it should have just been if they're under any debuffs, kind of like a Phoenix. I think she should have just been like that. If Phoenix can do that, why the fuck does she have to have decreased defense to do it? You see what I'm saying? So dumb. They try to put conditions to make it fair. It's not going to make it OP if she hits twice. Ooh. Increase the target's turn meter by 10%. Builds its turn meter by 30%. Makes a black revive the target's. It's a 3-turn cooldown. This is a 4-turn cooldown. Attacks on enemies will ignore 50% of damage. If they're spirit affinity, will ignore 25% if there are any other spirit affinities. Activates the axe splice on a random enemy whose HP was decreased by more than 50%. Curse 1 per skill. So if they survive, with her A3, she'll go A3, activate A2, and then cook them. Because they'll be, it says 50% more than, decreased by more than 50% from this skill. So at least so they have to be hit for 51% of this skill, right? 51% or more. So 51% or more, she'll get a free, when you activate the A3, they're like, oh, you're still alive, you didn't die? I'm gonna come at A2 and block revive you. Damn, does that put that on cooldown? It doesn't say if it puts it on cooldown. Before attacking, puts a chance of removing any decreased attack, replacing them with the mirrored buff. Also remove any increased defense buffs on enemies and replace them with the mirrored buffs. Interesting. So if they try to get increased defense, they might get decreased defense. And if they try to put decreased attack on her, she gets increased attack. Interesting. I think she's a good champion. Yeah, they're all good epics, honestly. I think he's like 8.5, she's 8, and she's kind of 8 as well. I think this would have been better if it was a 3-turn cooldown if it said that this doesn't go, like you see it says use the skill, activates the Apex Slice. I don't want my Apex Slice to get used. Like it'll get used, but I don't get a chance to use it again. You see what I'm saying? I don't think so. I have to do some testing. Thisbe, Stonebound Thisbe. She's so good of a champion. She has AoE Hex, AoE block buffs on an epic that has 100% chance. It's like this is a legendary skill right here, chat. This is a legendary skill. It's a 3-turn cooldown that has AoE Hex, AoE block buffs. What? How many epics in the game that you know on a 3-turn cooldown can put AoE Hex and AoE block buffs? Wow, that is crazy. Her A1 also puts decreased attack and steals 10% of their turn meter. Huge A1, huge A2. A3 decreases the duration of all allies debuffs by 1 turn, so a mini cleanse heals all your champions, and then also turn meter on a 3-turn cooldown. So she's a 1/3/3. Huge, huge. This champion's a must build. Allies deal 10% more damage to enemies under debuffs placed by this champion. Boom. So you get 10% more damage because of this. Oh yeah, yeah. This being a 9 out of 10 champion. 9 out of 10. That is insane kit that synergizes really good with itself and a good epic. Honestly, some of this stuff is like Lego stuff, honestly, like that. This could have been a Lego version. If this was 30% turn meter, 25% HP, and 2 turn remove, that's a Lego skill right there. 100% a Lego skill. So that, I mean, it's almost a Lego skill. I'm gonna be real. It's almost. So she's basically an epic, but she has abilities like from like a Lego. Like still 10% turn meter. Fabian can do that, right? He can do that on his A1, and she puts decreased attack. So like, damn, this champion good, man. She's really good. Deep Hook Nagus. A1 to put a provoke, so that's a 60% chance to provoke. Removes all debuffs from the champion, and ally protection and strengthen, and increases attack on the target ally. So she removes all debuffs from herself and someone else. And she puts an ally protection on them, a strengthen buff on them, and an increased attack buff on them. Then fills a turn meter of this champion and a target. Damn! Wow, that A2 is really good. It's like basically a double cleanse of not everyone, but cleanse of this champion and that person. They both get filled turn meter, and then you get the ally protection, the strength, and this is like a mini like Necker, like, you know, like trying to get like protect someone, like a Vergis. It's a Vergis, but the new age Vergis. A3, what? She has a chance to, oh yeah, she's a must build already. I see AoE stun and this, and then what is her passive? Whenever an enemy attacks this champion, heals all allies by 10% of their max HP and wow. So that's infinite healing. Infinite healing when you get attacked. Infinite turn meter filling. Increased speed. And then you can just keep turn meter boosting with this, turn meter boosting with this. Oh yeah. Damn, all these epics are godly. Well, I think she's on the level of Thisbe. Like they're both 9s. I feel like this goes to the 8.5, and then these two are like 8s. But all the epics in this faction are actually bananas, bro. Like actually banana epics. All right, well, that's it. I appreciate everybody for staying this long and watching what champions epics are recommended to actually keep. If you have them in the vault and been wondering, man, I want to eat some of these epics and not keep them all. Now you have every single one by one from me. So now you don't need to ask. So, yeah, that's it. That's been a long one. I would definitely, make sure to follow this guide. I pretty much, gave my best insights from everything I know from 7 years of playing the game, seeing all the different epics from content creators myself, things of that nature. So I appreciate everybody. Thank you guys so much for watching. This was a long one. I know. It's almost 4.5 hours. But yeah, if you guys missed this, you guys can always go back and watch it on the YouTube video, right? If you're here on the stream, you can always guys watch and catch up to make sure if you missed anything, if you didn't understand anything, blah, blah. All right, guys, I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.